Here it is. I was just about to hit 1 p.m. and 30. Whoa. 1 p.m. 30. There's a better way of saying that. My SLS forgot. 1 past 30. Something like that. Blom. Pretty much. What? Yeah, this one. What the fuck? Even Google Translate is kinda farting. There. It was. Hmm. Blah. Nope. Oh.
Hello everyone, this is your Daily Dose of Internet. I think this might be a sign that advertising has gone too far.
Look at this guy, right? Some company has got him advertising. I've just been trying to yell at him, he can't hear me. How much are you getting paid, bro? I'll write him a little message. We go show him that. He's a bashful bloke, this guy.
Últimamente estaba intentando la habilidad de hablar mientras ando, pero la verdad...
I got an egg hack for y'all. Take your garlic, right? And trace it wherever you want your egg to stay. Now go ahead and crack your egg into the circle.
I think this might be a
Alright,
sign
Aggie.
that advertising has gone
Oh
too
shit,
far.
hold on.
Look at this guy, right?
Just duplicate audio. Hold on. There. No. No more.
Alright, Aggie. As you can see, it stays in that circle. Let me get another one. As you can see, I lied. That did not work.
Their fit check didn't go as planned.
Hello.
Man.
As the plasma moved around the globe, the light shifted and swirled to make a pattern that looked like a nebula.
Is that good? Oh, that's cool. Ain't no, bro. This is not SpongeBob, bro. Who is this?
There you go, we're gonna run. Oh, that's how you snapped right into that run post. Show me that. Turn around, show me some love. She's a good jump. Here we go, though. Yellow. Down goes Fraser.
This pregnant woman thought wearing a Chewbacca mask would help her during labor.
Oh, on the way to the beach.
She made a mistake when she was installing her wig.
Okay, this is the grand reveal. I'm praying.
This entire bear family were enjoying their time at the playground.
Guess which fatty ate all of their treat for the week in one go and now has to go run it off?
Do the thing. Do the freaking thing. Not doing it.
This raven has learned how to sound like their owner.
What the?
This koala was abandoned as a joey, but was rescued and raised by this animal shelter.
You will be the funny girl.
Can somebody tell me why this hat is so damn tight?
At first, I thought she was showing off a tiramisu. I've never heard a car sound so much like an airplane.
Thank you.
I didn't expect him to be this good.
Sweetie! Come here. Hi!
I guess people will really race anything. This entire group of elephants came together to help one of the babies that fell into the water. I don't know what she said, but I don't think she meant to do that.
En gros, pour comparer, voilà, et puis voilà.
This clip of this woman ice skating was my favorite from this episode.
Hey guys, what do you think's better here, the crunchy shrimp tempura or the shrimp tempura crunch? Let me know.
One of my subscribers sent me this cool clip of them drifting on the road.
Hi, Daddy, it's Mommy. Yeah, Olivia and I just picked her up from school. We're gonna go to the store. Do you need anything? You need some diapers because you pooped your pants?
These Star Wars fans made a real-life speeder bike. The Sagrada Familia in Barcelona finally finished construction and is now the tallest church in the world.
My baby doesn't bend.
This is the meanest guinea pig I've seen all day.
That was kind of rude. That was Roland's. Kind of rude.
He couldn't believe the dog dared to do that.
Luna, say cheese. Cheese.
They somehow ended up in the middle of a sea lion party.
Okay, you ready? This is so fun. I'm gonna get a good one. Make it go up and down.
Ring around the rosy, pocket full of cozy. How but you but me.
He made an organ that could be played with an iPad.
Well, I got these MIDI boards from France, and I wired them all up.
You hooked it up to your iPad? Wirelessly. That's amazing. I love it. Proud of you. Way to go.
Just bought a house and the previous owners left their microwave here, and the only 3 buttons that it appears they ever used are start and plus 30 seconds, stop, cancel, and potato.
I don't think Chad wants to help clean up.
Chad, we're gonna start working on you cleaning up, doing more. Chad, we're gonna start working on you cleaning up.
This guy's killing it. Oh, yeah, buddy.
These police officers were called to help when some little ducklings fell into a storm drain. I don't think he quite got the idea.
Here, I'm gonna light your candle, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna light your candle, just wait.
Look, but they got a deal. When you buy 2. Special when you buy 2. Just when you buy 2. What's the special? Look, special when they buy 3. What's the special?
This is how flex pipes are made. The metal is woven in this way to help protect it against high heats. These students decided to capture photos of themselves over 7 years to record how much they changed.
Yo, Chad, I'm trying to eat my pizza. It's mad hardcore. I can't even get the oregano far enough. Like, nah.
He finally decided to listen to his dentist.
Oh, nothing. Just flossing.
Some say he can slice the atom. This guy made this mask to capture what he was seeing.
I was just doing my makeup like I do every day, and I felt a hair like going down my eyebrow, and I was like, that's weird. I can't see a hair. Well,
one of my subscribers sent me this really cool video of a pink grasshopper. Imagine being home alone and hearing this at 1 a.m. She found a kitten at the side of the road, so she decided to rescue it.
it's okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I
caught it. It's very upset.
Stella, you're pretty.
Now I don't have to hold her. I just know she can look out the window.
Looking good, Mom. Cheers, thank you. Appreciate it.
Is this really how they swim, or are they dancing? I guess third time's the charm.
Okay, maybe this one will work better. Ready? Watch this. Do it, man.
That is the end of this video. Hope I made your day just a little better. And if you need something else to watch, here's some of the funniest animal videos ever. Later.
I thought a while for how to do this video, and I don't know how to because it just conflates so many different topics together, and I don't know how to split them into different videos. And I realized if I try to put them all into one video, people are going to stop listening to the video. They're not going to get to the point. They'll get mad and leave an angry comment. And I'm just going to risk that here because I've tried, and I don't know how to split this up into different videos. So what I wanted to discuss today was Anthropic being told by the U.S. government that their newest, most powerful model, Fable, cannot be used by foreign nationals or people that are, and as a result of that, Anthropic has pulled that model so that nobody can use it. I want to talk about some of the greater implications for the internet, the direction that the internet and these online connected services are going in general, and why I think everybody involved here is just kind of, in some small way, in my opinion, full of it. So I'm going to get accused of bias in this video, and I'm just going to put it up front. I'm not the biggest fan of the Trump administration. I don't think it's a good presidency. I think that Anthropic is a very shitty and gaslighting company for a number of different reasons. I'm not rooting for anybody here. I'm not on team Trump or team Anthropic. This is just no. And if you watch my channel for any period of time, you likely realize this is not the type of stuff that I usually engage in. I'm not a fanboy for any particular company, any particular politician, and it doesn't matter what. You could have sent me something to review for free. You could have been somebody who said something. The moment that you do something that kind of steps out of line, I don't really care if I am seen as an asshole for saying things that I say. I just say the things I say. So on to this. Where do I start with this? So Anthropic announced a model a few months ago that they said was so powerful, it was so good, we can't even release it yet. And I talked about that in this video, and this is one of the things that I personally saw as being bullshit. And here's why. And it's the same reason that I think that when I hear people talk about a sovereign AI wealth fund, I see it as bullshit. Like when people start talking about ideas like a sovereign AI wealth fund, AI is so good, it's going to replace everybody so quickly, so fast. It's because it's so good. So we have to come up with a way to pay everybody right now. There's an implication in that. There's a premise that they're asking you to immediately accept, which is that this stuff is so good. But we have to figure out a way to pay everybody. I don't see it as AI executives that are pushing for sovereign AI wealth funds and UBI and all that. I don't think they care about humanity. I think that they are trying to sneak in the preconception that they're just so amazing and just have that be subliminally put in there. I'll give you an example. If I said, yo, we got to figure out some sort of UBI or some sort of payment method to pay every single basketball player in the NBA, because like, we have to find somebody to get them on Social Security disability. They have to find some way to pay themselves because I'm so good that like once you see me, Louis Rossman, play basketball, you'll never want to watch an NBA game again. I'm so good at it. I'm literally going to bankrupt all these people. They're going to lose all their sponsorship, their shoe deals. Nobody who would ever buy a jersey for Spree Will or Houston or Kobe Bryant or anybody. Why would you ever buy that when you can watch me? And so when I hear them say shit like this model is so powerful, we can't even release it, I roll my eyes back into my head. Yeah, like it has my girlfriend goes to one of the school energy, and I just think that was kind of stupid. It's not that the model's not useful, but I'm not willing to accept that it's so good. We just have to really fast forward to thinking about what we're going to do when your models just are able to do everything. Because in my experience, while they're doing some things that are really fucking stupid and stupid enough 11% of the time that you can't trust them to fully autonomously do anything. And I will not accept the premise that you are saying these things because you really care about the future of mankind and caring about people. You're saying it because it kind of gets people to believe that you're ahead of where you actually are. And I see what you're doing. I'm so good. Why would anybody want to watch anybody else fix anything when they can send it to my repair shop? We have to figure out a way to figure out what we're going to do with all the employees of all the data recovery and repair companies. Because once people see how capable I am, they're not going to say anything. It comes off with that level of arrogance, and I think a lot of people are missing that when they hear those things. But they said for a while that their new model is so powerful that they can't release it. That has been a marketing stuff. Keep that in mind. Now, recently, Anthropic was declared supply chain risk because they had the audacity to tell the Department of Defense or Department of War, depending on what you're calling it, they had the fucking audacity to say that A, we don't want to be used for domestic mass surveillance, B, we don't want to be used for fully autonomous weapons. Not even no autonomous weapons, just no fully autonomous weapons at this time because the model is not good enough yet. And that gave them a quick PR bump, and it also kind of put them on the shit list of the Trump administration because the Trump administration wants to be able to use the models any way they want. They didn't want to use it. Anthropic said, I'm not going to do that, and they got declared an entire supply chain risk, which threatens their ability to do business with anybody that does business with the government. Anyway, they released this new model that is so dangerous, so hacky, so capable of destroying the world. But don't worry, we put some guardrails on. And this happened. The U.S. government, citing national security authorities, has issued an export control directive to suspend all access to Fable 5 and Mythos 5 by any foreign national, whether inside or outside the United States, including foreign national Anthropic employees. And the net effect of this order is that we must abruptly disable Fable 5 and Mythos 5 for all of our customers to ensure compliance. Access to all other Anthropic models will not be affected. People may say, why didn't you disable access to foreign nationals? Why did you disable access to everybody? This comes back to when we talk about a lot on this channel. How are you going to keep foreign nationals from using it? When I sign up, all I need to provide is an email and my credit card information. Like that's it. That's all I need to sign for one of these services, which makes sense. How do they know if I'm a foreign national, U.S. citizen, or anything else? Maybe my ID will show that. Maybe my ID is not enough. Maybe I gotta show my passport. Maybe I show my ID, my passport, and my birth certificate to show proof. You see where we're going with this. This is moving the internet in the direction of you need to show your passport, your birth certificate, and your ID to sign up for a service. When I sign up for my web host, when I sign up for a virtual machine instance, when I sign up for some sort of Azure infrastructure, I don't have to show proof that I'm not a foreign national. And to do that would require that you put all this infrastructure in place. That moves us further in the direction that we're already speedrunning in of age verification. I've spoken about a lot of the age verification laws that have been popping up recently and why I'm annoyed by them. How my own home state proposed some sort of age verification thing for online marketplaces for apps. This is bad. I don't like this, and this kind of speedruns you further in that direction. Further, I don't even understand how something like this could even work. If I was a foreign national and I wanted access to this model, what I could do is I could just ask my friend in the United States, here, I'll pay you double what this model costs you. Can you just give me your login when you're done? And then I log in using a Gmail account and a VPN. Maybe we just block access to everybody outside the United States. Well, how do we do that? Oh, we have to get rid of VPNs. How do we get rid of, you see the road this goes down. What if I'm a foreign national in the United States? I can't get through the verification. Ask my friend, here, I want to club max account, 200 a month, here's $300, give me access to it. And if the RIAA and MPAA's attempts to limit people sharing of movies, music, and television should have taught people anything. This is not how the internet works, and it never will be. It fundamentally does. The internet was not built to allow this to happen, and if you try to speedrun in that direction, you will fail. So they did the only thing that they imagined they could do, which is I don't know how to put this together, but we can't do that, so we're just going to disable access to everybody. And before you feel bad for Anthropic, life comes at you fast. This is a statement from Anthropic. However, now the risks are clearly here. It's time to go beyond transparency, more serious and binding regulation of AI. I believe the best analogy, at least at the current stage of the exponential, is cars, airplanes, or drugs. Powerful technology is essential to the modern economy, capable of killing large numbers of people designed or operated poorly. I therefore believe we should model AI regulation on agencies like the Federal Aviation Administration. Frontier AI models like airplanes should be required to go through technical testing and auditing, and their release should be blocked or reversed as a threat to public safety if they do not meet the high standards of safety. I'm grateful to see the Trump administration's executive order moving incrementally towards a greater role for government and AI. Though Anthropic's proposal recommends even further action. Our proposal includes the following elements: models above the threshold of confusion undergo mandatory testing by a qualified third party for their level of risk in four specific areas: cybersecurity, biological weapons, loss of control AI systems, and automated R&D that can accelerate these other risks. The government should have the power to block or deter deployment of a model if it's determined, and life third-party assessment to present unacceptable risks. And I repeat, the government should have the power to block or deter deployment of a model if it's determined, and life third-party assessment to present unacceptable risks. So let's get this straight. You had a dispute with the United States government just a few months ago, where the U.S. government said that you are a supply chain risk simply because you didn't roll over and do exactly what the U.S. government wants. You guys released a model that, based on your own PR, is so dangerous, so scary that it could ruin the entire world. You come out with a statement saying that the government should have the power to stop people from using these types of new models when they see fit, and then you're fucking surprised when they pull your model. I don't trust this government telling me that I shouldn't be able to have access to this. I just don't. I also think that the way that they're going about it is silly, but I'm not shitty here for the shitty ass company. I've gone over their billing practices in the past. I've gone through over a lot of the shitty things that they've been doing recently, and honestly, the shitty things they've been doing just literally continue to get worse. I'll give you an example. I can use Claude Code instead of programs on my terminal, or I can have my own script that I make that will invoke Claude when I want, and to do that, I'll type Claude-P. Now, they released this tweet recently. Starting June 15, paid Claude plans and claim dedicated monthly credit for programmatic usage. Your credit covers usage of Claude Agent SDK, Claude-P, Claude Code GitHub Actions, and third-party apps built on the Agent SDK. Now, if you're reading this and you're not really hyper into the community, you probably think, oh wow, now we can claim claiming dedicated monthly credit. They're giving you credit. This is a good thing, right? No, it is fucking not. Here's what they're actually doing. What they're doing is they're making it so that if you use Claude inside of their program, it's going to continue to cost the same. However, if you want to make the same prompt, but you want to do that from your own script because you don't want to sit there in front of the fucking computer all day waiting for a prompt to finish, and after that's finished, you want to do something else afterwards, you now have to pay what's called API billing rates. So there's two ways that you can use Claude. You can either pay for a 20 or 100 or $200 month plan that you can utilize, and you have a certain amount of limit, and that's it. Or you can pay via API. You can pay by the query you make. Literally every time I type in and I ask a question, I'm paying for that. And when every single time I ask a question, I'm paying for that, they bill you out the answer. It's way more expensive. And their business model is kind of similar to the drug dealers in school that would give you a pack of cigarettes for free, and then once you were hooked on them, jack the price because you couldn't buy cigarettes at the deli because you were a kid. They're the exact same way with it. So they have these accounts that are 20 a month, 100 a month, 200 a month, and they keep slowly clawing functionality and shit back and saying if you want this functionality back, you have to use API bill. But rather than be honest about the fact that they are a piece of fucking shit drug dealers selling crack to school kids, they will say, look, we're giving you a credit after taking everything away from you. Now, one of them came out to clarify on this. To add some clarity, you don't pay extra. It's the same subscription, same price per month with new and subs that covers two separate pools. Interactive supplements, unchanged. This is when using the software programmatic. This is when I'm using something in my own script. New $20 to $200 included credit, metered API rates. API rates are 20 to 30 times more fucking expensive than the $20 to $200 month plan. So they're taking something away from you, but they're acting like they're giving you something. And instead of being honest and saying, hey kid, $5 for a pack of Newports, that was only because that was your first pack. Now it's $20 for a pack of Newports. Pay up. Instead of being honest about the pieces of shit that they want to pretend that they're the good guy. They want to pretend that they care about safety. They want to pretend that they care about saving the world. We care about our sovereign wealth fund. We care about it. No, they don't. They don't give a fuck about anything. They're a piece of fucking shit, garbage human beings. The people that work at Anthropic, the people that write gaslighting shit like this, in my opinion, are not good people. They are horrible people because they cannot be honest about what they are doing. If you want to have that as a business model, have it as your business model. But if you're gonna be the bitch, as my good friend Dino used to say, God rest his soul, if he's not there anymore, be the whole bitch. Be honest. Every one of these fucks, in my opinion, is no different than the super senior that was hanging out in the last bathroom stall in Susan Wagner High School during lunchtime selling cigarettes to freshmen. It's the same fucking principle. They're pieces of shit. But back to this. Now there's a tweet that came out. I've had a number of conversations with folks inside and outside of government about the current situation with Anthropic. And here's what I believe to be true. As we know, Anthropic publicly released Mythos class models earlier this week under the commercial name Fable. Fable is Mythos with guardrails. So if those guardrails fail, then you've exposed Mythos into advanced cyber capabilities that people shouldn't have. Keep in mind that Anthropic itself widely promoted the idea that Mythos was a cyber weapon and needs to be regulated as such. They asked for government regulation of Mythos and championed the guardrails on Fable. If there's a vulnerability, big or small, it's Anthropic's responsibility to patch. A highly credible, trusted partner of both Anthropic and the US government who is testing Fable came forward with the jailbreak of those guardrails. The administration asked Dario to fix the jailbreak or deploy the model. Dario refused. In their blog post, Anthropic defended its decision by saying the jailbreak isn't serious. That is not what the trusted partner or the US government believes, nor is that the kind of minimizing language consistent with Anthropic's brand as the AI safety company. It's difficult to fathom how they claim a jailbreak allowing operation of a cyber weapon could be defined as not serious. In the past, Anthropic has always said that the safety must be top priority and be taken super seriously. In this case, Anthropic prioritized the continued offering of the consumer model over safety. In reaction, the Trump administration issued the export control. The administration did this reluctantly. It's been very surprised that Anthropic hasn't wanted to cooperate with a reasonable safety request fixing the jailbreak issue. Anthropic's reaction is very much odds with their branding and ethos as a safe AI research community. The immense hope is now that Anthropic remediates the safety issue. The export control is lifted and Fable goes back in general release. The administration wants all this to happen as soon as possible. It's frankly bewildered that Anthropic hasn't wanted to comply with safety requests that previously said were its highest priority. They're trying to misdirect the entire section of the private department where Anthropic is wrong. Given values Anthropic's technical capabilities and feel the decision serious should be easily resolved the balls into Anthropic's court. Now, to be clear, I'm reading this tweet from somebody that's in the president's cabinet, and I'm not even going to dig into that can of worms because that would be a 1 or 2 hour long video itself. There's only so many times that people in the president's cabinet can say something that's not true before I just stop believing. However, in this case over here, so he's in the president's cabinet. I'm just like the same political bias. I voted for Democrats and I voted for Republicans in the past. In this particular administration, I just don't trust shit that the cabinet says without personal verification. Is that okay? So let's read this blog post. This comes from Anthropic themselves. The U.S. government citing national security authorities has issued an export control record to suspend all access to Fable 5 and Mythos 5 by any foreign national, whether inside or outside the United States, including foreign national Anthropic employees. Received the record from the government today 5:21 p.m. They've been aware of a method of bypassing or jailbreaking Fable 5. We reviewed the demonstration of the specific technique being used to identify a small number of previously known minor vulnerabilities. These vulnerabilities all appear relatively simple, and we have found that other publicly available models are able to discover them as well without requiring a bypass. No testers have been able to find a universal jailbreak. A jailbreak method that can very broadly bypass the model safeguards, unblocking a wide range of cyber capabilities. Again, this goes back to what is my bias? I trust none of these fucks. Read this. No testers have been able to find a universal jailbreak. Again, when I'm reading text from gaslighting fucks, what I read when I read this is people have found a jailbreak, and I'm going to try to type something that makes it sound like they did it. So they did find a way to get by the model safeguards, unblocking a wide range of cyber capabilities. As we stated publicly, believe the government should have the ability to block unsafe deployment as part of the statutory process that is transparent, fair, clear, and grounded in technical facts. This action does not adhere to those principles. You're saying that the government should be allowed to block your models, but as long as the process is transparent and fair. But every single time the government has dealt with them, the process has not been transparent and fair. It has been anything but. It has been the exact opposite. And you're still asking for it anyway. So I don't feel bad for Anthropic. The people who lose here are not Anthropic, the government. I don't feel like proving that I am not a foreign national in order to be able to sign up for Hetzner, use a virtual machine, or use an ammo. This just reeks of age verification, VPN, that kind of stuff to me, and I don't really like it very much. Also, another thing to consider here, when you say that foreign nationals cannot do this work, whether you like it or not, whether you're happy about it or not, this is one stat. The Macropolo Global AI Talent Track reports that U.S. institutions employ 59% of the world's top tier AI researchers, and that this lead rests almost entirely on foreign-born talent. So a lot of the people that are doing the work to actually produce these models and that security research are foreign-born nationals. The government wants to fix the model, but the people who fix the model are foreign-born nationals. Foreign nationals are not use the model. Therefore, like, what do you supposed to do to comply with that law? I don't think there's anything that they even could do to comply with that law. Even if they did want to go psycho, show your birth certificate, show your papers, and use their products, they want to fix it because people are
messed up the editing.
I think that's the point that's one of the silliest to me. Let's say that this model was actually so dangerous that we couldn't let foreign-born nationals get access to it because they could hack into our banks, they could hack into our critical infrastructure. I'm not a foreign-born national. I'm a U.S. citizen. If I had the ability to go into Cloud Code and say, go to chase.com, undo this spaghetti code, and put $1 billion in my bank account, I'm probably do that. You say you wouldn't do that? Really feel tempted if the model is so dangerous that you can use it to hack into the CIA and the Department of Defense and banks. Why would you say there's only foreign nationals that shouldn't be able to use it? It's one of the, this is all silly to me. I'll be honest with you. This entire situation is very silly. I think the U.S. government is being silly. I think Anthropic is being silly. There are many times in my life I've not been a big fan of my government, and for most of my life I've not been a fan of the gaslighting speak of corporate executives and this stuff in general. It all just rubs me the wrong way. It's very annoying from top to bottom. It doesn't make sense. If it's so dangerous, then why are you giving even Americans access to it? If the idea is safety, you should be giving nobody access to it. If you want to say, okay, only foreign nationals, let's just say that the entire country of America, every single person is a U.S. citizen, they would totally never try to get the redacted Epstein files by using an AI model. They would totally not try to hack into the CIA. Like, nobody in the United States would try to get the redacted portions of the JFK assassination information. They would totally never do that. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, this model is so dangerous it can hack into anything, so we can't have foreign nationals using it. We can totally have people in our country. Like, nobody in the United States as a citizen would ever do something like try to increase the value of the bank account or hack into the CIA or the government servers to figure out who killed Kennedy. They would never do that. From top to bottom, this makes no sense. Anthropic posturing pretending they care about safety when they don't. The government pretending that they care about getting hacked because this model is so dangerous when they don't. I find this to be a complete pile of bullshit from top to bottom. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. That's it for today. As always, I hope you learned something. See you in the next video. Bye.
Oh well. Long pause, I guess. Yep. I have so much to say. Top of that. I don't think I'm in a position where I can say anything. I feel like, even though I could already did multiple times, I'm just tired of it. People suck in general. You can't be the whole bitch. They won't be. They can't be. It's not profitable. They cannot get enough public acceptance if they do. They won't. So, it sucks. Oh, fuck. Oh,
Take two, return to base. I factory reset it, and then I had to do a remapping of the room. So it mapped the room, and now it's going back to base. You can do it, bro.
Dude, throw this shit away at this point. There's no way. It's over. It was a waste of cash. Oh my gosh.
You fucked up your mop pad, man. Do it. Yeah, what about stickies off? Mop pad stickies on? Put that in. Let's go check. You're confused with this. You got some dust lines? No, we're gonna clean off the dust line. You actually got self-dirty trying to go back
This is ridiculous. This is fucking ridiculous. No way, it should not have been. It should not be cleaned.
You fucking moron! Come on! Fucking dumbass vacuum.
When you think it's gonna do it, it's just nope. Nope.
This company is going to IPO at $600 billion. It never learns, bro. You think it would finally learn to stop going up to the left, but it's really never learned. There's nothing stuck in there. The sensors are clean. They've been cleaned over and over again. Oh, why do you keep doing that, man? Just go back. Stop going to the left. Just go. Jesus. Can I guide you? Will you let me guide you? Let's see what happens if I try and guide you. All right. Okay, come on. Don't hit me. No, you're supposed to be going back into your home. Go back home, bro. I'm spinning around. Here we go, come on. Go forward so you can do your stupid up until the left thing and fall off again. And this time to help. Oh my god, it bites you! If you try to put it back in, if I try to give it a helping hand, it actually fights back. It's like, don't touch me! Don't attack Blackberry. Blackberry's taking this very well. Blackberry, you can punch that thing.
I cannot tell apart Blackberry with Clinton. Maybe.
Go get him. Get up this thing. You stubborn little shit.
At this distance, it's hard to tell.
Would you buy a $600 AI vacuum from Dream? That's it for today. And as always, it was in the morning. It's not too much on a vacuum.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 468. Busy week, a lot of stuff to go over. And as we're recording this, actually, Sean is probably like on the edge of his seat because the Knicks are trying to do something they've done in like 50 some odd years. Since 1971? 1971. Yeah, so they're trying to close it out and be NBA champions. So that's he's gonna be doing that, watching that right now. So we'll check in with him next week. We can either way, even if they lose, they might still 2 more shots at it. So basically, by the next podcast, Sean should be the happiest guy ever, or he might be bad. I would check out if they don't win it all. I would definitely call like I gotta check on him, like because this would be a colossal breakdown if they lost this final. It would be devastating. There's no way to describe it. It would absolutely be devastating. It'd be worse ever because even like with the Golden State Warriors when they lost theirs, they already won like a title right before that. They already won like a title. So it was like okay, yeah, they choked, but it wasn't that bad. They already had a couple. But the Knicks haven't won anything. So this would be the worst thing maybe ever to happen to a team for sure. I don't know, it's like that and like Buffalo Bills losing 4 straight Super Bowls. Oh, that's crazy. Devastating things ever. I feel bad for them. But the thing is, like with the Warriors, like I don't really blame them for blowing the 3-1 lead because like they're facing against the GOAT LeBron James, the greatest of all time, right? So of course they're gonna lose. When you're a GOAT, you might not even have to get into those when you're down. When real GOATs go down 3-1. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know real GOATs go down 3-1. I'm just saying. Real GOATs even make it game 7. Yeah, I know. He's never even been in game 7 for the final. I'm just saying. You know what's so interesting? I will say about LeBron, the amount of like games just outright that he's late, it's kind of ridiculous that he's still playing. Because like with all the playoff run, like everything, it's kind of insane. The amount of minutes logged on his like body and they still playing. I'll give him that. My knees are Swiss cheese. I play nowhere near as long as he is. Let's go around. We'll see joining us in a couple minutes here as well. Let's go around here. Right, guys, things are going great. Just been on the grind with my YouTube channel, putting out content. Another video in the works earlier today. I recorded an episode, I'm guessing another podcast that will drop in a few days now. So yeah, just on the grind and lots to talk about this week. So I'm pretty excited. About that. Doing good. Just playing lots of games. Finished up Romancing Saga after about 100 hours. Story, one of the most underrated Square Enix games ever. This game is phenomenal. I think it's because kind of a generic anime art style, and it's just Romancing Saga is, but it is phenomenal. Like turn-based RPGs is one of the best ranks put out. It's really super game. Full remake on Unreal Engine. So I'm doing posting content now. I'm having fun with that. And yeah, just a lot of video editing, a lot of work, and plus hours of working much every day. So it's working. Thank you to my kids and all that type of stuff. No, it's been good. I can't complain, man. I'm always busy. So that's good. Stuff about what happened. Sorry, got back from a Pilking League thing today. Brain's a little on fire. So oh, you just is this what you're playing? Or is it you're playing at Too Many Games?
No, this is a smaller scale, larger scale stuff. Too Many Games.
I know this is like preparation for that. Like you're getting team set up. And
no, I can't do that because the Too Many Games tournament is the week after the new edition launches. So I can't do shit until that day. The people running it are going to be bringing me the cards that don't come out till that day at the convention to hand them to me. I'm not even going to know my missions. That's why I'll find online until that day. That's
interesting. I feel like does that kind of put everyone on a level playing field? It's like what's the game type you would do? I think Magic did it. I think Pokemon did it too. Right, you buy like a box art. Yeah, and so you wouldn't really know what cards you had. You kind of had to think about it in terms of strategy. Sort of the really professional players would have all the stuff now because that company just gives it to them. So if anywhere going there, I'd probably be screwed. But that's just there's probably none of the big guys going there, so that'll be fun. Yeah, Celia.
Hi guys.
Holy shit, super bright watch out.
I know. I was trying to figure it out, but I'm so pale. Okay.
It goes to Christmas Future Rise.
You look like Celia the Friendly Ghost right now.
I am Celia, dude. Dr. is my cousin. Okay, I'm just this white.
You look like Langston Sun in Pages.
You can hear the camera screaming.
Celia. I don't know.
Like somebody's not like
It's a Morpheus shit going on. Noir movie in the
No,
corner.
man, I'm having so much fun hanging out with you guys. I'm glad I raised home for my
you
other
look like you just scared of somebody named Belmont right now.
How's it going there? Celia?
Great, having so much fun. Good to see you guys. Happy Saturday.
Celia, you look like you don't like garlic house.
I hate you. I don't.
You might get upset with the steak or else.
I get out of your system.
Points over at all costs.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, one more.
No, we got it. Also, shout out to the U.S. men's national team. Think they're business 4-1. Dude, that was very good. Very good. That's the best I think I've ever seen our national team ever look in my lifetime. So I'll give them credit. What if they take it this year? Like, no, the United States can never win the World Cup because the world would actually implode. Because then for 4 years they have to call it soccer. Like there'd be no fans unless they just be soccer. I'm Canadian, but I low-key would love to see that happen. Just to see the reaction. You know, I think people would be curious because like people are making jokes online that like the whole world was watching the game and basically it was massive hate watch and then people were cheering for the United States. And I believe it. But it's that would be crazy. That would do some damage. But they get far enough in the tournament. I think that would annoy people too. So
we usually have like a run. It's usually like 2 runs.
So many Olympic medals.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Don't need a World Cup.
That was like 1930. Yeah, I've never seen that. Honestly, so a lot of they have like accounts that and like full footage or anything. So that'd be cool. Although you see the roster, most of the team is just there. Most of they come back to the US. It's fun. World Cup is so interesting. You guys see on social media what's happening where people are coming over. Like, obviously, everyone from the world is coming to the US to like watch these games, and so many accounts are like amazed that the US is actually an interesting place to go. Oh really?
Yeah. I think the guy from Ireland, he went into a Walmart and he kept on stopping people, like asking what snacks he should eat. And like this one lady, she was so kind and took him around and like, because they have to try Twinkies, honey buns. Then this old lady like stopped them and was like Pop-Tarts, no frosting, but butter on it. And like they were just giving them like southern suggestions. And then there's this other guy reviewing like he went in one day, went to like Olive Garden, Waffle House, like a list of things.
Waffle House, like that is Central American.
It is, but like in one day, like I can hear their arteries like clogging.
What time did you go to Waffle House? Because that will change.
That does change the experience definitely.
You should go because you get a UFC fight and food all in like one.
Between 11:30 at night and 4 in the morning. Yes.
The funny thing are people right now like they're from Japan to the US because Twitter I think will auto translate. Yeah, I love that feature. Yeah, so I see this one person is like flabbergasted at the idea of them bringing chips and salsa. So they write entire poems about it. They say the Texas Roadhouse is like the greatest thing they've ever seen because the steak to price ratio is ridiculous. And this person is like I was ashamed because the biscuits and gravy look bad, but they're really good. I'm ashamed that I judged it based on his look. And his entire poem that he wrote about it is crazy. And then
the biscuits and gravy really is our beans on toast. It's just kind of.
I think it was someone from I want to say Germany just posted a picture and they were like, "This is amazing. It's a picture of Wawa." Oh really? Oh my god, dude. I'm like, they're figuring it out.
Wawa is pretty. Wawa
surprises people. But he's now tried other places. He has to go to other places to try like their alternatives, the Royal Farms, the Chiefs, all of it, and see the battle going on.
Yeah, so that other person picture of Buc-ee's and they're like, "This is a gas station." It's so funny.
Walmart.
Wait, it is on my list to visit Buc-ee's, and I've heard great things about Wawa because we don't have it on the West Coast.
Did you not go to Wawa when we were at the last convention? It's
no,
right down the street.
I missed it. Is that something we should make it like a Wawa experience? Okay, right, let's go try a Wawa experience.
Where you guys are saying you could walk to it. Like it's right there.
Yeah, the coffee is pretty good. I think they have basic food, but it's pretty range.
There's so much work.
The steak cut ridiculously seasoned fries.
Let's go. So much is this country anyway.
Microsoft, but it has been whiplash every day. It's like back and forth on. They just keep talking and they just keep giving us gems. So it's all over the place with that. But I will say both the Xbox showcase and the give us a lot of party as well. So it was pretty good, I think, overall. If I just step back and look at the E3, not E3 time, it was pretty good. Yeah, I was pretty happy actually coming out of this. thought it was solid. Yeah, I thought it was a solid show all around. Between you add in like just Sony show, Summer Game Fest, I thought they were all at least bare minimum for me C+.
Yeah,
You know, as a show great. So I thought this was one of the better all around shows that we've had like in years. I would say from all the different companies. Obviously, like 2021, 2022. I know it's been a while for me at least. I've seen this. I mean, Summer Game Fest isn't great. That's not great.
The longest time Summer Game Fest was just we're watching. You're kidding me.
Yeah, pretty much. But then, like, I know when we
It's
first
a tiny island.
Also, now we're getting some pretty good announcements. You know, we were able to get
It's a tiny island.
both of that shows. That's pretty big.
Bro.
Yeah, and I look at just the sheer number of games. We easily got more than I think 110 games that were announced over the last 8 days, 9 days, something like that. That's a lot of games. That's a lot of stuff, you know. So it's hard to complain. And I look at the lineup of games, which I wrote all that down. We go over that towards the end. The amount of games between September and October is a lot. So it's tough to keep up with actually everything's happening. But we can go over both of the shows here. Okay, let's actually start off some of the chats real quick. Frank says time to play through Xenoblade Chronicles 1 through 3 with the upgrades. Excited for Persona 6. I gotta check up on my Xbox friends for the Whiplash Day series this week. There's Whiplash.
That's fucking hating.
I do love Xenoblade Chronicles. The upgrade
Blame
and
instead of the US.
It's very nice.
I should ask this, Frank, if you're playing Xenoblade
Not
Chronicles
hating, polite.
There you go. Okay.
Just
Well, that's really cool.
the island of the
We're working
Hawkeye
on getting a Switch too.
was played for the United States.
But Xenoblade Chronicles, as we'll get into, they're all going to be 4K 60. So
But it feels like
they are. They take a while to play through. There's a lot of content in those games.
And they added more. They added like a freaking Mario Kart mini game.
Yeah, actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so they added that to it. And they actually made it where it's actually a lot faster. You can beat the game way quicker now because you got just speed around the place. Before you kind of have to just like walk everywhere, you know, and then find the place and like fast travel. But now you just speed around real quickly. So it's actually a lot faster to beat the game. And they also have the casual too, so like, you can also put it on that. And it makes it just way easier, like way less grindy stuff. So
T-shirt says, okay, making Hearts 4 is not commenting on cards direct. I figured it would save it for the game ever.
That's weird as fuck.
As it says, I've been watching this podcast since I was 11. And today's my 18th birthday. Loki, you go out more.
We appreciate you, but also happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. I'm a little scared that, you know, since 11, how will we influence you? That's what I want to know.
Oh my god, I hope they just really like the Knicks.
This is from Jeffrey says, playing Bloodborne for the first time. It's the best Soft game in my opinion. It's so smooth. I'm using my TV's game mode. Oh, it's like the fake frames got in there to try to make it smoother. I just need 60 frames south of the game. Yeah, I know. I enjoy people demanding it more than they want. Says, Spurs go. Vision says, how does this podcast number stay sane with the amount of crying and opinions in the video game world? I need to remake remaster of my time. Well, here's my advice. Whenever you look at social media, like on Twitter, read everything in a sarcastic tone in your head.
I don't envision a conversation in a grocery store and it's kind of funny. People just talking to each other like that. And you're like,
Just have fun with it. I troll people on social media all the time. They get so salty. So it's like people throw stuff at me. I throw stuff. Like, just don't take it seriously. Just treat it like if you play sports, like trash talk. It's just not anything serious. You know?
Also, it's a cheap plug, but honestly, going out to conventions or other places where people meet in real life, you'd be surprised at how different the conversation is there.
It's going outside in general.
Oh yeah, but like people who are into the hobby and stuff, they genuinely want to have fun with the hobby and not.
It's nothing like it. The people, even if the people who are saying everything on social media, if you see them in IRL, they don't say damn things. They'll be super nice and stuff like that. It won't even be anything to say. So just treat it like that. It's not a big deal.
We got Jack saying, anyone picking up Adventures of Elliot this week? Played that on pre-order as soon as I finished it. It looks like brand new to yeah,
I'm 100% picking that up. It looks awesome.
How fun.
Downhorn says, have 22 games looking forward to my next spring. About y'all think only will pre-order 10 and rest games out by 2 get one. We can do small reviews of most. 22 games looking forward to my next spring. I told you there's a lot of games right now. I haven't a list, but 22 probably sounds like the right number. Overwhelming number of games. We might have to start doing a thing on the podcast where we just do like 1 minute reviews and just put it up for everybody like small videos so you guys have them because it's
almost like too many games. September is insane.
Yeah.
It's like that 1 week period from September 25th to October 1st. It's like Silent Hill, Onimusha, Rayman, another game. It's like I don't play all these games day one.
Yeah, all the calendars are packed because Grand Theft Auto is coming out in November. Like everyone has to scooch their releases.
Let's go over some of the direct first because we have
I don't think I care enough about the World
let's see.
Cup,
The Nintendo
and I'm just kind of curious now.
Minutes long. I didn't quite run the hour.
This is a
Something
weird
else, the long
fact.
Treehouse. That is okay. I had hopes for some games to be there. So I wasn't really paying much attention. But we did have kind of 44 games here in this one. So they opened with Rhythm Heaven Groove. I was never a big Rhythm Heaven person, but there are. And I guess it looked like an RPG mode. I guess like a single player mode was interesting. But that's out soon. That's out in July 2nd. The 3 weeks. Onimusha Way of the Sword. Just like Joy-Con controls with it. That's just coming out day and date. Capcom's going crazy on the Switch too. It's like Capcom Square games are starting to really hit the system hard right now. And like Onimusha is awesome. If people want to play the demo, you should. I think it's really good. Yeah. So this is gonna be neat. Again, it's Capcom once again finding the Ori engine to the Switch too, and we're taking advantage of this growing base, especially in Japan where Switch users are somebody else. Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen October 9. That I see how that game runs. that one had a lot of problems on like consoles. I remember on PC, right? Dragon's Dogma 2. That was kind of a weird one.
I mean, people were saying it was weird. I didn't have the problem. I mean, different formats, different systems. You never know what your combo's going to do. But I had no issues. It looked great, ran great. But
they said they're putting out a performance patch ahead of this one for other platforms. So I was wondering if just the optimization for the Switch 2 also kind of spilled over for other systems. So I mean, we'll probably get benchmarks of the new version that they push out there for honestly all different systems. I think the patch is going to be released for Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So we'll see that. Celebrate is going to the Switch 2, so it's no longer just going to be on PlayStation. It was already on PC, but now they're also moving to the Switch 2. The Xbox people were asking about that, and they said give some time. So I do think Shift Up wants to get their game everywhere they can. I wouldn't be shocked if they got it onto mobile phones. So that actually would not surprise me if one day. It was like, yeah, Apple and Shift Up came to agreement, and it's going to be iPhone 17 or whatever. So that's gonna. And then we had Orbitals. That's coming out September 3rd. So they're getting that one out ahead of all the madness that's going to hit. By the way, I actually like what I'm seeing with Orbitals. I'm picking that one up. That's a big one.
It looks great.
That's a big one. One of the kids is getting old enough to play these games co-op now, so we played Split Fiction, and we're finally getting through that. So I think we're playing Orbitals.
Funny you say that because my brother and his son, he's about to turn 6 in a few months. They're playing Split Fiction together as well.
I just want to comment that Orbitals art is really, really like pretty, and I'm very excited. Anything like old anime aesthetic is very appealing to me. So I too am looking forward to this game.
It looks like Mobile Suit Gundam, like those old
nice.
animes like from the 80s, like Vampire Hunter D or something.
It kind of reminds me of Robotech.
Yeah,
Robotech. Valley of the Wind was that one of them?
Yeah, I gotta see it. I've only ever seen it in streams. I gotta see it on the outlets. But like I've seen there. It's not on GameCube cards. It's a full physical copy, so I'll get physically saved. Okay, Rayman Legends Retold. We already saw that one. There's Reinforced Big Walk. House House is interesting studio. I don't know what I'm looking at with this game, but it's there. It's like a walking simulator that House House did on Total game. So really? Yeah. So here they are with Big Walk, and they were trying to explain what it was, and I still don't know. It's got cross-platform play and mouse controls, and it's out August 4th. So
it's like a streamer game.
Yeah, if you're a streamer and if you're drunk or like playing with your friends, you know, yeah, like it might be fun for something like that. Or streaming.
I saw a tweet. I saw a tweet that was like in a world full of friend slots. This might be our first friend gem game. Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, no, it feels like I don't know. Otaku's game was such like a well-polished shitpost. So I'm not describing besides that. It's such a shitpost. I love that game. Their studio gave me a pin, which was the no goose sign or whatever, and I still have that years later. I appreciate that. But yeah, it looks like a well-polished shit. Like shit. I don't know what it fucking is. Okay.
That's amazing.
Thank you. That would be a box quote if they need one. Right, but I'm expecting the same level of quality and like unseriousness, obviously, like from the art design of this. So I'm looking forward to it.
We had One Piece Grand Gourmet.
Dude, it's like Dagger Dash, but One Piece. I'm excited about this game, but I like Dagger Dash games. It feels, like something I would play on like the 3DS. So
it's really cool, especially obviously if you're the One Piece. If you're the One Piece stuff, it's probably a lot of fun. They have over 400 characters.
Yeah, all the characters from the game. That had to be a lot of time.
Yeah, it's like full 8-bit style, and it's like a big living restaurant, household thing. So
it's very good. It's really good fit. I wonder, it's obviously a licensed game, so I'm curious like what they like reskinned or if they built it from the ground up. But either or, I'm looking forward to it.
Right, we have Utopia DLC. So they have it's an expansion that's like $35, and people are already pointing out that the game with DLC is like $105. But they have like a free update they put out. And they have parts of the DLC they'll be releasing over the next few months into 2027. There's like part 1, 2, and 3. Part 1, August 2026, and part 2 is late 26, and part 3 is 27. And I mean, you go to water, so that's cool. You can take advantage of like ocean floors, and there's quite a bit of that.
I still think to get the content in the regular game.
There's a lot there. Yeah, there's a lot of content anyway.
There's so much content. I don't even need that for me. Like, I think that's people that, put 200 hours into the game and they need something new to play. People that play Animal Crossing were bitching like crazy that they didn't get more stuff. Like, they get that update recently, but they didn't get a big expansion for Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Okay, then we go into Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. I know this is OJ's thing. This is a game. I'm sure he was excited about it. It popped up. It's
oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
What are we looking at here? I mean, I saw they have 4 different heroes, and each have a story.
They did the meme. The meme was, what if there was, they're gonna call it Fire Emblem 4 houses. Then I was like, oh
yeah.
They literally did. And I'm very excited, and I can't wait to play this game 4 different times for a vaguely different ending.
Yeah, the cool thing that it seems like that they've added here is that in Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia, there were dungeons that you can like explore on foot, and that was like in the region of the 3DS. So they have that here. Like, you can explore dungeons on foot, get treasure chests, and then do like small skirmish battles. With that. So that's a pretty cool touch. So it's gonna be a little bit more relaxed with like your activity points. In Fire Emblem 3 House, like, you can earn them over the course of time to do more activity points. So like it's a counter system like Persona. It was a bit more relaxed than Personas and had a bit more range. So it's like they're gonna bring that back. And it looks like the technical issues and the problems that are on much stronger hardware are fixed. Graphics don't anything incredible, but the models look a lot better. Obviously, better than anything on Switch 1. So I really enjoy what they did there because every time in Fire Emblem 3 Houses or in Engage, anytime that you like get a special attack, it would like drop frames. Unless you're playing on Switch 2. If you're on Switch 2 or Boost Mode, whatever, it would do that. But on Switch 1 it would. So all that seems to be good now. And like the technology is great, the environment's okay, but the gameplay just looks awesome. The characters in terms of the details look just so cool. I cannot wait to get my hands on this. So I think it's gonna be really good. I think it's gonna review really well. So I'm super excited for it. And it looks like they have a ton of content as well. Like, it's going to have so much content, even more than 3 Houses when it comes to like the base level content. Because they have that when it comes to the extra character. They didn't detail the angel character too much, so there's still like some secrets because you have like a male and female angel character there too. So there's still like more stuff in this game. I'm like over the moon. I'm so excited. It's coming soon, September 17th. Really good.
I do have to bring up the first one on it. It is going to be Nintendo's second $80 game.
Yeah, and I talked about that in my video. I was like, I don't like that. Luckily for us, or at least I buy special listening, which doesn't matter to me. But like, luckily for other people, Walmart and Amazon are doing the price match. So
yes, that's what 70 if
if you want to watch the problem though, which is why it's still a problem, is because after that, after the launch, it goes back up to the, at least that's what happened with the other games that they go back up. Yeah, they go back up. So that's the problem. You know,
I think it is unfortunate for it's a weird game I think for Nintendo to pick as the next $80 game. Fire Emblem, not that it has like the hardest time selling, but it doesn't make it necessarily easier for somebody to walk by the case of games like, oh, I'll get the $80 game, I'll get a chance on this. It just as the prices go up, it's harder for people to just impulse buy a game or system. And it's just another example of that. So it's interesting that this is the one they pick, unless they were just thinking. I mean, people probably will opt for this $120 special edition, and people are hitting that pretty hard because even on eBay people are reselling Scalping thing for $200.
That's the Fire Emblem specials. Like, oh, scalp the special editions as soon as they drop it. The same thing happened with the 3 Houses special edition, even like the Engage special edition. Like it always happens with those. I'm guessing it's because the game is just a massive game and they're paying multiple different companies to do the game. It took them like 5 years because it looks like it's Koei Tecmo. I don't think they confirmed that yet. They might have, I'm not sure. But obviously Intelligent Systems, Nintendo doesn't own Intelligent Systems despite them working with them for like decades. They don't own them, and of course it looks like Koei Tecmo's helping out. It looks like they have like a million hours of content. But yeah, I still don't like it though. I did a little small rant about that in my video.
So we have Ninjala 2, The Uncharted Planet.
I was surprised there's a 2. There's a first game. I'm surprised. Well, yeah, I'm surprised that it's actually a thing because the first game was like a multiplayer game. Now this one's like a cooperative single player. Like you can have multiplayer co-op. So they completely changed the style of game that it is.
Yeah, I remember the first one. I remember a while ago, but I didn't play the first one also.
I played quite a bit.
Okay, so that's coming out spring 27th. There's a 2027 game announced there. We had the DK Challenge that was announced, and that's live now. It's like a limited time event. It's going to run in September. The thing that's interesting about this is this kind of passed like right by me. I didn't think too much about it. Then I was looking around the Switch 2 and I was like, oh yeah, there was a DK Challenge. Check it out. And I kind of think that this is Nintendo testing achievements for their system, which is interesting. Just the way it's. I don't know if you tried it all, OJ. Yeah, the DK
Challenge. No, I didn't try it. I've seen people and like what it is, but it does seem pretty cool. But obviously it doesn't work anything. Like, it's kind of like achievements, obviously not. You know, I don't know.
Well, yeah, it is. But the thing that's interesting is so NSO, they just have save state teleport to it, and then you do the challenge, you get a card. If you play Donkey Kong Bonanza, it doesn't teleport. You actually open the game, you play it normally, and then when you do something, it has a notification that pops up like, you unlock this, and it goes away. It reminded me very much of unlocking a trophy on PlayStation. I was like, okay, that's different from NSO. Yeah. And it did feel like I unlocked because some of them are story based. So they do have ones like you beat certain bosses will pop, and they have ones that you can go do legitimately difficult challenges, and that'll pop. So you do special ability like that. So the NSO one, you're right, feels more like save state challenges. Bonanza feels more like you just play through the game normally now while it's one. You'll just unlock cards as you hit certain milestone events.
Yeah, that definitely feels more like achievements being, and then like you can see them right on your online profile. But can other people see them?
No, not yet. So the reason I think this is a temporary event is I kind of feel like they're collecting data on it to see because when you go to your card, there's a specific button. It's not the take picture your screenshot button. You press Y and it takes a screenshot, a specific one, to then show people. So like they have that set up, and I think and it feels very rudimentary, almost like when Sony was first playing around trophies. It was still kind of clunky back then. I kind of think they're looking at this right now, and I would like to see this because the cards are actually really cool. Like I talked about how I want Nintendo to try it because I think they would bring something new to the game with it. And the cards, so you get your trophies on PlayStation, your achievements on Xbox, but they are nowhere on the level of this digital card that you get. That it's actually kind of cool. Like when you're looking at it, it'll start playing part of the challenge like in video form, and the artwork's really cool.
Okay, yeah. So that to me makes me a little bit like I used to be an achievement hunter. I used to be a trophy hunter. You know, like I used to do that. I used to do that. I don't want to do this anymore. Like I didn't feel it was enough of a reward. You get a little like that, like a little button icon, but it's like a full card of animation. Like, that might incentivize me a little bit more. I still haven't done it yet though, so I'm not like, but like your describing actually pretty cool.
Yes, I think I have. Here's a video on this earlier just to check it out. Here's what it looks like. This is just a page. Like that's the page that you get for your cards, and they're all interactive. So when you hover over them or pick it, it'll come up with the card will turn into a video. Yeah, and it'll show the challenge or what you've done. Which is pretty cool. It has its timestamp, so it has like the date, has your name, all that stuff on it. So it's like legitimately tracking.
Yeah, that's actually like a video and stuff. That's cool. That might get me to do it. Might.
So I'm thinking
somehow they made achievements better and worse.
Oh yeah, I think there's something really cool that Nintendo could do. I would like them to attempt
better as in looking better, worse as making
making
it timed.
Mario 35 style, baby.
I might go through and take all screenshots. Like I got them all. I got all the evidence that was here. So something to pay attention to though as well. Like that'd be cool if they brought back even for Legend of Zelda with the anniversary and that would be pretty cool. Like unlock that kind of stuff. I do really believe that there are a lot of people who like they might say they don't care about achievements trophies, but then they get a trophy and like, oh, that's kind of cool. I want to unlock more of these. So it happened to Sean in real time in his video where he was I don't know, he was playing, I want to say it was like Jesus Simulator or something. He started unlocking things. So let's go to Jujutsu Kaisen Rumble Survivation, a great title. It looked like Vampire Survivor multiplayer. Lords of the Fallen 2, Lies of P. Lies of P, by the way, will be on the cartridge. That is a full physical cartridge for Switch 2.
I was supposed to get that game on PS5 and they just never had the PS5 physical version in stock on Amazon. They always say it's gonna take like weeks to get here. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So I just never ended up getting it. I'll probably pick up the Switch 2.
That's cool game. It was cool. So I remember getting Game Pass and I played there.
I like Pinocchio. Like for some reason I thought Pinocchio was quite cool. I like the story at the Disney stuff whatever they did back in the day. So I like the tale of Pinocchio.
It's like the dark
dimension version. Dimension Pinocchio. That's cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. But it's a cool Souls like game. We had Devil May Cry 5. That's going to the Switch 2. Okay. Muramasa, Evan Blades. Kind of cool.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. I think that adds in. There's only two versions of that game. There's a Wii version and a PS Vita version, and I don't think they've ever ported it to anything else. So it's a really good game. It's a lot of fun. It's like a 2D Devil May Cry style RPG. So it's fun. I like it a lot. And then we have the Xenoblade section. So Xenoblade Chronicles, they're all getting Switch 2 editions. 1, 2, and 3. So before 4K 60 dock, 1080p, 60 handheld mode, additional features, content for each game. Xenoblade 1 that has the update available right now. 2 will be out July 30th. 3 is December 3rd. I think the one that is most intriguing to me is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 because that game does not look great on the Switch 2. I was on the Switch 1 was the whole thing about it, but even then it's stretched out further on the Switch 2. Even like the boost mode, it's still questionable. So that one I'm really curious to see. But then they went immediately into Xenoblade Genesis, and that also looks like it takes place at like Academy. And it looks pretty massive. Like they were showing some worlds and some zoomed out shots. And I gotta imagine OJ went from Fire Emblem to Xenoblade Genesis and was losing his mind. I think my heart stopped at some point. Like I literally think my heart stopped. I did not expect another Xenoblade game. I expected maybe we get the Xenoblade updates because we already got Xenoblade X, but I didn't know that they would show Xenoblade for 2027. I thought maybe they would show that like later this year or they would show that like next year and then it launches next year or the year after. I didn't know that. Was like completely caught me off guard. There was a small leak for the game with the pink hair girl, but nobody believed it. Like, not a lot of people believed it. Like, yeah, that's not it. So there was a small leak, but it was kind of unexpected. Even for like the hardcore Xenoblade YouTubers out there, it was unexpected. So yeah, that was an incredible announcement. I'm really excited for Xenoblade Genesis. The name
you can start with this one. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but you can, if you've never played Xenoblade, you can start with, you can just think about, obviously Genesis, just the definition of what Genesis is. But yeah, you can start with that one, you can find anything like that one, you can move into the other ones, or you can just start with Xenoblade if you want to get into the series. Just start with Xenoblade 1 and just play the sword. Xenoblade 1, Xenoblade 2, Xenoblade 3, and Xenoblade X. And if you play that order, it'll be just fine. There's some people that tell you to play them like you can play Xenoblade 2 or 1 in any order. Yeah, you can, but I personally feel you just play Xenoblade 1, and then it hits harder to play Xenoblade 1 first, then you play Xenoblade 2. And these games are massive though, they take a long time, but there's a lot of different quality of life stuff added in, like things to make it easier to play. They all have like difficulty, like big games, a lot of easy modes and stuff, so you get them pretty a lot faster now than before. So it's a great franchise, and I'm super excited for Xenoblade Genesis. It looks great to me.
I'm looking forward to next year. That is 2027. Nintendo Switch Sports Resort, Switch 2 edition. It's Switch Sports. Thumb wrestling. Yeah, what was that about? I don't know why of all the games they were like, all right, hold on, we gotta show you thumb wrestling. That was
it's a quirky, weird, stupid game that people be like, huh?
That was the decision. Thumb gets bigger, I guess, if you hold it down.
That'll make you think, oh, why they do that? I might want to see that. The funniest thing about this game is that I had some people tell me, oh, that's a stupid game. Nobody cares. I'm like, dude, Nintendo Sports 18 million. Like almost all your favorite. It's also like all your favorite games for the most part.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw Woohoo Island again, I was like,
I got him right there. Yeah, I mean, like, it's bowling, table tennis. Yeah, you're a lot. Yeah, because they're games you can just line up in the living room, and people who wouldn't normally play video games like, oh, that's kind of cool. Try that. You know? So it's Nintendo's kind of since the way they always brought that forward with them. So
back in college, like people still had Wii's at their house. You know, we just like run like Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort. Like, yeah, this is so awesome.
Yeah, so you need for like bowling, you only need one remote, just pass it around and like watch people play. It was really cool. It was a good time. Good days. Let's see. Yeah, that's all by the way, October 22nd. So like 4 months after that one. RuneScape Dragon Wilds.
I feel like I see this game like at every showcase.
Yeah, a couple times, right?
It's been early access for a while, so we're just pushing forward at this point.
It's about them getting placement in like a lot of showcases, a lot of visibility. It's great.
Yeah, I think we already talked about it. I was not familiar with RuneScape still being a thing, but this is RuneScape. See how that goes. Hello Kitty Party Land.
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, cool. Yeah, Star Fox, which actually there's a demo out for Star Fox now. You can check it out. I actually like it. It's very good. Yeah, I'm very happy. Well, the demo, half the demo was trained. I was like, okay, that's fine. But then you have the asteroid belt chase through that. It's pretty good. It's 60 frames. It looks clean. And you know, I will say, the character models when we first saw them were kind of like, oh, what's going on here? But when you actually see it in action with cinematics in person, you're playing it. It fits. I think I'm good with it. I haven't seen Falco walking around as much. Sure, they imagine him like working on something. His little legs were like disproportionate. I haven't seen that cinematic yet. But at least for now, so far, it looks pretty good. It does. The cinematics are a little more depth than I was expecting too. Like it's some of them are kind of lengthy, but they're pretty high quality. And we found out the studio that's making this game is Balan, and they worked on like I think they worked on Knockout City and like Mario Kart Live.
Murder Club.
Yeah, so Nintendo just random. Sometimes we'll partner with some random studios for like I would expect them to go make Star Fox. You know,
it definitely seems random. I did a bit more. This is the studio that apparently Liam Robinson reported from N64 Digital Gaming. This is a studio that had Donkey Kong before Bands, obviously before, but they were with Vicarious Visions within Activision. They were working on a Donkey Kong game, a 3D open world Donkey Kong game where you like grind with like banana peels on like rails and stuff, and, like fight. Almost kind of like, I think they also did like the Skylanders Donkey Kong thing, and they had a Donkey Kong game that was apparently going to be solid. And Nintendo okayed, but the problem was that Activision was like, we need you guys to work on like Call of Duty or something like that. And they zapped them off of it. And I think that's kind of what prompted them to say, okay, screw this, and like we're gonna start our own studio. I think maybe that's where the relationship kind of like between the Skylanders stuff, between like the next Donkey Kong. I think that's maybe where they got, hey, you can work on classic IPs. Like you can actually bring a classic IP back, and it would play really good. So I think maybe that's where the relationship really started.
Okay, we had Final Fantasy Resonance, and this is the first game, Final Fantasy game in HD2D. Yeah, cutscenes look pretty cool. Some characters from some of the previous Final Fantasy games, they had like Cloud that they showed, but they had a bunch of other things. Tidus in there, Zane, a bunch of them. So they're gonna have a lot of callbacks to other Final Fantasy games here. That's on October 22nd, and they've been showing more and more of this game. IGN got to play 3 hours of it and discuss with the developers, and it looks really good. Like, shockingly, so first all of a sudden get revealed, and then hey, it's coming out in a few months. And I think they said it's based on the plot of Exvius or the mobile game, but it's not rebuilt. For people seem confused. It's not rebuilt from the mobile game. They're just taking the lore because they got a bunch of characters. It's a way for them to lock all their way into oh, here's Cloud next to Tidus or something. You know, they're able to do that, and they're kind of basing this game off of that plot. But I think it's great. It's fully turn-based. It's not like active time-based or anything. It's like classic traditional Final Fantasy. So I'm picking that up immediately.
Yeah, I'll be it looks really cool.
Let's see, Pikuniku 2. I know the first one. Okay, good. Dragon Quest Monsters: The Wizard World.
I'm excited for this one. Okay, I love Dragon Quest games. Dragon Warrior Monster is my favorite spin-off of I guess the Dragon Quest franchise. The Game Boy Color one, the first one is the best, and this one reminds me of Tara's Quest, which is technically the sequel. I wish they made this a 2D pixel art game because it just fits so well together. I'm not a huge fan of 3D. Like, I guess I think it's because I'm just so nostalgic with Dragon Warrior being a 2D game, but like my heart just wants to see it on like that side of things. I pick this up 100%. I'll give it a go. It does remind me of Tara's Quest because that was like the first time you could play as a girl, and so I'm excited to do that again. I'm looking forward to more information about the game.
So that's now December 3rd. So it's gonna be one of the last games out this year. All right, we have the Dust Bloods. They showed like 30 seconds, and then they said there's a closed network test summer 2026. This game's apparently still supposed to come out this year, so you know it's June. We don't know much about the game, but we were playing it apparently before. What's the last day of summer here? Like September or something. There you go. Splatoon Raiders was shown again. There's dedicated direction 30th. It's coming out in July. They have 2 new Joy-Con colors, so blue and yellow, and then mostly gray. Rest of the Joy-Cons. Deltarune, Metaphor, Fantasia, Switch for the
Don't glaze these. Okay, hold on. Okay, Deltarune, very excited about Chapter 5 coming out. It releases, I think it's like June 24th. I'm right.
You're right. June 24th.
It's the day after my birthday, so I'm going to be playing it basically for my birthday, like one day. I'm very excited about it. I'm a huge like Deltarune Undertale fan, so I'm looking forward to seeing what's in this next chapter. I feel like I have to replay past 2 chapters because I don't remember what happened. No, they're not that long. I could like get it out in a couple days, so maybe I'll just do that real quick. But looking forward to it. And then Metaphor, Fantasio was a fantastic game, so it's really cool to see it on Switch. So
I put 160 hours into Fantasio on hard mode to beat that and beat a lot of the side bosses and some of the stuff. Some of the best music in a JRPG ever, the best combat systems. It's a hybrid system between action RPG and turn-based. Like Persona, like Final Fantasy, like all that type of stuff. You know, you'll probably love Metaphor. I'm just really good. I love that game. It was my game of the year. It was my game of the year in 2024. Phenomenal game. Like, I like more than Persona. Each person I like more than Persona. So
really?
Yeah, okay, I like SMT. I like SMT. I like SMT and Metaphor more than Persona. I'm a weird one. I like SMT and Metaphor more. Persona, I love Persona. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're first. He hates Persona.
Yeah, he said that. I take that really personally, by the way, OJ. But okay, no, I like games. Like everything is fantastic, and sometimes you adore things more, and it appeals to you. I feel like if dating was a factor in Metaphor, I would have loved it more than Persona. And I understand the bonds are there, but it's just not the same. So it's like
they had it at some point though, because there's definitely scenes where it's like real close. Like there's definitely a fling between some of the characters, but it never goes past just side feels, you know.
It's in our hearts.
We had Kingdom Hearts Collection, which is a really weird situation because they were originally cloud based on the Switch 1. They have decided to remove those completely, and if you had them, you can now buy the newer edition for 50% off, specifically for the Switch 2 now. So they have all the Kingdom Hearts 2 stuff. It's very odd. It's some weird stuff sometimes. I don't know. This is another strange one. I don't get it. I think they should just replace your purchase or just give you a ticket for this where you just get these editions if you bought the cloud based one. I don't know. It seems weird to go this route. But they had Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, 2.83. There's a demo out for that. That's October 8th for those releases. And a shocking reveal. It's caught a lot of people off guard. Kingdom Hearts 4 was there. They showed more footage of it. It will be available at launch on the Switch 2. When is that? Who knows? But it will eventually come out.
Dude, it was so sorry to say before you go into your it was so smart of them to like announce the collection before just for the fact that I went from going like, oh great, another Kingdom Hearts collection to oh my god, is that what I think it is? Like it like really like changed my expectations of things. I really was caught off guard. So great job with that placement. And it makes sense to have it there, but I just was not expecting it. Great reveal. You go now, Jay.
No, I didn't expect it at all. I was like shocked that they announced that there. I wouldn't expect it because it's like day and date too. It's like day and date and they show gameplay, not just that. So that was a wild thing to me at least. With that great reveal. I mean, Kingdom Hearts is the franchise. I love Kingdom Hearts. I play a lot of games. They're really weird. It's just stories. But if you watch like the stuff that people do on them, like HK, watch all the videos, like
3 hours how it all works videos.
Yeah, HK did a 5-minute recap. It was actually not bad for only being 5 minutes. It was pretty quick. They got fired through everything a while back. But yeah, it's actually really convoluted. It reminds me of like Metal Gear, but just like more like just not Metal Gear. It's like super convoluted when it comes to the story, but it's fun. It's a cool story and everything. But yeah, just excited to see Kingdom Hearts 1 day. But there was a listing. It looks like it's coming out next year. It does seem like it's going to be 2027.
That would be fire. Yeah, this coming out part 2. Super excited. But are we expecting Marvel and Star Wars?
Oh, that's a question.
Okay, so under the Disney umbrella, since Square Enix licenses Kingdom Hearts and Disney from them to make the game, that would be available in the library. So it totally could happen, but it just kind of depends.
Yeah, imagine like Goofy having Captain America's shield and Donald with Thor's hammer, like that would be so.
What if they turned around and like Darth Maul, like the 2 lightsabers, like Darth and the 2 lightsaber ends like extend like the red and Darth Maul right in the trailer.
Yeah,
it's like a lightsaber keyblade or something.
I feel like if they were to, it would be kind of one of those half-step worlds where like you wouldn't have the whole thing in there. Yeah, like you know, like when it's like a small little bit. So I feel like that would be possible. I don't know. Yeah, or something like that. I don't know. We got Pirates of the Caribbean on the last one, so
this will never happen. But
a Simpsons world would be pretty fire. That
Ooh.
would be
You can make that mod. That could be yours, Radek.
Okay.
Learn to code. You got this.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is, I played different Kingdom Hearts games, but I feel like it got like really out of hand with all the lore. It got so weird. That's always the series I remember as I had friends who were really into it at all times, like throughout my life. So where I remember when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, it was my friend, they're like, hey, let's skip the theory to pick this thing up and play it. Like, and so it came out the same week, I remember, as Elder Scrolls Oblivion on the 360. Because we had the two TV setup at one of my friend's house. They were going to like cool stuff. Right, so we had two TVs in the room, and like I remember one side was like Oblivion's being played, the other was like Kingdom Hearts 2. So yes, 2 still rolling alongside that 360, still rolling at that time. But yeah, I just had friends who were really into the series, and I was like kind of into it, checking it out. I mean, they're good games, they're fun. So all right, and the last one, the big reveal at the end, Nate got let off the hook because Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time is a thing, and it is coming out in 2026. So we really didn't see a lot about it. They confirmed it's coming out this year. They showed us a logo that is like a gold, so it's not like the older logo or the older logo, typical logo for Ocarina of Time. And we saw a quick shot of Link asleep at the beginning of Ocarina of Time, basically asleep with the Triforce glowing on his hand, and that's where you have the poison fairy. Of course, we get one, and off he goes on his adventure. But it cut right there. It's like, oh, it's coming out this year. It's like, oh, I mean, it's June, so it's really funny that it was a very quick thing. Now the Zelda anniversary is coming up, so I think most people expect there to be some kind of Zelda direct of some kind because they're still, I assume, going to show us the trailer for the big movie coming out next year as well, and probably some other things. So interesting to quickly show it, and it looked like a realistic art style, not like a cel shaded or stylized Breath of the Wild kind of look. So I do like that. They're going to attempt a realistic looking Zelda game, and they kind of did that with Twilight Princess back in the day. But this seems like it's all things considered, this is going to be, I figure, a pretty good looking graphical showcase for the Zelda team.
I'm very excited about this game. I'm an N64 kid, so any reimagining of things I enjoyed in my childhood and adulthood, I've replayed this game plenty of times, is very exciting to me. I hope it's more of a reimagining than one-to-one, to be honest, because I feel like the original Ocarina of Time is just so perfect that it would be cool to see something new with it. As for the realistic or realistic art style, I don't know how to feel about it yet. I feel like I have to see a more complete version of the world. I'm curious what the Great Fairy will look like, to be honest. My brain went to, what does Great Fairy look like? Okay, very important for me.
I'm sure Twitter's that, so.
Ganondorf, also very important to me, what he looks like. Are they going to make him a baddie? We'll find out. So, and also the shark JPG, like a PNG, the shark PNG or whatever, that was like at the bottom, you know what I'm talking about?
Right, like,
yeah. Like, I hope they keep it as low res. Like, everything else, high def looks amazing, but that shark picture better be just as shitty. So I'm very excited to see what things look like. I know that a lot of people like on the internet felt a little frustrated, like, oh, that's it. But like, something to keep in mind is that we found out about this way before their intended reveal. So this was supposed to be the sneaky peeky, oh, hey, this is coming, and then we'd be like, oh my god, what's it going to be? But since we already know, like, I feel like our expectations are like, well, let's show us more rather than just being excited about the announcement, which is a bummer. But you know, it is like, but yeah, hey, this year, man.
You know what it reminds me of, Celia? It reminds me of like when Smash Brothers got revealed the difference. Because with Smash Brothers, it wasn't leaked beforehand. They showed no gameplay of Smash Brothers. They just showed a CG trailer of the Inklings, and then it was just, there's oh, Smash Brothers is coming, and it's this year. Oh my gosh, they didn't show an ounce of gameplay. People were hyped because nobody leaked it beforehand. In terms of things. Now, for me, I don't really care. I like Nate. I think he's cool. Like giving us like, oh my god, that's coming. So for me, the fact that the game's actually coming and it's this year, right, that's what gets me excited. I think that's just like we were not supposed to know.
Yeah, and then so that's why it's like, oh, that's it. It's like, well, yeah, that was supposed to be the reveal. Like, surprise, it's coming, and then we'll have something in the future.
When you put that tweet out, that was like, we're gonna do my thought reaction for this, and I scrolled like one down, and it was just someone who was fuck you. One reply.
I mean, the reveal was the art style, I think, because people are like, oh, that's cool, they're gonna redo Ocarina of Time. I don't know if they're remaking it. It might be, as Celia mentioned, reimagining. That might actually be happening here.
That'd be interesting. There's a lot of things like Ocarina of Time. I consider it such a perfect game, but there's a lot of mechanics that were taking advantage and I guess, you know, making do with some of the limitations of the console at the time, and it doesn't really translate to gameplay now. So, you know, it's kind of like one of those things where you watch like, you know, younger people playing those old games and like throwing a bomb at stuff isn't like, you know, the typical logic of what you would consider. So
I think it kind of has to be more of a reimagining thing because you can't have those graphics and Link attacking like his time blocky ass. Like they gotta do new animations, they gotta do a lot of different stuff. Maybe add like
voice actor.
Yeah, voice acting too. You're right.
They never do. Like,
the dreamy noises, but the like we're also in Ocarina of Time, like having nightmares, those little like numbers.
I think voice acting. I don't know about for Link, but voice acting is definitely in the game. Based off that narration from the beginning, I definitely think that there's gonna be like full voice acting and all that. This is their most celebrated game of all time. This is like their highest rated, most celebrated game. I think it's gonna be handled with a crazy amount of care and detail.
100%. No, sorry. When I'm saying voice acting, I mean just not Link. Yes, no, like that's all he says.
Yeah, I don't think Link is gonna talk. I don't think Link is gonna talk. I think Link is gonna be a mute with just that and like
that's the usual stuff. Yeah.
That would be a huge missed opportunity. So let the man speak.
They did the whole documentary thing where they talked about how his voice is your voice, and for them to just go back on that and be like, screw your voice, this is his voice.
Oh man.
What you have to say?
When you play it and stream it, you can voice over Link. It'll be a full voice acting experience.
Here's an interesting before there was like the leak, people, I saw an insane amount of people saying, oh well, it's just gonna be the 3DS game, port it over, or like there were people saying, content creators saying that. So there wasn't surprising that it's going to be like this whole big hype because there was a lot of people saying it's going to be the 3DS game in 4K, you know. So when I do buy this game later this year, because this is a game I will buy for sure. If I do this too, am I going to spend $80 on this game?
Yeah, and you'll like it.
Well, actually, are you a physical or digital collector? I should really ask that. For Nintendo, I'll be digital. So it'll be 70 for you. But in terms of the question of is this going to be just $80 game physically? Yes,
absolutely.
I'll be very sad buying it on day one.
Now they can put it in a gold cartridge, and I'll be like, you know what, 80 makes sense.
That'll be 120 special edition.
It better be Majora's Mask like that shine to it.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty.
There's definitely a Switch like 100 something. There's gonna be a Switch. There's actually a Switch.
It's gonna come with a sticker to put on the back of your Switch though.
No, they'll merchandise this anniversary like crazy. Oh yeah,
can't wait. Buy it all.
I love Zelda. I will say this: I can usually tell if these kind of announcements hit like a mainstream audience. I have some friends aren't really as plugged in and following it today, and like when they text me in the group chat, I'm like, okay, this game got through. Like this found that the mainstream audience, this one did. And when I look on social media, I think the video they put up on just on their main account, like for Nintendo America, I think put up like 25 million views on that thing. Yeah,
I did see the NFL Network guy saying, I'm ending my 10-year retirement from getting out. I'm like, oh my god, are you kidding me?
I see a lot of people just outside of gaming, like, oh wow, I guess I'm gonna get this.
NFL Network bros, by the way, make millions of dollars a year. Like, NFL Network bros talking about Ocarina. This is crazy.
I think this is just a game that a lot of people in their, I mean, I was in their 30s, 40s think back on as like pinnacle gaming years for them. So
it was one of the big first turnarounds for the 3D RPG. Like, at the moment.
That's true. So it's I think like a lot of people buy the Switch to this holiday, even at the more expensive price. It's one of those games to this. Here's the other thing that's interesting, right? You brought the price, the release date. I think Nintendo was putting this thing in November.
Oh yeah, no, November 21st. That is the release date of the original.
Oh, I can't do that date.
Isn't that right? Isn't that
after GTA?
Okay, no, I bet you, and this is just me as a consumer, a super Zelda fan. Nintendo's not going to care. GTA is not going to release on Nintendo platform, so they can't crash it. People are going to buy it regardless, and they care a lot about anniversaries. I don't think
this does give us a shot for the Rockstar like social media manager to drop the artwork of the lead characters on like horseback in Zelda's realm, just shooting at cards. Like, hey, we did it.
If I think a guess myself, I think it's the week before GTA 6. I think it's like that as well.
Probably
Black Friday for sure.
I'm gonna go
sure. Yeah, I think it's the first half of November. I think it's out just for GTA 6. I don't think they care at all. You're like, yeah, whatever. This is November.
They have the audience, and it's one of those games that would be a buy both situation. It's Ocarina of Time.
You're absolutely right. And if you look at like all-time best review games, what are like the multiple games that are there? GTA and Zelda. You see Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, Grand Theft Auto 4, Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, all of those franchises like dominate the top 10. They have multiple, so people have been buying and been playing both of them for so long now, for decades. So definitely, obviously, GTA's gonna sell a lot better. But I definitely think there's gonna be a pretty hardcore dedicated audience. My brother, who's more kind of a casual gamer now, he like almost passed out when he heard about this. Like he told me he was freaking out. He doesn't watch everything. He just waits for me to tell him or talk about it. And he was like, you went kind of crazy with this one.
Wait, jumping back a little bit. So I just looked up what day. The 21st is. It's a Saturday. So maybe the 20th then. But like on that.
I like to go. You know what? November 19th. Like, man, that's it right there.
That's crazy.
I like that. Just like walk across the room and pointing at Rockstar.
That's a bad idea.
Who knows, man?
I want them to come out at least a week before, 2 weeks if possible, so I can play Ocarina of Time and then go to GTA 6 and go to the game first time drop every game and play GTA 6. 6. Yeah. You know, so I'd like them to go a week or two before so I can play Ocarina of Time on Ocarina of Time. So.
Exactly. Yeah. That'd be nice.
I'm pretty sure Kevin's gonna be playing GTA and I'm just gonna be playing Ocarina of Time. It'll be a household.
Yeah, my wife, she's gonna be playing GTA while I'm playing.
Hell yeah.
I like to be playing GTA while I play Ocarina.
I like
so funny.
Tito says Xenoblade 1 and 3 and S2 upgrades and Genesis weren't on my radar either. I wish they gave 2 the full definitive edition treatment though. I think it needs more quality like updates like multiple save slots.
They might have tuned those things. We don't know all the features yet of Xenoblade 2, but there are some things that they're not saying yet because that's not the end of next month. So there might be some of that stuff in
Shoka says that Nintendo Direct was fire. Sony ponies be crying to all the Japanese third parties that Nintendo is getting out. Cry more ponies, spelled more MOR. Console wars a serious business.
He's just joking.
Super freaking. So take thoughts on Nintendo's potential achievements.
Yeah, we talked about that, right?
Everyone, yeah, I think a lot of people pick up on that though. That I was seeing on live, like, yeah, I think these kind of art sheets. So yeah. Spoke says, what if the plot twist is that Celia left Yakuza games to play with Spurs? Sorry, Spirit of RGT Cat guys, first and 7, Celia over next.
I didn't respond to that.
She says, are there any collector editions any of you are going to pick up? Can't wait for my Gears Fable P4 Bible collector editions to arrive. Hope you all have a great weekend. Well, I definitely have time.
I already picked the Fire Emblem Special Edition. It looks awesome, so I picked up that already.
I'm not really a collector's edition guy, but GTA 6. I got
that might be the one. They might do some cool one, like a lockbox or something.
Yeah, lockbox is so cool.
Yeah, might be something really cool with that.
$40,000 you just get a car with it.
Staffa says, will Australia score a goal against the US? That's a good question. We're gonna see them play. I think it's nice. It's like a midnight game. Is this? So it's like over in California time. It's 9 p.m. But I mean, I gotta see them play. I guess they do. Toasty says favorite breakfast cereals.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Captain Crunch cereal. Yeah, Captain Crunch cereal.
I just like French toast. So.
That's good.
That's not a cereal.
The French toast breakfast cereals. Oh, you know you're saying cereals.
Yeah, I
gotta go with the original man, not Cheerios.
Does Captain Crunch not like rip up your entire mouth?
That's why I like it.
It does.
Yeah, like
the double-edged sword.
It's fiberglass that starts sweet and starts tasting like pennies eventually.
every time I eat it, like eventually, like I'm in pain, but like by the end, so I'm like, I don't like this. Okay, how much melted cereal like are you guys? Like,
You filled to the brim.
No, I like not as much.
yeah, I like a more dry cereal. Like, it's
I don't want to
I need more dry as well.
Get like a spray bottle filled with milk and spray it as I eat it or something.
spritz it.
I'll try that. No,
No, this is disgusting.
It's a funny visual. Yeah.
The first thing here says, as you guys have been right about Xbox all along, maybe the only one who can save Xbox will ever return to this podcast. We don't know who find out next time.
He's trying to save it. He's chronicling the fall.
Then Little says, with Elden Ring and Dust, Switch 2, so I hope the rest of From software coming over. So Dark Souls 2 and 3, Sekiro, Armored Core. I'm a little surprised it hasn't come over. I don't know about the Dark Souls games because apparently From Soft is they want to make newer stuff right now. And the word was that Kawakawa was like, hey, port your old stuff. So I don't know. There's definitely something going on there with that. All right, go to the Xbox showcase.
Kind of like a company that holds their own against the force of remakes in this modern climate.
Yeah, well, I mean, the older From Soft games, yeah, they moved around or remastered. They tend to sell.
No, they sell, but then they get stuck in the loop where every 10 years they're like, all right, second remake of Demon's Souls.
Right. Yeah. All right, their showcase. I got 28 games for this one. Started with Gears of War EA, and there's a whole other story attached to it. They went immediately in the gameplay. You're playing as like young Marcus Phoenix's crew. There's reload. Getting the cover, I will say that's the most dynamic I've seen Gears of War. I mean, you're like there's like really low cover that you're almost going to prone to get behind, and it's still early on because it seemed like you just kind of realized about the chainsaw in part of that gameplay. It's cool. It's out October 6th, and it's an Xbox console exclusive that apparently, and there's a lot of evidence pointing this, was decided like a week ago.
But they told us no.
Well,
that wasn't the case.
You know, it was rated for the PS5, right? It was up on the, I think, PEGI or ESRB. That was there. Then they do a live stream
with the best closing card of all time.
The closing card and the PS5 logos next to it. They realized this during the stream, so they pulled the whole stream down while this is going on. And then Aaron Greenberg was like, why did they talk about it? Accident? I don't know. You know, we send marketing stuff all over the place. Who knows? That was his excuse. Like, what? So,
we caught this dude line. We caught this dude line his ass off before. Listen, man. Oh, every metric. Remember Hi-Fi Rush?
Yeah.
Every metric. Oh, we shut their ass down. I mean, bro, come on now. We're not done, bro. We're not done. We know what happened here.
I think I can't believe it, but I really do think that Xbox players voicing that form actually worked. I think this is the result of that because it does kind of look like Ash Sharma was like, all right, well, we're gonna get exclusives one or the other. Cancel the finished PS5 port.
You know, in that office building there is a PlayStation with a game on it that they've been playing for like months.
I'm sure I'll never talk about this later, but I'll mention it now. Tom Henderson, Inside Gaming, mentioned the budget is $400 million.
Over and making it back.
It's gonna be very difficult to make that back because Gears, the thing with that is it's not as it's a console game first. Like you on PC, it's not a massive. Although the last one we saw was the Gears Reloaded one, and it was just the first one again. So maybe this being a new title with multiplayer, maybe it'll do better on PC. But it's always kind of been viewed as an Xbox game, and that's where like we make the majority of sales. But it is gonna be on Game Pass, so that always of course brings up the question around sales. So
Marcus Phoenix return though.
Yeah, that's fair. So it very well could, I think, do better than what I'm thinking right now. But I have concerns around that. Or maybe they're going to thinking we're gonna try to rebuild the brand. We have to add some value. This is one of the situations of it. So it costs us some money, but we're in for somewhat long haul. But it's exclusive. That's not the only console exclusive here either. I will be picking up Gears. I think they want to do like a open beta. I think for August, so I'll check it out there as well. But hey, man, that's the open form. Coalition does good work, so I think it should at least impress visually. Fable was shown. They also got 30 minutes. I don't know what this is about. They released gameplay for all these games like days later, and Fable was one that got 30 minutes of gameplay. None of it was combat. I think actually last 20% was combat. The first 80% was them walking around buying businesses, talking with people, trying to figure out how they can date this one girl and then marry her, and walking down to your can date this one girl and then marry her, and walking down to your character becoming an entrepreneur. But first, you had to go out to the town square and figure out what's going on. Oh, there's a talking pig. It's magical. So you have to talk the person out of killing the pigs and then turn it into bacon. And you end up buying the pig and spending like 2,000 gold on that. It was a whole thing. But I'll give them credit. There's a lot happening in this game. And to have the studio that makes Forza take that engine and turn it into this, I'm not impressed. Like, it looks good visually. The combat, I think, looks service. I'm not gonna say combat looks like some crazy new thing, but I do like the idea of them focusing in heavily on the world itself and the interactions there, of like kind of slice of life stuff.
I can't wait to take over the town, become a landlord, and ruin everything.
Your character's growing horns.
Oh yeah, no,
This is one where they said something like if you hire someone from another town and tell them to go to a different town to work at your store, the distance between the towns, if they don't make it in a single shift, they won't open your store because they'll have to make it and then turn around. I feel like they're showing this instead of the combat because this is historically Peter Molyneux, which it's not anymore, but he's always been the one of like, you plant a seed and the tree will grow and it will change the whole game, and then it doesn't fucking do it. So like they're like, no, this is happening. This is how it works. So it's kind of cool to see that now it seems to work. We'll have to see in the grand scale if it actually works.
The graphics, visually speaking, it has that fairy tale look to it, but then the occasional show scenes aren't super bright and colorful and actually pretty dark and ominous. So I kind of like the shift in art style depending on the mood. And this one is still coming to the PS5. Okay, so it's
you think they regret that now?
I don't know. See, the thing with Gears is I think that one being multiplayer driven really could use the PS5 for just any port.
Right?
Yeah, I think it's because they already announced the Fable one, but they hadn't announced the Gears one. So I think they're kind of stuck. Like there is one game which we're about to go to now that I do think they absolutely regret. I don't know about Fable. Maybe that's coming out February 23rd, PS5, Xbox, and PC. And that's it looks good. It really does. Playground Games is like one of the top tier studios now just from the versatility. So I think it's regret on that. The one I do think they regret though, Radic, is the next one. Fable Campaign Evolved, Halo Campaign Evolved. And that's
the crossover we didn't know we needed.
I was like, wait, hold on, am I about to play a Halo game?
I think it's a great idea. Just crossovers there with cosmetics. Halo Campaign Evolved, and it's coming out July 28th. So we got the release date on it. It's another weird one because they apparently, according to Bloomberg and a couple of sources, they had this in the PlayStation show and they pulled it. And
So
PlayStation apparently is not happy about it.
Yeah, like that makes sense to me because I feel like the optical blow for that is like that would be pretty bad in a way. Because like, like yes, we finally got them. We got Halo at State of Play. So like that message would be crazy. But the fact like NCAA could probably help me on this. Like these showcases are planned months in advance, right? So I feel like the decision for a Halo at State of Play is probably like a Phil Spencer decision, right? Like it has to have been.
Can't comment on any of this, but whatever. I don't know the disclaimer of how to do this anymore. I don't care. Don't ask me.
But like, it feels like a Phil Spencer decision to put Halo at the State of Play, right?
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, because originally, like, obviously at the end of last year, he was still in charge, and that's when they made the announcement that Halo was going to PlayStation. And then we hear that around that time he was talking about retirement. So it does kind of line up that he's going. All right, they're kind of forcing us to Halo. Like, I actually can't think of Halo on there either. Really? I mean, that's the Xbox mascot. If you really think about it. So I do feel like there was some thought of, man, we really shouldn't have done that. And now they're thinking, well, well, maybe we can just not put it on the show, and the next Halo we don't put on PlayStation. But who knows? Because the next Halo was probably still like 2 years away.
That trailer that dropped like a day after or like a day or two after had like captured on PS5 forever ago.
I feel like that. I wonder if that was a trailer that was supposed to be on PlayStation. The way it was like presented. But I mean, look, Halo Campaign Evolved. I think it looks very good. I'm very happy with what I've seen so far. I think I'm gonna buy it on the PS5 just because it's one of those things that I have to see for myself in person. Like, I'm gonna buy it physically. I have the PS5 logo at the top with Master Chief there. It's gotta be done. Disgusting looking thing, but I'm gonna do it. And I mean, they showed third person for it. They have all these souls. So in Halo, the campaign, you always unlock souls. They basically be modifiers to change up the game plays or looks, whatever. And they're doing that like tenfold. It's crazy stuff. It's really fun. It has online co-op, so you go to 4 people online or 2 player split screen. So it does split screen. And yeah, it looks good. I mean, visually speaking, it looks very happy with this. And it's out. End of Xbox. I'll be there, Dave. All right, yeah, Residence Plague Tale Legacy. Evan, I assume you're excited about this one. Cool. Plague Tale person. I was like, okay.
All right, I like the world. I like the whole. Hey, it's like art history, and then all of a sudden there's magic. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, NBC really liked the game. I think they really liked the game.
They loved it.
Yeah, clicked with them pretty well.
It seems from what they showed, this might be the story that you get to experience the aftermath of in the second game. So it might be a pretty cool prequel. I'm not too sure.
So it's Persona 4 Revival. Exciting. I got to see it again here.
Persona 4 is my favorite Persona game, so I'm so excited for Revival. I've been replaying Golden for funsies, and it's really great. So I'm excited to see how this game looks too.
It's funny you say that, Celia, because this trailer made me realize, oh yeah, I bought Golden like a few years ago. I haven't played it, so in the last week I've been playing.
Hell yeah!
Golden. I'm like April 22nd, 23rd, 24th.
Okay.
So early on.
Yeah, very early on. But
yeah.
like the characters, like the story.
I like Yasuke a lot. He's pretty funny.
Oh my god,
the music is so good. The music is just.
It's so good. Like after Persona games, you know, like 3 is a bit more edgy. 5, you know, is dark, and like 4 is like dark, but Scooby Doo. I don't know. I like it.
Okay. It's like 80 hours, 90 hours, something like that.
80, I think. Keep going.
It's coming out February 18th, 2027. There's a live stream, a broadcast live stream that's scheduled for June 18th. It says.
Exciting.
So is it confirmed with the remake? It's gonna have like the golden content, right?
I have no idea.
That's a good question. I'm gonna assume it will.
I'm gonna assume it will. I mean, we gotta wait though, because I remember Persona 3 there was definitely content that wasn't in certain versions of Persona, but they did have like that the DLC pass thing. It did add some stuff. Like the female protagonist was not in Persona 3 Reload. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna recreate just all of Golden. Just
yeah, Wiggly the chat. Marie is in it, and Marie's like one of the new characters. Golden, if I remember correctly. So I think it'll be State of K3. That is still a thing. There have been so many questions about the development of this game, but I mean, here's 2027. They showed off quite a bit too. Because I'm pretty aggressive. I feel like it's the end PlayStation 5.
I feel like State of Decay series, but yeah, every single launch for all of them is just like the most broken nonsense, and you have to wait months before they fix it. And it's like, oh, cool. But the game itself on a core level is kind of great. So
okay, so you're checking this one.
Probably I'll check it out.
I remember this had a lot of multiplayer elements where you can get a bunch of people together and just really roll around and take out zombies.
Yep, and then the whole gameplay loop is just getting more and more difficult and seeing how long you can survive in an area, which is great because the scales, events occur, you have to be ready for them. They're random. It's not like set times. Suddenly it's like hordes are coming. You're like, ah, shit, I don't have ammo. Like, kind of awesome.
Sea of Thieves was shown off, and I was surprised on this one because the update actually was pretty cool.
Creative mode.
Yeah, it's like full on creative mode where you can just make. I mean, it almost makes you wonder if they're working. I don't say wind down Sea of Thieves, but the fact that they're now like, hey, you guys just make whatever.
Random ideas. Use yours.
Maybe kind of that, but they made it so you can just kind of make your own custom games. They show like team deathmatch. You learn about the cinematics.
Yeah, not just games, cutscenes. Like,
yeah, you can run a game inside of Sea of Thieves. That is actually really cool to get the community those kind of tools and just go crazy with it. And so I would expect people to make some really cool stuff. And that update is June 18th, so that should be this week coming up. Metro 2039. I know, I'm sure you're checking out this one. Lighting looks really good. That was because they also had night vision and the shooting, like the guns just look really heavy at all times.
Looks like they're returning to the more city and subway orientation compared to Exodus. I didn't actually like Exodus that much compared to the original, so hopefully this is kind of a return to form.
And then Bad Magpie, which this was
new untitled goose game.
Yeah, like it looked okay. Like this bird is called Chaos, but at the end a portal opens up. And it's like looking at this. I have no idea what's going on with that game. That's 2027. Wolong 2, Wings of Ember. I'm excited for this one. I like the first one actually. That was a good game. Early 2027. Xbox, PlayStation 5, Switch 2, and PC. Wolong 2. So I'll be on that immediately. Yeah, Join Us, Senua, which is a game in the Hellblade universe that appears to be more combat driven. So it won't just be like 1v1 battles. You can fight a couple of people at once. And it's out on Xbox, PlayStation 5, and PC. I didn't see any release date on this one. I'm confused about this one because this is an Xbox game we haven't heard about, but it's on PS5. Right, yeah, exactly. That's the thing that but it's
an actual game. It's not just like a walking to one. Like, yo, we got scammed. I just want to if you watch Hellblade 2, this is like the real Hellblade 2. There's like combat, there's like a bunch of characters. It's not just like walking in a straight line and there's a battle and all. It's like a real gamer's game. So that one kind of shocked me a little bit, and I'll definitely be checking this one out. I'll for sure. I'm not a big fan of the Senua franchise. I played the first game, the second game, I'm like, but this one looks a lot better to me, so I'll be checking this one out. We had Fallout 76, it's like an Infestations update. Doom: The Dark Ages, Revelations. So they had one perspective that had a shotgun. It looked like it was straight out of old school Doom.
Yeah, I think there's something to that because it really was like a laboratory with you and a shotgun. So maybe there's like a flashback or something.
That's out July 7th, so a few weeks from now. And then this is good stuff. It kind of looked, and I saw some people's reactions. Kind of looked like they were setting up for some kind of Fortnite thing, like a battle bus was going to drop in or something. And then Offspring hits, and it's Crazy Taxi World Tour, and it looks insane. It's all over. They had a shot going down the hill that looked like it was out of the Crazy Taxi Dreamcast game, which is really fun. And it's 2027, Xbox, PlayStation 5, Switch 2, and PC. And it's so interesting to see Crazy Taxi return like this after so long. But I like it. Sega's doing some cool stuff with some of their franchises, and I do like that they're doing this whole revival thing and bringing back Crazy Taxi. I see what Jet Set Radio looks like. They're moving pretty well with Crazy Taxi. How do you feel about Pizza Hut being replaced by Five Guys? You know, it's funny. People are bringing that up in the comments.
Yeah, I like it somehow.
It was really funny. I was thinking about that, and I heard that the Pizza Hut nearly shut down. I was like, really? Is it really like that?
Most of them have it. The only pizza that I've heard recently is my buddy worked there, and he only worked there because that was one of the few places hiring someone with a lot of DUIs. So
as a driver, no.
Yes, he was the delivery driver. They're like, fine, get in here.
I didn't know Pizza Hut was going through it like that. But
What's maybe like Little Caesars and Crazy Taxi?
Little Caesars is going the same way.
The Little Caesars had for was that $5 pizza. Oh, I don't know what it is now. That was it.
Yeah, Crazy Bread.
The one near me had the over-counter drugs, which is why it's out of business.
That's Crazy Taxi was cool. I want to see more, but I'm just so interested to see how they adapted to like a more modernized take in terms of the mechanics of the game. Because back then, I think we remember this. The idea of just bringing the arcade over was impressive. It was cool. But they were short spurts of gameplay. There wasn't as much substance there, I'll say, in terms of gameplay depth or progression. Like the fact that they're saying it's world tour, and it's very obvious that they're like, oh, he's gonna be kind of globe hopping here, trying all over the place. I feel like there's some cool stuff to do. So I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah, the Xbox 25th edition Series X console, translucent green, Xbox logo on the back controller, 1 TB SSD storage. No pricing on it yet. It's gonna be expensive hardware. And November 2026 to coincide with the 25th anniversary for the original Xbox. That controller's thing I'm interested in. They're gonna sell separately.
The whole thing does look sick, especially this one.
It looks really cool. I like the transparent plastic. More consoles should do that. But yeah, dude, I want like an atomic purple Nintendo Switch too. Dude, it's the best color.
You gotta get the bottom plastic orange, top plastic like gray. Best for combo color.
Yeah, like the ghost shells that they have for N64 were really cool. But yes, that translucent plastic is like the best kind of plastic for consoles. But I will at least get the controller because that's gonna be separate. That would probably be like $80-ish if I did that. Not the most likely 700 plus at the translucent green console. So I will get the controller. Age of Empires 4, Fall 26, Minecraft Dungeons 2. This game, I don't know what happened here, but I was not expecting this. Magician's the Devil's Deal. It is a first-person shooter adventure magician game.
It's kind of like linear Bioshock.
Yeah, like it was interesting. They had the wand that hits on with it and turns into butterflies, like the magician kind of effect with playing cards that throwing all over the place. The end, it's cool.
It's like big world mechanics because there was a time where like flipped the whole room, so there's gonna be like odd stuff playing into how you're gonna play. So that's cool.
Like illusion stuff there. Like that's 2027. That's Uppercut Games and Focus Entertainment doing that one. Okay, we had Valor Mortis, and the reason that this one's, I think it was Napoleon that they were showing, but it was originally coming out September 24th. So they made that announcement. They have since come back like days later, and they went, hold on, it's now coming out October 12th or something. So even they went, wow, there's a lot of stuff coming out on September 24th. We're moving. So I think we might see some other games move around. We already saw Fanblade 0 move around. I think some other games are also going to reposition as they look at the calendar going forward before GTA 6 drops. And very well could be because you get the Dust Bloods, which we still need to release on, and you got Ocarina of Time. I mean, very well could happen. So something to keep in mind. That was interesting to see that happen. Elder Scrolls Online, Cities Guild, Flight Simulator 2024 is the national parks, and there's gonna be a championship air races happening. Where the wins meet now. Castlevania Belmont's Curse, October 15th. Game looks awesome. $30, right? Yeah, I saw the price. I went, wow. Okay, that's fair. It's funny. I saw people who saw the price point and they went, what's wrong with the game? That's
yeah, that's always that is a weird psychology for people buying things. It's just like it's 30, it can't be as good as the $60
smaller game over here. That's kind of always the thing. I think file size is always the thing too. If you see it, it's like small, you expect you're like, hold on, what's wrong here? So I would be conditioned think, yeah, I guess hey, this is supposed to be a $60 or $70 game. Like, yeah, it's cool, $30. Oh, okay. I mean, the Shinobi game was actually really good, and that was fairly priced as well. So if I get a Castlevania game that's that like 10-hour experience, oh, great, I'd rather do that than go, how do we make this $60 and $25? So you feel it, it's like, yes, it didn't have to be $25. I like that approach. $30, solid game. Good. Yeah, the Vivarium. I wasn't sure what I was looking at here from it. This is another one that has that retro anime aesthetic to it, but it was kind of like a life simulator game. And they went out, and they're in like this diorama thing, and they're like, oh, the world's actually bigger than you expect. I have no idea. But they say it's like a life sim game.
Spirited Away in there.
Yeah, dude, shout out to Serenity Forge. Like they've been like publishing a ton of really cool games. I'm really excited to see where this goes. Art style, obviously, is aesthetic. Like it looks so good. I don't know much about it, so I don't get too hyped yet, but I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, and then we had Persona 6. Well, Persona 6 logo. It was there. It's green. PS5, and it is green. It's been
spoiled for us.
There's been like speculation on the color scheme they go with, and people are like, it's probably green, and it'll be shown in the Xbox. Hey, here it is green. So there you go.
Yeah, you know, like as a fan, I'm very stoked about this. Like, you know, when Persona 5 was revealed, we just got like an image, you know, those chairs. So to see more, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's because people, again, the Persona fandom has been waiting for a long time. Sometimes it's green, so they finally got it. Finally thing. And then we had a big reveal here. Oh, yeah. One of the most viewed trailers. I was kind of joking about it, but the trailer is going crazy, and people are like, oh, it's part of the advertising marketing.
That made you so sad, dude.
All I'm doing is looking at the views, people. I don't know. Why people got to knock down Spyro? Yeah. Spyro, A Realm Beyond is real. It's a thing. Toys R Bob has been working on it for the past 3-ish years now, in course partnership with Microsoft and Activision. So this is a good decision, by the way, as we're seeing Microsoft, Toys R Bob to figure out how to become independent again and work off of a contract like this, because this is perfect for them after that Reignited trilogy that actually sold pretty well. I think some more sales figures recently. Yeah, so apparently that spurred on the idea of, okay, let's make a new Spyro game. It's been a long time since the last new, like, brand new Spyro game. But here it is. And they showed some quick shots of the gameplay, mostly just flying, but I think it really just showed how big it looks like this world is going to be to explore. I think what they're kind of trying to show. And they even made mentions in interviews after that this is going to be a much larger Spyro game in the sense that Spyro will finally be able to really take flight in the game. So that, man, Spyro fans got to go crazy right now.
I love Spyro, so I'm very excited for this. I just finished recently replaying the GBA Season of Flame. Oh, nice. Spyro 2 Season of Flame. It's like a, you know, an odd little like isometric like adventure game. But I love Spyro in general, so I'm looking forward to this. We haven't had a new Spyro game in years. I own the trilogy as well, so I'm one of those 11 million people that purchased it. So yeah, I love him. I'm looking forward to seeing him and whatever.
I think I'm gonna check this one out. I do like Spyro. I played the old school Spyro games. I played a little bit of the remastered trilogy, but it's a brand new game, so I mean, it might be kind of cool. Spyro was so big now. It was really big in the PS1. I remember playing that at my friend's house.
Did you guys ever play Enter the Dragonfly?
That's the fourth one on like the fourth game in the series.
Yeah, PS2. Yeah, that's one GameCube port I played on PlayStation 2. The loading times were horrible, to be honest. Like I remember like, you know, entering a room being like, oh shoot, like going to get a snack, coming back and being like, okay, it's time to play Spyro. Yeah, no, unfortunately it was. And like everything had a loading screen, but it's okay. I was a child, I was way more patient than I am now. But I did 100% that game. I was really proud of that as a kid. And I think they need to remake that eventually. I'm just putting that out in the universe because I'm greedy. I know they're making a new game, but like that game, you know, with like, you know, 2026 more modern graphics and no loading screens would be so cool. Just throwing that in the universe one day.
Now, Xbox PS5 switch to PC spring 2027. How do you feel about this, right?
Oh, this is easily my favorite announcement of the show. Spyro, I love Spyro, I love Crash Bandicoot. The trilogies for both those games are great. Toys for Bob also did Crash Bandicoot 4, which was excellent. So I'm really excited to see that Spyro's gonna get his like new original treatment for a brand new video game, and I'm happy for Toys for Bob because they chose to do Spyro because that will actually sell copies. Unlike if let's say they make a Banjo-Kazooie reboot, let's be real, no one would buy that. So like,
I know you're rage baiting right now, so I just want to talk over you and tell you that you're wrong. Continue, but
I feel like Spyro always had more emotion than Banjo. I'll just say.
You haven't even played Banjo. Continue talking.
Do I need to?
No, you don't. According to Twitter, you only play a damn thing. You're wrong.
That's true.
You just look at a game and say you know what you're talking about. You don't play anything.
I played the first 3 Spyro games, Spyro Orange, which was like the crossover game, and a little bit of Skylanders, which is the first Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. That's what it's called.
Quintessential Spyro experience.
Really interesting.
Do you still have Skylander stuff on you? Got those toys?
No.
In the landfill?
One got the Infinity figures.
Rest in peace.
Stuff like Banjo.
Yeah, dude, it's so good.
I'll cross that bridge.
That's cool. There you go.
Just playing Smash, it's the general idea.
Oh, true.
They had Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 DMC closed out the show. I'm going to rearrange this with Clockwork Revolution, maybe being a better closeout.
I forgot that was a game.
Clockwork? Oh, in
I thought it was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've seen it already, but then they showed more of it here. And I think it's a very interesting, like, steampunk style game. It does give off Bioshock Infinite vibes, and they show time manipulation. It is coming out 2027. This one's really notable because it's another Xbox console exclusive. And they did the big reveal, so they went and set it up. This wasn't necessarily, I don't think this one was decided a week ago or so. I think this one was decided because they had the entire animation already planned out. It wasn't let's remove a logo from the card. They did actually quite a bit here. So this one being an Xbox console exclusive is interesting. In Exile, I feel like they also kind of need to cast a wide net. They're not like the Coalition where Microsoft uses the Coalition for a lot of stuff. In Exile, though, this seems like a really ambitious project for them, and I feel like they just need as many people as they can sell this thing to. So that one's kind of head scratcher, but otherwise, game was also. I will be playing it when it releases in 2027. But that was the Xbox show. All 28 games went through there. It was pretty good showing. A lot of variety. I think Microsoft does pretty well. They'll just show games all over the place. Whether it's some third parties get involved, show games for the first time, or just because they have a ton of studios now, they just have like, we're showing your game.
Yeah, great show. I will say, like them ending on Call of Duty again.
I don't know what that was about.
Specifically the extraction shooter for it.
They have a weird camera angle too. So why are you showing the game like that?
Your tweet on Twitter was funny, Radic.
It's like, bro, like everyone complained about this last year. You did it again. Why?
Want to see me do it again? SpongeBob.
Let's see. Grab all these. Yeah, I'll grab some of the super chats here. So there's a 100% chance Ocarina remake gets delayed with no specified date at 6 months into 2026 already. I think game's coming out this year.
I doubt it.
I think it's planned. I think it's actually ready to go. And as weird as it seems the way they're doing things, I kind of feel like it's going to be part of it, right? And they're going to release date 2 to 3 months out. That'll be that.
It's going to be a great holiday seller. I'll be one of the bajillion people that buy it. So
I think there's like a less than 0% chance that game gets delayed. I don't think there's any way.
Yeah, the Dust Bowl. We talked about Dust Bowl. That one, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe. But I think Ocarina of Time, I think that locked in as a holiday killer. Okay, we have Jump says, am I the only one who would want a modern Duck Hunt?
I do.
Only one, but it is still a small group.
Okay, dozens of people, me included, would like dozens. Okay, dude, that would be so awesome. There was a VR game that came out in 2016. It's very specific. That did lean into making like a modern kind of Duck Hunt. I played it when back when Hyperkin was working on HTC Vive like VR accessories. It's like a deep cut. I remember we were co-promoting with that game, and I played a lot of it. That's the end of my story. It does exist.
I feel like everyone wants a Duck Hunt. It's the Dave & Buster's to play the life-size adult Duck Hunt. Like that's it.
Yeah, that would be cool to have one.
I'm going to say Duck Hunt actually work as one of those weird NSO things. So like Tetris 99 or Mario 35.
Duck Hunt 35. Okay, what the hell
do they do with the light guns? It's just go mouse mode. You're just doing mouse mode. You're just picking ducks on the screen.
I don't know.
They have the IR. The IR. Pick up your TV. You can't pick up your TV. I don't know what the hell's going on.
That's true. Thomas says, like, I email you a copy of my book, The Crossover Final 7 Zelda. Also, ask RGT if you can find Canada on a map, and then John top 3 Zelda games.
Sure. You can reach out to me on Instagram, like I'm at Kosher Gamer on that, and yes, and I'll give you my email to check out.
I will go.
Oh, is it raunchy? I was like, I can definitely send it.
There's nothing you're saying otherwise. It might be.
I mean, like, I'll report back to the book club.
I think we're different generations. Like, look at the past Ocarina of Time. He just says, how do you play Xenoblade Survivors in 3?
I'm kind of excited to check it out. Like, I think it looks kind of cool. I think I'm actually just more excited about 2 because 2 needs the most work out of all the games. I think 2 has the most potential. But yeah, Xenoblade looks like something that was cool.
Swan says, I played Ocarina of Time on my cousin's N64. He was far away, so I never had a chance actually to get into it. I kept getting stuck. I want to know, do you think I should wait for the remake? I mean, it's on the N64 right now for the NSO app, but we still need to see what this Ocarina of Time game is because it might be reimagining where the original one is still relevant.
I think the key thing is if people like the water temple this time around.
Yeah, that's true.
No one likes the water.
But it could be fixed now.
I feel like the water level in all video games are just always the most frustrating one.
Because like the Neil games with the camera, which is why Majora's Mask when it came on the 3DS changed the camera for that boss fight because it sucks so much.
Fair enough.
Alex says, after playing Breath of the Wild, games feel limited without being able to climb. I would like Ocarina to have some of this freedom and glide. It's a gliding too. Thoughts? Oh no.
You can climb on certain walls, and gliding is when you jump off something and then roll kind of.
Destructible.
I'm going to say the gliding and the climb anywhere can stay with the Breath of the Wild. Personally, people are kind of concerned that they're going to turn Ocarina of Time like Breath of the Wild. And I don't think they're going to, but I don't know. We'll see.
That'd be so much work. I got it.
You gotta read the description. It says the classic is reborn, you know, like the same type of gameplay. It's gonna be a similar structure the classic Zelda, but I think, like I said, it's gonna be more like a reimagining thing. They're gonna add new different types of animations and source skills. They're gonna flesh out that world. I mean, you look at the N64 game. It's not gonna be like Breath of the Wild. It can't be. And it's not actually Ocarina of Time. You don't have those dungeons and those puzzles. And just makes it that. So I mean, it's almost impossible for them to make it like, well, how would they do that? Remove the engines, you know? Like, how would they do that?
And before they hit it with
Okay.
Minecraft style survival stuff like Cocobia, just like out of nowhere.
Weapon breaks.
Just jumping in this again. Gliding is an Ocarina of Time, by the way.
But like full on.
Yeah, Cocos, jump off a cliff and you like have that little glide for.
Yeah, but this would be a Coco in your pocket. You just
Yeah.
pull it
I mean,
while-
technically, you do have one, the blue Coco, to wake up. You know, okay, I don't know if you want spoilers considering it's now a new game, but
Can't kill
we'll see.
someone.
I'm picturing you leave the forest fighting the game and you just have a glider that's just double press B and you're just always gliding. There you go.
It means you'll be able to get over like most of like the stop blocks or whatever.
Hook shot up, go glider, and just go.
Casual Gamer says DLSS doing heavy lifting for Switch 2 releases. Heavy says, do you think Switch 2 will get Spyro Trilogy update? They should. Can't wait for the PS5 to get that. Yeah, I think that game in general should get it to lift frame rate, like the whole thing. Yeah, should get that definitely. Let's see. Casual Gamer says, Crystal, why about Nate's spoiling Ocarina of Time reveal? I saw a lot of fighting over Nate putting that out there, but you know, I thought about it after put it out there. People would be annoyed if Ocarina of Time was not real, so it was going to go either way. People would be annoyed. The folks says, watch your language, they're 11-year-old watching.
You're right. Now we know. Okay.
Let's see. The folks says putting Celia's box next to OJ's.
Okay. Wait, I fixed my lighting a little bit. Am I less pale now, or is it still the same?
I'm trying to avoid looking at your box just in case I get retinal burn.
Okay, you know, unfortunately, I am just glow in the dark in real life. I can't physically tan. But legitimately, I can't physically tan. Like, I'm Czechoslovakian and I'm Irish. So, like, it's
I
the
don't know what that means, but
it's the whitest of white. I am paper, I am ghost.
Okay, I understand. There's no lights on in her room right now.
I don't think look, your lighting looks okay, so you look fine.
It looks like I'm dying like a small Victorian child, like, just like that way.
No,
Single-handedly solar powering all of California.
You know, honestly, maybe a little bit. I do have solar panels, but maybe I don't need them. It's me. But yeah, no, unfortunately, I can't tan. So, like, this is just as good.
Later, Trump says, do you think Legends of Ocarina of Time remake $80? We do. Super Games says, which platinum trophy are you most proud of?
That's a good question. Off the top of my head, the Kingdom Hearts 1 Platinum and Kingdom Hearts 2 Platinum. Those are the I had to beat old Organization 13 and the Lingering Will, which made me want to throw my controller out the goddamn window. But it is.
And Duvo says, why is Atlas so Switchiverse when it comes to date releasing their games where the audience resides? Switch Persona 5 Royal also PS5 version.
I don't know if that's true.
It is in his universe. Don't let him lose it.
That's true, but I personally feel Atlas is just catching up. Remember, Persona 3 came out last year and it did not come out in a great state, so they're probably just a bit behind since Switch 2 was launching in the middle of everything, you know. So I think that's really they're just trying to catch up.
Casual Gamer says, can you play Nate League as the airport Nate's League? Well, no. Thomas says, what do you guys want to see a remake? New Wave Race, Duck Hunt or Punch Out? I would like to see Punch Out.
Wave Race, Punch Out, man. They got a studio that can do it. They got Venom now. They can, they want to do it. They want to fund it. That Viper engine. So yeah, I agree. I think any of those would be cool.
Falco was confident in the demo. Okay, he's confident.
No, Falco is just a grumpo, which is who he is.
That's the point. Yes, Falco's supposed to be the
best. And then like you have Falco, and then you have Slibby. I like Letterboxd. I have a bunch of.
It was like Mr. Magoo in that demo.
He's the best. He's the personality hire.
He was like flying Arwing backwards somehow.
Personality hire. They keep him around.
The separate alternate thing for them.
No, I played through it once. I was like, I'm
okay, yeah, play through
Is there a hidden story where you see his history? He's like a god tier pilot. Now he's all the time. Like what?
Absolutely not. But no, if you play the demo, there's like a certain, like, you get like alternate there's like alternate different. It's actually really cool.
Right, says people didn't like the direct made ports. How would you want Nintendo to format future general directs? For all the ports. Well, now they're just seeing more third-party games just because the Switch 2 is able to handle them. So
this stuff that makes me upset when I hear this shit. Okay, listen, we lived through the Wii, we're not we lived through the Switch 1, where there's like Killer Queen Black, Skyrim, Doom 2016, Resident Evil. We're not getting any day, no big third parties, no Kingdom Hearts, no Final Fantasy releases, no new Final Fantasy games. I don't want to hear this shit. I don't. We're getting we're getting significantly better third-party games. I don't want to hear this shit. If this was the Wii U era, people would be crying with happiness because there was literally no third-party games. So there is no other way to format it. This is always the way that it is. If you want Mario, you want whatever, I get that. If you want certain games, I get that. But to not have good third-party games because people get upset, those people can be like, oh, sorry, excuse my French. I don't know, it's screw off because we suffered through the Switch 1. There's zero day and date third-party games. Really any big stuff. It was always just like really old 360 stuff or just like nothing at all. Like go back and look at the first year of the Switch 1. What was the big exciting? What was the big exciting? Skyrim came like 8 months after the system launch. Or what? Doom? Okay, sure. After that was Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat 1 was barely anything. So I don't want to hear that from anybody. Man, I'm sorry. After the Switch 1, people were crying and complaining that there wasn't anything even relevant or newer third-party games. I don't want to hear this. Oh, they gotta do something. No, let's get the third-party support. I'm sorry. I want to see it.
Jordan, can you mention Jordan? This folks says welcome to the Celia. Casual Gamer says all September games. I'm waiting for November sales. Chaos says, do you think Ocarina of Time will release in November like OG? I do. And Mr. Person says Ocarina of Time was released on November 21st, 98 this year. Okay, November 21st is Saturday. The 19th will be the slot. Same day as GTA. It's like
crazy.
That would be wild. Mr. Person. Super Games says if you can only save one, Hanna-Barbera or Disney.
Probably Disney.
Yeah, Disney. Disney owns too many things.
They do
So like,
that's what I'm saying. I would say Hanna-Barbera and watch the Disney stuff go everywhere and just not be
well, no, I'm imagining it like everything.
Oh, like all the stuff after.
Yeah, exactly.
You just no longer have access to it at all.
Just one. It's not good.
Still on Hanna-Barbera.
Dang.
Fuck it.
Contrarian.
Don says Link shouldn't say one word until the very end when he does like excuse me princess. It goes to credit. That you know what? If they save the entire game and he says something right at the end, like he looks around like that movie waiting and the guy finally says something. Okay, I'll take that. That's really funny.
Out of complete curiosity, Radek, do you know where the line "Excuse me, princess" comes from? No one help him.
It's either this the CDI game
No,
or
what do you think it is? Pick one.
I'm gonna say cartoon.
Cartoon. Okay, you're right. Good job.
A solid guess as you framed it.
It was very Wonder Gamelon or some shit. Like that was in it. I'm like, you know in your heart, dude. Animated series with such experience.
No, yeah. What do you think of putting this quote at the end, like in sort of the same way that like I'm the Juggernaut bitch was applied to X-Men, where it's
That would be incredible.
That would actually be really funny though. Go right.
No, I was gonna ask, like, is Nintendo ever gonna acknowledge like those CDI games ever again?
No.
Will they have a CDI NSO section where like all the CDI Nintendo games?
That'd be crazy to do for the anniversary for Zelda if they just had them added in as like a fun NSO limited time thing. But I kind of somewhat embarrassed by it. I feel like so.
They did look like Virtual Boy. Like
That is true.
No,
And they
they're
didn't have like
proud of the Virtual Boy. The
kinda-
CDI debacle is a whole completely different thing.
who has control of the specific CDI games? Is it back in Nintendo's hands? Because
Someone else, yeah, Sonic, right?
it would be wild if someone else got it and then paid Nintendo or like got a contract with Nintendo to put these games on it. Like it would be so wild.
I feel like the rights returned to Nintendo for that, but I'm a licensing nerd, so I'm totally gonna like look into that. Because like if someone were to release it, who and how would that happen?
Yeah, what would they allowed to do? Could it be like CDI Zelda Xbox exclusive or something?
Yeah, something. I don't know. It's so crazy. Unrelated, but related. Do you think they'll slip "Excuse me, princess" into the live action Zelda?
Oh yeah,
He's gonna talk. He's gonna talk.
He's gonna bump into her in a hallway like, excuse me, princess.
Yeah,
that's the one.
That's the one. Yeah, that's
definitely
Okay.
definitely. This folks says can't wait to see DLSS 5 Ganondorf Super Zelda musical. Casual Gamer says not to be that guy, but let's Majora's Mask.
No, be that guy. Majora's Mask is amazing. No, we need that next.
I wanted a 2-pack with this and freaking with Ocarina and Majora's, but instead we got 2-pack in a different game. So
Blue says to be fair to Nate, I'll do a teaser remake of Ocarina a while ago, but let's go miss it or just think nothing of it. Google says I was a young adult when Ocarina came out. I didn't really like it back then. Thought it was overrated. Still do. Sorry, I like Wind Waker, Princess for 3D. So
Okay.
Adam says anyone else get Dishonored vibes from Valmore Mortis? Okay,
that's the first thought with it. Yeah.
Massive Life says Ash is really gonna sacrifice Gears and the Coalition for Internet Clout. He's with Destin Paris.
She wants her online friends.
Evan says what's up, Swancast? Massive Life says Xbox don't have the user base to support exclusives. So we tested it. Paul says Booty. I'm saying platforms won't be announced until the release date is announced. It's probably to avoid Halo and Fable situation in the future.
Dad's booty, son.
Dude, anytime there's an Xbox showcase, there's always a viral tweet. It's like this guy's last name's Booty. Like,
Yeah, it happens every time.
Every time. I feel bad.
Dad's booty.
Sweet Chat says the rule they already announced it falls apart because Senua wasn't an announcement and K3. We didn't know platforms till the show. We are Xbox. It confuses me. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's hard to say where Xbox is what they're thinking right now. They're all over the place. You're absolutely right. It says USA had a phenomenal game last night. If they play like that every game, they can make it to the quarterfinals. Maybe even semis. Canada was
We should have lost that game, but I can't believe we actually scored a goal. But at least we got that.
Dave says Celia looks good. Thomas says, be honest, would you pay $1,000 for a Dreamcast 2 if they came back? Yeah, we're not
I feel like this is limited info. Is it just the Dreamcast 2 drops, no games? It's just a system.
Yeah.
It's or the system is a box with a spiral on top of it.
Yeah. Also, will it still be very loud?
Oh,
my gosh, yeah, dude. You don't know how loud Dreamcasts are. It's fantastic.
It's insane on
It
that
makes a
thing.
really loud noise. Like in this fantasy world, like are all like the Dreamcast like library being remade or reimagined for the Dreamcast 2?
It's kind of the little VMU thing.
Yeah, okay, that would come in. I would assume that would come with the Dreamcast. It would be VMU 2. If it's like that, it comes with Power Stone and all the fun games, I'm sure, but we'll see.
Shimmer says I bought Spyro Remade at Icon.
Hell yeah.
He's the reason why I have the new Spyro.
Champ.
So it says, wow, I started cheats. I told you people have the battle. So that guy's gonna go to Sheet.
Wait, what is Sheets?
Like South Wawa. Or something.
Yeah. There's one right this way.
What's the hell?
They're moving up this way.
Is it like 7-Eleven?
We have 7-Eleven here as well. Now 7-Eleven's like, she's pretty big. And they literally are 24/7. You order whatever you want, and they probably can make it.
They're known for milkshakes more than anything else, my understanding.
Interesting. Gotta go to Wawa.
Yes, that's Wawa. The 68 says Starbucks was great, but they need to fix the hyper laser. Also, Godzilla originally came out just before Vice City, and now right before GTA 6. Oh yeah. OC says fully voice acted Link. Then they say Crash Team Racing remake is still hard locked, but they're on PS5. Yeah, they got you on there, bro. Eric says Link being voiced by Gilbert Godfrey. Alex says surprise Mario spin-off or 2D in 2026. Surprise. Well, you have Big 3 Mario apparently is next year. That would be my assumption. Shadow says Mass Effect 3 was on Wii U. Joey says bring back Diddy Kong Racing.
Yes, bring it back.
So we can
Okay, do you think Diddy Kong wasn't in Mario Kart World because his name is associated with Diddy? He's like an actual. Do you buy that rumor?
Run that back.
Right, why are you just saying words right now? Like,
I don't think so. I think we might get in like later.
Wait, are you being serious right now?
I saw that one. That was like a big thing.
wait,
Diddy Kong was a
who?
game.
Tag me in that thread.
I got you.
Okay, because I'm about to tell that they're all stupid. That's why.
I
I'm believing in that.
because you know P Diddy's name was based off of Diddy Kong.
Teacher says
Those characters are intertwined completely.
It's like a real thing. Like
I think bananas with appeals, all that lube. Let's go.
Oh my god.
this teacher says I don't understand why they don't let you change controls Starbucks. Even though the training dude said can turn off cutscene subtitles. Love the new train dialogue, by the way. That was fun how they implemented it in. It's just, I already know how to play Starbucks. So I was like, skip the mission. And Sugar says choose one that goes away forever or you pay for systems. Tabletop games, movies, TV, video games, or sports. OJ, you start this time. I guess.
You guys do.
video games or
Tabletops.
These are four things that take a lot of time, and I think most people here do.
I feel like wait, you have to include all board games in that though.
Yeah, but
I will miss Monopoly.
Yeah, I'll miss Monopoly.
There's a lot of board games growing up though, like Mousetrap.
Mousetrap's
Are we
great.
gonna
Get rid of sports.
Yeah, honestly, get rid of sports. I feel like the economy would get better.
People put money in anything else.
Well,
Yeah.
Peggle still exists. People bet on anything.
Yeah.
I can't get rid of sport. My boy's about to have an NIL deal. The hell no. My boy's getting a bag in like 20 years. Hell no.
I can't wait for you to be disappointed in him to have huge therapy bills. It's gonna be great.
Absolutely not. Okay, but if you get rid of tabletop games, does that mean we can't play tabletop games on video games?
Yeah, you lose Mario Party, any game that's ever come out based on tabletop concepts never came out.
Yeah, you know that's rough. I think I'll probably still pick it, but yeah, it's rough.
Baldur's Gate 3 gone. Telling you that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with Baldur's Gate.
Me too.
Super Gaming says, can I just say today's podcast feels a bit empty without a DSP lore.
Okay, I have some lore.
No, you're bringing the lore today?
No, I fucking hate this. Okay, sorry, like, let me know watching. Okay, so apparently, I saw this because it was trending on my Twitter feed, and I blame John for this. But he photoshopped his thumbnail to be buff. Like, he's like holding it, and it's like a normal arm, but then like instead of just like flexing or whatever, it's like
He did the morph tool that makes
yeah,
him stand
and
like
they
five.
did, like, and he used your for AI.
Yeah, the Photoshop Java DSP. I saw that. That was funny.
And it was like, why did it? Did he not know that we wouldn't notice, or like is that his humor? I don't know anything about him besides what Sean says, so I don't know. But I think it's whatever that is.
Give us an update next time.
I feel like the camera goes off, the lights go out, he leaves the door like a normal house. It's like, hey babe, yeah, some work still.
I'm going to explode here pretty soon, man.
Folks says Radic was voicing Link in the Ocarina of Time remake. We also I want to hear everyone say nice things about Radic.
Gaming.
And nice things about Radic.
That's a lie.
It's a relatively clean room.
Yeah,
That's very complicated.
He's
There's
nice to
nothing. There's no news to talk about.
You represent Canada down here in a couple weeks.
You look like you don't.
Gotta feel off the fucking schedule. The pilot schedule. If anything at this
Chance of
point.
being a compliment?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't hear the part of it. What was the question?
We're all saying
One
nice things.
compliment to Radic. One.
Oh, one comment to Radic.
Oh god, the hang time, the last.
He's very knowledgeable on PlayStation stuff. And I like his videos.
Council says next win is there an RGT streaming app? Probably.
Probably.
I yeah.
Yeah, they're winning right now. So
Oh, shit,
they're up right now.
Okay, so he is gonna be alive tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, okay, I don't know because he might go out the streets and go to see him.
At least he'll go out happy instead of sad.
That is true. That is true. And Nintendo says Switch P5 Royal outsold PS5 same day. Google it. Sold PS5 same day.
It's like the PS5 specific version of Royal, not the PS4 version included, is what you're saying, right?
Yes. I'll say yes. Okay. We'll go with that. Let's go around as we finish up here. Celia, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Game and Talk, which is a podcast that Sean, Josie, and I, and eventually me do. We talk about Nintendo stuff and then random things. I also stream on there. I'm going to be playing Nina the Follower on soon. I think tomorrow actually. So if everything goes well, I will be streaming tomorrow, probably around 4:30 to 5 or 4:35ish Pacific Standard Time. You can also find me on social media. I'm Celia B with 3 E's on X/Twitter, and I'm also on Instagram.
Andy says Team Johncast today. Hope you all are good. And Dave says thoughts on EA's new game Gen Atlas. Looks awesome. I think it looks really good. Looks really cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Charlotte's getting hype for it, knowing the potential it does.
Well,
so.
Yeah, that's right.
About
Check.
okay, where can I find you?
Yeah, you find me right here on YouTube. I got some cool videos that I did on Star Fox in addition to Fire Emblem and Xenoblade and all the games I was excited about from the Direct and other showcases. So yeah, check that out. We stream pretty much daily as well, 5 days out of the week. So I'm always streaming, talking about games and discussing all sorts of stuff, having interesting discussions. So thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And yeah, this was a fun one today. Also giving away Switch too as well. So go subscribe to the channel.
I'm at Real Radic on every social media platform, mainly Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. Posted a video yesterday on YouTube, 40 minutes about the state of every PlayStation studio and my external partners making games with. So check that out. Got another video on the way, probably for Monday. So yeah, I look forward to that. So at Real Radic on every social media platform.
Man, what about
Usually in Hate replies, just enjoying reading them. It's great. It's a fantastic time. Or just Gamer's Project social media, YouTube, Twitch. Sometimes I stream occasionally. Or just hang out. It's whatever.
thanks everyone for tuning in. We appreciate it. Paul says, yes, I missed the Xbox being sold off in the discussions. How we had 2, maybe 3 restructures. Single Xbox, right? Xbox get restructures. Now we'll trust we'll be covering Xbox stuff next week because more stuff's coming. Don't worry. Council says how chatty will be in Ocarina of Time. The show just trying to delay a second station from the Sean. Mike,
20 seconds left. Oh, yeah, I think they're going to
I texted Sean. Sean messaged me and said I need oxygen.
Yeah.
I'm happy for them.
I'm very happy
Yeah.
to say congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks everyone.
No, you're gonna curse it now. No, don't curse it.
Well, unless they do some craziness, it's
They're up by 4 with 20 seconds left. I mean, it's possible, but
Spurs that hit 3 immediately than that.
They're like 13
So when it happens and I play in this clip back.
Well,
I mean,
the Spurs are generational chokers. Though. It's a generational choke.
Yeah.
it's been a while, but that's the show. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back next Saturday at 9 Eastern time. We'll see you guys.
No.
I guess golf isn't for everyone.
It's upside down, it's a 9 now. Like Manny, like Stunner, man.
Hello.
Hello, goodbye.
Hello.
Grab the fucking sponsor block. Slop.
Oh, I have made big
Chungus.
So the inevitable has happened. The Amazing Digital Circus, which recently had its finale in cinemas, has done a collaboration with Fortnite.
Plus, explain why Jonesy has been here the past 2 weeks.
The announcement is already one of Fortnite's most liked tweets of all time for 3 obvious reasons, even surpassing the announcement of the Skibidi Toilet collab. I forgot that Skibidi Toilet isn't anymore because we lost access to the channel. That's an Aragon man, an Aragon. Now this is obviously no surprise because the amount of popularity that the Amazing Digital Circus has. And also when it landed in theaters finale, it was top 5 in the box office during the opening weekend. Now one thing that was a shock to the Amazing Digital Circus fandom and to the Fortnite community was the Pomni skin and what it looked like. So as you can see, if you compare them side by side, there is a slight difference in the models. The fly ratio in particular. I mean, this skin is such good debate. Even I was tempted to reinstall Fortnite to buy the skin, but unfortunately for my taste, it's too skinny. But again, a lot of people are going crazy over this. People saying that basically Fortnite just revolutionized the Pomni market and a bunch of other things as well being said.
This is poor.
Immediately demonetized.
animators, I beg of you, please turn Pomni into the amazing digital rag.
Releasing this Pomni model should be considered a genuine threat to society. Someone will give themselves to death with this.
Pomni, get ready to meet my amazing physical peer.
Ever since this came out, there have been many brave soldiers that took it upon themselves to post about it relentlessly, like the Fortnite Jonesy Twitter account, who actually came to one of my meet and greets a couple of years ago. I'm very sorry about your experience. And this brave soldier took it upon himself to solely horny post about Pomni. Now, that being said, there's also some actual legitimate drama coming from this as well, because as you know, this Pomni skin was also released at the same time as the Bird Peanuts collab with the Rare Sprites that resembles his Peanut character if it was in a Five Nights at Freddy's fan horror game, and also his own voice lines. And obviously, like I covered before, a lot of people had a problem with the Bird Peanut skin, even to the point that Bird Peanut caught a lot of flack for it on stream. I'm looking at it right now. This is the most obvious sprite I've ever He looks like a character you see in South Park, like a little towel. Maybe that's one episode, and then Trey Parker and the other guy just like, no, this is a bad character. We see rid of it. I didn't realize he's holding the malformed child. So a lot of people are angry because the Amazing Digital Series has a lot of LGBTQ plus themes in it, and then also they have Bird Peanut, someone who is known for doing Slur Saturday, and they've got collabs as well, like with J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series, which is very publicly known. J.K. Rowling really does not like trans people very much. I'm gonna be honest, I think the drama is really stupid. I don't understand why the Amazing Digital Circus can't have a place in probably one of the top 3 most popular games in the entire world. If anything, it just gives the brands an outreach to stop sweating on Fortnite solo building the entire day. They won't have any time to watch the series.
It's just very trans.
And I'm assuming that profits will go to the team that made it, so Goose made the series. But I think it's again, it's Pomni skin.
We're even having this discussion.
I'm talking about Kyson in a minute, but recently he announced a return of the Streamer University, which is an amazing event where many people laughed at the actual streamers to try and get into the university. And already dozens, if not possibly hundreds of people have submitted applications to become students or professors. There was one streamer called Shane recording his audition, and then Kai joined the stream.
Just so retarded.
Join the stream saying fries in the bag and 30 by the way. Just a reminder, by the way, you're all why is this like the most I had in the backrooms? It's giving you the worst energy than the Pirate Man. I'm making that comparison to the Backrooms advert beginning of the film. I've seen so many Backrooms memes. This is the only one that's actually funny. I don't know what's worse, the arrows are gifts comes from reminder. Wait, why the way how did you fuck up the windows? How many times meme was the most basic? How did you do that? How did you? I didn't even know I've seen this meme like 8 times. How did you do that? And then the fan favorite Kai tried to also apply. Now he was 17, so he was actually allowed to apply to the university. So he tried to use an AI generated ID. But you have to. Okay, that's not the most like we have the option to face home. The argument to face directly at the camera, already said. Oh, we don't know. Yes, please. And you have some boomer streamers like NP Lol, and he tried to apply to be a professor, and the application video is definitely on DVD all the time. Now, also for a new experience this year, Kai's trying something completely different: in-person auditions. So he announced 3 dates in 3 cities: New York, LA, and Atlanta. Now, the New York application was yesterday, so that's already happened. It went as well as you could expect. People started lining up the location around 8 p.m. the night before, so this is basically any Pokemon draft. By night time, the line was enormous. And the police got involved. The MIDD actually had to break a flight between 2 streamers who were camping overnight, and the auditions themselves were just chaotic. Someone pulled a real snake on Kai. Relax. There was a streamer called Ray Asian Boy who immediately got denied, and then jumped across the table to try and strangle Kai. I'm not letting you in. He's actually built like Jack Skeleton. How? Go eat something, please. The guy is just taking out what they it's just up in the dryer. Anyway, my siblings also showed up and called their mum to make sure they didn't get in, effectively cheating. And then Neil Lin, another influencer, was denied because despite being of Chinese descent, she could not spell the word Chinese. Actually, one job. What the fuck is she wearing? Okay, wait, I'm not reaction to this. My God. Just Chinese. One girl came up and had the amazing talent of just checking her ass, immediately denied by Kai. Now, as you expect, if you make it to Stream University, you will maybe a couple become one of the most popular streamers on the platform. This is huge, and especially in the current market, if you want to grow a stream nowadays, you have to be a rat. Again, I've used this example before, but Ludwig did a challenge where he streamed on Twitch until he got viewers. And he streamed for a few days in a row, no promotion, no alt account, did Facecam, and he got one viewer. It is completely impossible to grow. It's a rat race. You have to do TikToks, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, anything to grow. So this is huge, and the unwatched masses are desperate. That's why people are now starting to buy spaces for billboards to try and get accepted. That's just vote for me. Don't just watch, be part of the journey. And she actually plugged her TikTok. I think worse, just filming her own ass. Wow, that's rough. Okay, I found her account. She does actually have nearly 100,000 followers, so she is relatively successful. Look at this. This shit's all AI as well. Oh, mate, there's too many words. It's just like you're overstimulating these images. Who the fuck is scrolling TikTok? It's gonna pause to read all of this. I mean, when someone overlays heads of display like 50 different video games, all the same image. It looks exactly like that. Look how overstimulating this is. Streamline, idea, plan, create, post, repeat, content creation, beauty. Like, it's the same image. The same image. There's way too much going on. It's like too much. Fuck. I'm gonna be honest. Lego Star Wars and then Terraria. Let's see if I go together. So, Follicular, who I'm talking about in a hot minute, has completed his Grand Ascension week. This is where he had a lot of work done, his nose job, his ears getting pinned, he got his wisdom teeth removed, and he's been posting all his results and recovery for the world to see. And a lot of people have turned around and instead of thinking he's ascended, he's been botched. And the operations basically only made him look worse. So first of all, he got a nose job, and that was performed live on Kick with a celebrity surgeon called Dr. Miami. And then shortly after the surgery, someone posted a before and after. A lot of people saying that he looks worse now. Botched, unfortunately. His natural nose with a wider nostril flare gave him a more aggressively masculine look. Temperamental, dangerous. New nose, it's a boy's nose. Too thin for his face. Sad to see it. To be honest, all it was like a nose there, and then just like that. That's it. Now again, a lot of people started posting before and afters. They weren't really caring about the angles, the lighting, and Follicular was quick to point out saying these are clearly biased pictures. But then even his own chat descended on him saying when he was stream that he looked botched. It looks Margaret as fuck. He's mugging, bro. But honestly, it's funny a little bit. I mean, Follicular very clearly mugs me. I'm pasty. I keep being confused as being trans because I have such a lack of a jawline. Also, this nasty facial hair outline because it's like pushing 30. I still don't know how to shave. But again, unfortunately, it is cope. And people accuse Follicular of only getting all this surgery because prior he had a judge during a case, but the internet claimed absolutely mocked him. I'm not gonna lie, that judge absolutely mocked him. There's no way. I remember seeing a clip of Follicular on stream coping just saying like, oh yeah, but just short than me, so I mock. And then shortly after his rhinoplasty for his nose, he got an arthroplasty, which means he got his ears pinned back, so you know, they don't come out like this. So he doesn't look like Dobby anymore. He is like so little. And then right after, he also got his wisdom teeth removed. And there was a clip of him in wheelhouse surgery, and people said he was Make-A-Wish maxing. Make-A-Wish maxing. I know Follicular is something pretty hard. I've been trying to as well. That's gonna be a really fucking person online. Holy shit, that's so much money. But the entire point I'm trying to make is here. I have a personal trainer because I'm a coward and I can't go to the gym on my own because I'm scared of social situations. And recently, in my session, I can walk properly for about 24 hours, which led to my personal trainer sending me a clip of Follicular getting wheeled out with the comment saying, looks like you post like that. But Follicular has claimed he's nowhere near done because he's also looking at getting laser beard hair removal. What the fuck is literally me? And people have quickly pointed out that this is the first confirmed case of twink birth. Now I would like to my personal opinion. The wall has already came for me, taken everything, and then left. I'm basically on borrowed time. I'm actually someone that was in the process of getting facial hair removal. No, I'm not trans. Shut up. But unfortunately, I have to agree with Follicular. I personally, at least on my face, do not like facial hair. Like you can see here this outline, but I still cannot shave off. I get this nasty outline. I actually didn't get laser hair removal. I went there for like a month. Didn't notice anything because my hair's too light, and I don't really do anything. I went through the process of facial hair removal through electrolysis, which by the way is absolutely horrifying and a painful experience. There's also many documented pictures of me like on my Instagram going through this procedure, where I look like I'm hooked up into the matrix, which is the wrong way round. So that's the procedure that permanently removes facial hair by sticking needles into every individual follicle, which you have hundreds of by the way, and frying it so the hair physically cannot regrow. And this is a process that ironically, if you stick to it like once a week for a 2-hour session, takes about a year. It is actual hell. I had to stop doing it because just I could not be asked. It was just I might commit to it again in the future because laser hair removal does not work on me and the hair's my face way too light. But you know, I just wanted to share a little bit. I wanted to find some common grounds with Follicular. So it seems that police in America are doing something a little bit weird. They're stalking their exes through the use of AI. So according to a report from 404 Media, there are a lot of police officers in the US and have been fired, some even arrested for abusing a Flock AI-powered license plate reader. So Flock is this thing that's basically automated license plate reader and it documents every car that drives past them. And it creates a broad network of people's movements around the country. The police use this to look at license plates to learn like what specific car and by extension that person and where they travel over time. And the police found out that other police officers are using this specifically to stalk their exes. And sometimes it's been documented that they've been searching up the same license plate hundreds of times just to keep tabs on their location. And one of these cases is about Jamarius Brown. This is a Florida police officer who ran his ex-girlfriend's license plate through the system at least 69 times. Nice. He also searched for her mum's license plate 24 times and her dad's license plate 15 times. And instead of the searches were happening so much, even other colleagues noticed while he was doing it. Now apparently at the time the officer went up to him and said, hey, you should be doing it. You know, you're not your license plate, you should go jack off or something. But unfortunately for him, he was a full-blood addict, and when he said he would stop, he only kept going. But then on another occasion, Jamarius told the other officer officer that his ex was lying about her whereabouts, and then used this as a cope to try to invite the other officer to do a stakeout to try and see where she was. So imagine that scene in Breaking Bad, like Mike savage Jesse because they're trying to separate Jesse from Walt. He's doing like stakeouts and stuff, but it's like this poor cop that's not going to be there, and he's absolutely obsessed. My ex, she should be honest with you. And the also talk about the officer's behavior within his relationship. They constantly require that his girlfriend be on FaceTime with him when she was working, and apparently at one point he even snuck an Apple AirTag into her wallet. In this case, it's even one. There are several other examples of flood use in Wisconsin, Missouri, Georgia, Kansas. I just like the fact that before it was actually officially reported, he was caught by his employees because he was just that obsessively stalking his partner, or I guess ex-partner.
No, boy.
I got where it's like, you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, like, those are like your jobs, like pay well and all this stuff. Like, I saw for against that because I was like, I just like yours.
Whatever.
I really like Friday spot where bicycles are prioritized and cars are considered guests, and this part of Montage Villa, where the street becomes just a couple of bicycle lanes with grassy tram tracks in between. And of course there are dozens of historic streets in the city center, but they are beautiful and literally a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This area is not really representative of the rest of the city, so I don't often show these streets in my videos. But one of the streets I do show disproportionately often is this one, Derryon Bolstrad. I really like this street, not because it's the most beautiful street or the most comfortable walk cycle down, but because it has many features that make it a great functional urban street. At a high level, Derryon Bolstrad is not particularly special. It has the typical street design found all over the world with retail shops and restaurants on the ground floor and apartments above. This was the standard way of designing a street everywhere until overly strict zoning laws made it impossible to mix commercial and residential uses together. Or worse, when these traditional streets were demolished to make cities more car friendly. But because the design of Derryon Bolstrad is so ordinary, I feel like it can be replicated on any traditional street anywhere in the world. Like this street could exist in multiple places in Toronto, for example. Of course, the thing that makes Derryon Bolstrad seem better than most other streets like it is that it's nearly car free. It's not lined with rows of parked cars, which makes it feel more spacious. And it's truly the street wherever you want, as long as you watch for bicycles first. And yet, so many people use this street each day that you need at least a 6-lane road line with parking lots to move this many people by car. But it wasn't always like this, and if things had gone just a little bit differently, this street could have become much, much worse. And what's even more insane is that in the 1970s, they literally flipped over cars and blocked the street so that Derryon Bolstrad had become car free. Derryon Bolstrad was built in 1872 and Amsterdam first expanded past the borders of the historic canal ring. The Industrial Revolution had come to Amsterdam and created a serious housing shortage, so the city built a new neighborhood referred to only as YY on the edge of the city with Derryon Bolstrad as the main street. This map from 1870 shows only a handful of buildings in the area at the time, with one of them being this brewery named Hooiberg, which would soon be renamed to Heineken. This new neighborhood was planned and built so quickly that the streets and lots were heavily based on the boulders that were there before. For example, one of the reasons why Albert Keltstraat is wider than other streets in the area is because there was a drainage ditch here that was this wide, so they just designed around it. Since the street was wider than others in the area, it became a good spot for street traders to set up their carts, which became so popular that the city set up a formal market in 1905. And today, it's the largest street market in the country. Here you can pick up fruits and vegetables and other fresh food, including some very good cheese, as well as other useful items, and watch tourists line up for stroop waffles. There's also a statue of the Dutch folk singer Andre Hazes, who grew up nearby and started his career by singing at the market. Plus, it's a great place to spot your favorite YouTuber while he's filming. Yes, the Albert Keltmarkt starts at Van Bolstrad, crosses several side streets, all of which are pedestrianized around the market, and it ends at Derryon Bolstrad. The market and these car-free streets are probably the best part of this neighborhood, and it all started because people couldn't wait for a ditch to be built in before building houses in 1872. As another way to speed up development, the city built the streets and partitioned the lots in neighborhood YY. They left the task of building houses to the free market, which meant that most of the houses were built quickly and cheaply by private developers trying to make as much profit as possible. Eventually, the terrible quality of housing in neighborhoods like this one forced the government to create forced housing construction regulations in 1901. Of course, the municipal buildings were built much better, and there are a few on Derryon Bolstrad that are historic monuments today, such as this former boys' school and this building which used to be a police station and fire department, and you can see where the large door for the fire engine would have been. Bicycles getting French around that is now a bicycle shop. Today, neighborhood YY is known as the Pipe, and one of the theories for the name comes from the long straight streets like Derryon Bolstrad that would funnel people into the city. Almost all of the streets in the Pipe are named after famous painters and artists. Derryon Bolstrad was named after the 17th century painter Derryon Bol, a student of the famous Dutch Golden Age painter Rembrandt. Bol painted many portraits as well as important historic scenes. You know, like the time when Pyrrhus showed his elephant to Fabricius. And no, that's not euphemism. The elephant is right here. In fact, he painted it twice, just to be sure. Over the next few decades, the city continued expanding outwards, and Derryon Bolstrad was extended along with it, with the street getting increasingly wider and buildings farther apart with each additional extension. And farther south, and the street becomes Charlesstraat. But that's getting really off topic. I'd like to make a future video about this area that was known as Plan South because it's genuinely interesting for totally different reasons. But for now, things are really starting to get interesting back on Derryon Bolstrad. In 1922, the Bicycle and Automotive Industry Association, better known as the RAI, opened a convention center at the south end of Derryon Bolstrad. Although they started as an association of bicycle manufacturers, the RAI was heavily involved in promoting automobiles, and they needed a space large enough to accommodate automobile exhibitions. And they stopped exhibiting bicycles entirely by 1924. But the RAI building was supposed to be a temporary structure used only for about 5 years and then converted into housing. But instead, the space was expanded multiple times until it pretty much consumed the entire city block, and it became a permanent exhibition center for many different industries, not just bikes, not just cars. The RAI eventually outgrew this building as well, and in 1961 they opened an even bigger space about 500 meters down the road, where the Amsterdam RAI Convention Center is still located today. And you can go to exciting trade shows like Intertraffic and see fascinating exhibits from companies that make things like street signs and flexible ballers. With the new RAI building on the south end, the Heineken brewery out the north end, and the market in the middle, Derryon Bolstrad became a very busy street. And by the 1960s, pretty much all of Amsterdam was drowning in cars. Politicians and planners at the time were enviously looking at all the shiny new car infrastructure in the United States, and there was a strong desire to modernize Amsterdam, which meant making it car friendly. The Pipe had become a dilapidated, overcrowded neighborhood with buildings that were in very poor condition since the neighborhood was already in desperate need of redevelopment, and the architecture was considered worthless. The city had plans to demolish most of it and turn Derryon Bolstrad into a wide boulevard to make it easier to drive into the city. I was only able to find text descriptions of this plan, but we don't really need to imagine what it would have looked like because this is exactly what they did to Weesperstraat in the 1960s. Today, the city is desperately trying to repair the street as it has become noisy, polluted, and funnels huge amounts of traffic into the city center. And I have a previous video about that if you'd like to learn more. The only reason why this didn't happen to Derryon Bolstrad was because of opposition by residents, including Jan Schaffer, who was a pastry chef at the time, but who went on to become a left-wing politician. But one of the plans that we do have images of is Plan Jochen, created by a team of American planners who were brought to the Netherlands in the 1960s to make the city more car-friendly. This was all explained in a 1967 document by David Jochen entitled "Give the City a Chance." Seriously, the second video I ever made on this channel was about. This image shows the part of the plan for the Pipe, with Derryon Bolstrad here, showing everything to the west of it, destroyed the building elevated highway, making it easier to access the center of Amsterdam by car. This canal, the single at the north end of Derryon Bolstrad, would be filled in to make a ring road, and this part of Weisselgracht next to it would have been turned into a highway interchange. I don't love the huge roundabout at Weisselgracht today, but I think we can all agree that this is still much better than a literal highway interchange. In this plan, Derryon Bolstrad would have stayed the same, but many buildings around it would have turned into office buildings and parking garages. And I like how the document shows a huge parking garage next to Derryon Bolstrad. A little note that reads existing shopping streets also benefit from the parking garage. Well, that's nice. Of course, the reality is that shopping streets like Derryon Bolstrad benefit not from parking garages, but from having lots of people who live within walking distance. Because anybody driving will just go to a strip mall in the suburbs instead. Today, this area that was going to be destroyed to build parking garages and office towers is one of my favorite neighborhoods in the city, and I love what they've done with it recently. Shortly after we moved to Amsterdam in 2018, the city removed almost all car parking on these streets and turned the space into bicycle parking and gardens. This already made the street look so much wider and more inviting, but a few years later they began construction on the permanent design, which is finally nearing completion. These streets are now narrower to provide more room on the sidewalks, and the street is at the same level as the sidewalk so that people can spill out into the street too. And they changed the surface to these nice light brown clinkers instead of the asphalt that was here before. These streets now have lots of traffic calming and a 20-kilometer-per-hour speed limit too, and the bicycle parking and gardens were made permanent. There are a handful of parking spots that can be used for unloading, and there is some disabled parking, but the vast majority of space is used to make the street better instead of being used for storing giant mailboxes. And the streets are so much greener as a result. To me, this part of the Pipe is pretty close to peak urbanism. It's wild that this could have been turned into highways and parking lots. Although there are very few car parking spots left on the surface, there was a parking garage built here under this canal that was going to become office buildings in Plan Jochen. And I've never seen so many electric car charging spots in one location before. This parking garage has 600 car parking spaces to replace 300 spaces on the surface, and it costs 35 million euros, or about 60,000 euros per parking space, while being completely free for residents to use, which makes it just yet another subsidy for car owners. But at least the excess parking capacity is being used to justify removing more on-street parking from other parts of the Pipe. And they built this parking garage under the canal instead of bulldozing the neighborhood next to it. Thankfully, Plan Jochen didn't become a reality. Well, for the most part, some neighborhoods did get destroyed to build roads, but the rest of the plan was cancelled partially because of protests from residents, but also because the city couldn't afford it. In the US, cities took on debt to build car infrastructure they couldn't afford, but Dutch cities couldn't raise that much debt in the 1960s, and so they were mostly spared from the destruction caused by car infrastructure. Back on Derryon Bolstrad, the RAI Convention Center had been moved farther south in 1961, so decisions needed to be made about what to do with the old RAI area. The building was only ever supposed to be a temporary building and turned into housing afterwards, but now that the time had finally come, the city had other ideas. They wanted to build an opera house here. Photos from the early 70s show the old RAI building covered in graffiti of what the residents thought of that idea. They wanted new housing and a sports center instead. In anticipation of the new opera house development, the Japanese hotel chain Okura built a hotel in the southeast part of the property, which opened in 1971, which is why today there's still this massive 1970s style hotel that was very out of place with the rest of the Pipe. I remember the first time I came to this neighborhood, even before I moved to the Netherlands, I ended up on this street and wondered why there was this ugly gas station with gas pumps where the sidewalk should be. And now I know it's because this was the kind of stuff they were building in Amsterdam in the early 1970s, and many people at the time were not very happy about it either. By the 1970s, the residents of the Pipe
Pipe were getting fed up with cars filling their streets, and new urban planning proposals that always seem to involve making their neighborhood worse. This footage is from a documentary entitled On Behalf of the Children of the Pipe that aired on TV in March of 1972. It shows the Pipe from the perspective of the children who were living there and the problems they encountered, from substandard housing to dangerous streets full of cars and nowhere for them to play. This documentary highlighted the problems of the Pipe to the general public, and it resulted in several changes like these small playgrounds that are still here today. Bicycle Dutch uploaded part of this documentary way back in 2013 and added English subtitles too, which is where I first saw it. I'll leave a link in the description. Incidentally, these protests in the Pipe were separate from the famous Stop the Kindermord or Stop Killing Children movement that started in Eindhoven in September of 1972. But Stop the Kindermord did come to the Pipe by December. There was a lot of discussion over the next few years. The city decided not to make ferry on Bull Street free due to resistance from shopkeepers. And by 1975, the situation boiled over. A group calling themselves Car Free Ferry on Bull blocked off the street by flipping over wrecked cars, spray painted with the words "Car Free." These protests went on for several weeks, and sometimes cars were even set on fire. I love looking at this guy's face in the newspaper. I'm glad to see he's having a good time. When I first got involved in safe street advocacy in Canada over a decade ago, I heard about the protests in the Netherlands in the 1970s, and I believe, perhaps naively, that if we just did what the Dutch did, we could have the same outcome. But the more I learned about the history, the more I realized that that wasn't going to work, because many of these protests were not peaceful. People literally got in fistfights in the streets, and barricading streets and flipping wrecked cars upside down was a common tactic used on many Dutch streets in the early 1970s, not just barricading on Bull Street. There's absolutely no way that these kinds of violent protests would be acceptable to North Americans today. Since it started not just by I've received a lot of criticism from American advocates, especially that the tone of my YouTube videos is inappropriate, and I need to be nicer. I want to convince people we need safer streets. I can't imagine their response if I suggested they try flipping cars upside down, spray painting Car Free on them, and using it to block the streets. One group that was very unhappy with these protests was the Ride Association, the owners of the convention center. They may have started as a group of bicycle manufacturers, but by the 1970s they were all in on promoting cars. They didn't like that these anti-car protesters were gaining support in the government and among the general public, and they were sick of incessant whining about ridiculous things like the city being clogged with traffic, air being unhealthy, breathing, homes being destroyed for highways, and a bunch of stupid kids getting killed by cars. So in 1976, the Ride worked with another pro-car industry group to fund a government lobbying and propaganda campaign under the name Glad That I Drive, or Glad That I Drive, with TV and newspaper ads to promote the benefits of car driving and to spread the truth about cars in cities. They distributed hundreds of thousands of stickers like these and encouraged drivers to put them on their cars to show their support. This campaign was supposedly about celebrating the joy of driving, but to me it epitomizes the selfish attitude that's common among automobile advocates. It's basically like saying, I don't give a fuck about your city or your safety. I'm going to drive anyway. I'm going to smile while doing it. I enjoyed some of the parodies of this campaign that I found, including this one that I'm going to censor, but it's basically this sketch by the Canadian comedy group Kids in the Hall.
You should be ashamed of yourselves. Why? No reason, just a car.
Despite lawsuits for false advertising, the Glad That I Drive campaign was successful, and public opinion shifted in favor of making Dutch cities more accessible to cars. In 1978, the residents of the Pipe succeeded, and ferry on Bull Street became car free, but that victory was very short-lived. Many shopkeepers were not happy with the change and claimed that they were losing 20% of their revenue since the cars were removed. So a few months later, the municipality implemented a compromise plan. The north end of ferry on Bull Street would become a one-way street with restrictions on parking and loading on one side of the street but not the other. And judging by some of the pictures, it looks like it wasn't particularly well enforced. But the street was redesigned, and this was the compromise. One group wanted no cars, one group wanted all the cars. So the compromise was to have one side of the street with lots of cars and one side of the street with no cars. That way, nobody was happy. But this uncomfortable truth continued, and it stayed that way for several decades. And why is it that almost all the other photos of ferry on Bull Street on the ocean archives are black and white right up until 2003? Fortunately, the residents were more successful in the redevelopment of the old Ride building. And in the 1980s, this development was built, which included new housing as well as the sports center and a seniors care facility. There's even a Kinderboerderij. The 1980s architecture maybe isn't so great, but it was definitely good to have more social housing in the area. Though I don't really love this suburban style office building that they built next to the Opera. And at the north end of ferry on Bull Street, things were changing too. The Heineken brewery was located here since before the neighborhood even existed, but over time the brewery expanded to consume the entire first block of the street. Like in the 1970s, Heineken built a much larger facility outside the city and started ramping down production in the Pipe. The original site of the brewery was turned into a tourist attraction called the Heineken Experience, which I've heard is one of the worst tourist traps in the city. Like how they put these giant ballers as a way to keep the crowds of tourists from standing in the bike lane. Demolition of the Heineken warehouse and distribution buildings was started in the late 80s, and the area was turned into this residential apartment complex in the 1990s, which unfortunately means that the architecture on this block is much less interesting, especially on the east side of the block. But the dirt does have pretty cheap groceries. On the west side of the block on ferry on Bull Street, they built this public square. Today there are some restaurants around the periphery that were seating, and there's more spots for parking bicycles than planned Yokohama had for parking cars. The naming of this new public square caused a lot of controversy though. The Heineken company wanted to name it Heineken Square, but this was not permitted as Amsterdam has laws against naming public spaces after companies or living people. So unfortunately that also means there won't be any not just bike anytime soon. But after I'm gone, you are welcome to petition the city to name the street after. But it better be a car free street or I will haunt you for eternity. Incidentally, this is what that same part of that street looked like in 1978. Since the streets in the Pipe were named after painters and artists, the Heineken company agreed to a compromise. They named the square after Marie Heineken, cousin of the brewery founder who was a painter. They never said it had to be a famous painter, just a dead painter. Of course, there is another famous Dutch brand with its origins tied to ferry on Bull Street, and that's the fast food chain Febo, best known for their vending machine walls that dispense fried food. The founder of Febo planned to open his first restaurant on ferry on Bull Street, and he named the company after the street. Those plans fell through, but since the name had already been registered, he just went with it. And the first Febo bakery opened on Amstelveen in 1941. The first vending machine location opened nearby in 1960. Many decades later, in 1993, Febo finally opened a location on ferry on Bull Street, which is still here today. So now people in the Pipe can get their deep fried meat from a vending machine wall at almost any time of the day. It's the perfect food choice for anybody too drunk to make better decisions. But seriously, given that the food at Febo is still made fresh every day with real meat, probably better quality than most other fast food options. I'll leave a link to this video where Febo invited these American Dutch YouTubers to tour their factory. I promise you, it's more interesting than you think. A short way up the street from Febo is this small triangular area that is now pedestrianized, and it's no longer a taxi rank like it was in the 70s. But McDonald's is still here in case you want to eat worse fast food than Febo. The next major change to ferry on Bull Street came when the construction began on Amsterdam's US Metro line, the north-south line now known as M52. There is a stop on the M52 at the Pipe, with the south entrance at Zeerbaan and the north entrance at the Market. In order to construct the metro station on the ferry on Bull Street, part of the street needed to be closed completely in 2003. A few years later, the street partially opened, but only for walking and cycling as construction was still underway. The construction of the metro went on much longer than originally planned, so when it opened in 2018, ferry on Bull Street had the debris of cars for 15 years. So the city decided to keep it that way. The residents of the Pipe finally got their wish. Ferry on Bull Street was officially car free. Loading and unloading for shops and restaurants is permitted between 9 and 12, and motor vehicles can use the street under special circumstances, but otherwise the street is completely car free. The sidewalks were widened and most parking spaces were removed. The few that remain are only for unloading and used by trucks and vans for restocking the shops. And since the parking spaces are now at sidewalk level instead of street level, it means that whenever there isn't a vehicle parked there, which is most of the time, the sidewalk becomes even bigger. Access by motor vehicles is enforced with license plate reading cameras, which is necessary because otherwise drivers just ignore the signs and drive their cars here anyway. And thankfully we have actual privacy laws in the EU, so this isn't a surveillance nightmare like clock cameras are in the US. It's amazing to stand on ferry on Bull Street and see hundreds of people enjoyably walking and cycling, and to see so many people using public transit to travel to and from the area. I enjoy being here every time I need to visit the Pipe. It's lively and crowded, yet it's still pretty quiet. This was the place that really made me realize that most of the negative connotations that people have with cities aren't actually inherent to cities. They're problems caused by cars. There's a reason why my channel trailer on YouTube shows a scene from the north end of ferry on Bull Street as soon as you take Orangeville. The recent redesign of ferry on Bull Street was part of Amsterdam's Road or red carpet plan, but the M52 metro line was near completion. The city wanted the streets above the metro to be built back better than they were before, with more greenery and more space for people, with an ultimate goal of developing an attractive continuous walking route from Amsterdam Central Station to the Rye Convention Center. Most of the walking and cycling route is made of these red clinkers, hence the red carpeting. I like the new street that they built, but walking along it, I don't get the feeling that this is any kind of continuous route. I wouldn't even know it was supposed to be that way unless I read about it. But these streets are definitely better than what was here before. And of course, it's much better than the 1967 plan of turning all of this into a highway. The south end of ferry on Bull Street is still fully accessible to cars, and it's just not as good as a result. But since the north part of the street is blocked off to through traffic, there usually isn't that much car traffic here either, well, most of the time anyway. The current design of ferry on Bull Street has been very successful, and so I'm glad to see Amsterdam trying to make more streets like it. For example, the Bouwstraat at the other end of the market used to be a busy street full of cars. It was dangerous to cycle on, and the trains would routinely get stuck in traffic. It used to be that if I ever missed living in Toronto, I would come here. I wouldn't miss living in Toronto anymore. But the municipality recently redesigned it, and now it's so much better. The north end of the street was cut off to car traffic. Trams, emergency vehicles, and people walking and cycling can still go through, but cars and trucks cannot. And it also helps that most of the parking spaces were moved too. Now the street is only used for local traffic, and motor vehicle volumes have been reduced significantly. It's often said that the best bicycle plan is a good car plan, and it really is true. The bicycle lanes on the street are still just painted lines, but it doesn't matter because now that it's no longer a through street, and since most car parking was removed, there are very few motor vehicles here. And it's the same thing on ferry on Bull Street too, which is again why I always say that protected bicycle lanes are not bicycle infrastructure, they're car infrastructure. Because without cars, you don't need bike lanes. In the 1960s, the Pipe was poor and overcrowded, but today it's an extremely popular neighborhood with some great restaurants and shops, and the housing is predictably expensive. I've heard people complain that the neighborhood is too gentrified, but I don't like that label because I think it makes people come up with incorrect solutions. For example, when dealing with gentrification, we would have subsidized housing, but that only addresses the symptom of the problem, not the root cause. There's already quite a lot of social housing in the Pipe as shown by the buildings colored on this map. Ultimately, the Pipe is in high demand because it's a great neighborhood, and people want to live in places that are great. There are all the right urban fundamentals here, such as mixed-use residential, commercial, nice parks, as well as great transit options. But even more importantly, all of the streets around ferry on Bull Street and the Albert Cow Mart are low car or even car free. Whenever there's a proposal to remove cars from a neighborhood, people get up in arms about it. Even in the Netherlands, people will absolutely lose their mind at community engagement meetings to defend their goddamn given right to drive and park wherever they want. And if you do want to drive all the time, that's fine. As long as you're actually willing to pay for your infrastructure and have it subsidized by productive areas, which is what happens in parts of places today. But if that is what you want, then there are a nearly infinite number of places you can live. The majority of cities around the world are invested with cars and surrounded by car-dependent suburbs. But there are very few places like this. And yet there are a lot of people, a growing number of people, who don't want to live around cars. People who want the freedom of choice in how they get around, with high-quality options for walking, cycling, and public transit, with clean air, quiet streets, without the constant roar of car traffic, and streets that are safe enough that even children can get around by themselves without fear of being killed by cars. But these kind of nearly car-free places are extremely uncommon, and so the few that exist are in very high demand. If we build more great places like the Pipe and more great streets like Bergen on Bullstrad, then there'd be no need for people to pay high prices to live here because they could get it anywhere else. And that is ultimately what I want to see. A world where there would be nothing special about Bergen on Bullstrad because every city would have lots of great streets that were just as good as this one. We're in a phase where basically the MLs learn from watching really smart people do this. And you're trying to be able to do certain capabilities. How do you be able to observe really smart people doing those things is very important. So there are a few examples of where we're trying to do this across the company because one.
Okay, I'm gonna say something I feel like this is gonna ruffle a few feathers. Is what Mark Zuckerberg said is that the layoffs were in fact to remove the people that weren't deemed really smart. Welcome to another video from explainingcomputers.com. On the 13th of October 2026, Windows 10 Consumer Extended Security Updates, or ESUs, come to an end. And this means that all of us still running Windows 10 Home or Windows 10 Pro who enrolled for ESUs will no longer get security patches. Users of the Enterprise or Education version of Windows 10 can still pay for the ESUs until October 2028. And in February 2026, Microsoft announced further ESU availability for Windows 10 Enterprise 2016 LTSC. However, with nearly 72% of end users now running Windows 11 and 26% Windows 10, we should not expect consumer ESUs to be extended in 4 months' time. All of us still running Windows 10 with consumer ESUs. Therefore, we need to make a more radical decision than we did in 2025. When consumer ESUs end, Microsoft's advice is to upgrade to Windows 11 if your computer supports it, or to buy a new device. This second option is hardly ideal for people with perfectly decent hardware that they want to keep on using, especially with current RAM and storage prices. And some people don't want to run Windows 11 even if their computer supports it. So, what are the alternatives for Windows 10 Home or Pro users? Well, a year ago, I suggested these 10, but in October, the consumer ESU option will disappear. And so, with 12 months of computing history under our belts, let's see how viable the others remain. Starting with doing nothing over the past year, AI has become extremely good at discovering security vulnerabilities. So, it's likely that after consumer ESUs end, many critical security flaws will be found in Windows 10 and exploited on unpatched machines. Given that Microsoft will still be supplying enterprise and education ESUs, we could decide to provide patches for these to Windows 10 Home and Pro. But relying on Microsoft to provide security updates that will officially have ended is hardly wise. Like it or not, running any operating system without security patches is becoming increasingly risky and is not advised. Secondly, you could choose to run Windows 10 offline. This option remains secure, but is likely to be impractical unless you have another computer for internet access. Thirdly, paid third-party security patches are a credible option. For example, for €24.95 plus taxes a year, you can buy a service called Zero Patch from Across Security. This claims to provide Windows 10 with security patches and will be available for at least 4 more years. But if you choose this option, you're placing your trust in Windows security patches that don't come from Microsoft. Final option for retaining a secure version of Windows 10 is to migrate to a Windows 10 Enterprise Edition from the Long-Term Servicing Channel or LTSC. For example, Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC 2019 is supported until January 9th, 2029. However, migrating to it requires a reinstall, and there may be issues with newer hardware and software support. More fundamentally, whilst purchasing an activation key is pretty easy, the ISO file to install any version of Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC is only available via a Microsoft Volume Licensing account. To be clear, there is no legitimate public download source. So, unless you happen to have access to a Microsoft Volume Licensing account, migrating to Enterprise LTSC Windows 10 is risky. Whilst a lot of computers don't officially support Windows 11, it remains possible to do a clean Windows 11 install on almost any PC or laptop with a 64-bit processor and at least 4 GB of RAM. Most straightforwardly, the method using Rufus to create a bootable Windows 11 installation media does not require TPM 2.0, secure boot, or even a Microsoft account. And Rufus can now even strip out things like Copilot. As I checked in late May 2026, the Rufus method continues to work perfectly well, not quite perfectly, as you do end up with Windows 11 on your computer. But seriously, if you want to continue running Windows on hardware that does not officially support Windows 11, then this is a pretty good option. Do, however, be aware that whilst unsupported Windows 11 installations receive security updates, they do not get feature updates or updates to the next version. So, to get security updates long term, you'll have to perform a periodic hack or a clean Rufus install. For example, the current version of Windows 11 25H2 will only receive security updates until October 12th, 2027, after which action will be required to maintain security updates on unsupported hardware. Rather than maintaining a secure version of Windows, another option is to migrate to a Linux-based operating system. This could be a desktop Linux distribution, such as Ubuntu, Linux Mint, or Zorin OS. However, it could also be FreeOS or Chrome OS Flex. These are based on Chromium OS, which is in turn based on Linux and is the basis of Chrome OS on Ubuntu products. If all you need is access to the web and cloud applications, FreeOS or Chrome OS Flex are a great choice. But they're very easy to install, and FreeOS can be set up with a local account. To run local applications, a full desktop Linux distro is a better alternative, and I've detailed the process of migrating to Linux in many videos, including switching to Linux at the beginner's guide. And so here, I'll stress.
I don't know, I think
Firstly, only some Linux distributions fully automate the entire setup process. So if you want to straight out of the box, including installation of drivers and media players, you must
processor wasn't just one generation older, then I recommend it. Because there's a fucking performance about penalty for not having divided vector. The GPU architecture, you can support it. The features specifically prevents the fucking computer to go slower.
For some people, a major downside of Linux is that it cannot directly run Windows applications such as Microsoft Office or Photoshop. And this brings us to 3 hybrid options where Windows 10 is maintained in some form after ESUs. And here, one option is to set up a dual boot with Linux and an offline install of Windows 10. This allows you to select either Linux or Windows on boot, so providing secure offline access to your existing Windows applications. Secondly, you can migrate to Linux and set up an offline Windows virtual machine to run your Windows software in a secure environment. I've covered this in several videos, including a recent episode on how to turn an existing Windows installation into a virtual machine. Finally, the other way around, you could continue to run Windows 10 but with a Linux virtual machine that you use for all online activities. And whilst this would not be entirely secure, it should be safer than continuing to go online in Windows 10 after ESUs end. Before we close, I thought you may be interested to know which option I'm personally going to choose. So here is my 2018 ASUS Symbol UX330 UA laptop, which is currently running Windows 10. I'll be replacing Windows 10 with Ubuntu 26.04 along with the Windows XP virtual machine by accessing older Windows software such as Freewheel and Microsoft Office. I've also recently realized that if I replace this computer, I probably end up with hardware without a barrel jack connector. And on this laptop, if we switch it around like that and open it up, we see that radically it has got 2 control keys rather than 1 control key and a Copilot key, which would drive me nuts every time I saw it. So I hope I'll be running Ubuntu 26.04 on this hardware until at least some laptop manufacturers stop obeying Microsoft's edict to include a Copilot key. Due to consumer ESUs, and many of us see end support for Windows 10
just put a sticker up top. And rebind the fucking stupid key.
But this time around, in October 2026, things are going to be different. We really see end support for Windows 10 Home and Windows 10 Pro. And so many of us now need to accept that the clock is now ticking towards the end of the era of Windows 10. But now that's it for another video. If you enjoyed what you've seen, please press that button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I hope to talk to you again very soon.
Is this how Giant would use TechDex? Is this how Giant would use TechDex?
No, there was nothing.
Está vindo aí o grande reset do Xbox, estão mudando tudo. E isso vem já da nova diretoria que entrou em fevereiro na empresa. Até o final do ano passado parecia que Xbox tinha morrido. Tinha pouco suporte, pouca comunicação, marketing estranho pra caramba que estavam fazendo da marca, do console, de serviços, aumento de preço, tanto do console quanto das assinaturas. O Game Pass mesmo aqui no Brasil chegou a dobrar o valor em alguns planos. E o que mais magoou os fãs, perda de exclusivo geral. Todos os jogos de Xbox que antes eram exclusivos agora estão saindo para a concorrência. Até o mais esperançoso dos cachistas sabia que a marca estava indo Dreamcast, virando multiplataforma e que a plataforma deles, consoles, serviços, essas coisas, já não iria importar tanto assim no futuro. Mas tudo isso mudou em fevereiro quando entrou a nova equipe na diretoria encabeçada pela CEO Asha Sharma, que rapidamente se conectou muito bem com a comunidade do Xbox, afinou o marketing, reduziu o preço dos serviços.
What? Mesma internet.
Muito bem com a comunidade do Xbox. Afirmou Martin, reduziu o preço dos serviços e se comunicava muito bem nas redes sociais, sempre sinalizando para os fãs, ó, estamos de olho em vocês, a gente sabe o que vocês querem e vocês vão ter o que querem. Galera já está canonizando ela como a santa do Xbox, né? Tá curtindo muito mesmo a atuação dela e tudo melhorou muito na Summer Game Fest, na apresentação do showcase da Xbox, que além de vários jogos, né, que seriam também multiplataformas, eles anunciaram que Gears of War e Day, que estava agendado para sair pro PlayStation 5 internamente, foi revelado como exclusivo para o Xbox, assim como Clockwork Revolution. Esse segundo não causou tanta comoção assim, apesar do trailer ser muito bom, né? Porque era uma franquia nova. Agora Gears of War, a galera virou e apareceu logo depois dessa revelação, dizendo que sim, os exclusivos eram importantes, ela sabia que os fãs gostavam dos exclusivos, então os exclusivos estavam de volta. Eu achei bem interessante a forma como ela colocou isso, porque ela estava vendendo esses exclusivos quase como se fosse um produto que parcela do público do Xbox queria muito consumir. Ou seja, aquele fanservice que todo mundo adorou, mas teve mais do que pouca gente percebeu. Foi no trailer do Fable. Esse novo trailer veio mostrando um gameplay incrível, parte da narrativa, a construção de personagens. E a personagem que narra o trailer era uma mulher bem bonita, bem diferente da protagonista que apareceu no trailer em 2023, onde beleza não era exatamente sua maior virtude. Galera, inclusive, cachista, xingou um monte de personagem, xingou o trailer, xingou a mãe do Spencer, xingou tudo, odiando ela, porque a coitada da ela o pessoal mete o rage.
O povo retardado, anyway.
Odiando ela, porque a coitada da o pessoal mete o rage mesmo, mas o que importa não é que excomungaram a ideia do Fable, é que a Asha lá mostrou
I wanna go to my characters in a video game, goddammit. Worst part yet, when those people who complain about other people in a video game, they're not really even well maintained themselves. They're fucking ugly as fuck and all that. But yeah.
Xbox e tudo será lindo e maravilhoso. Porém, no mundo dos negócios, fanservice não funciona tão bem assim que a diretoria tem ferrenhos brabos pra enfrentar. Tanto a Sharma como o Matthew Ball, que é o diretor de estratégia da divisão Xbox, deram várias entrevistas neste fim de semana na Summer Game Fest. Os jornalistas pararam eles lá, fizeram muitas perguntas. E também tivemos um memorando oficial que foi passado para os funcionários do Xbox, depois publicado no site da própria Microsoft. E também um outro memorando vazado e achado pelo Jason Schreier da Bloomberg. Muito material que eu juntei pra formar esse conteúdo pra vocês e falar sobre o que é esse tal do grande reset do Xbox. Em primeiro lugar, interessante notar uma coisa que a Asha falou numa entrevista, que ela não é uma gamer. O pessoal vai estranhar, né? Como ela é CEO da divisão do Xbox, ela não é uma gamer. Ela jogou algumas coisas lá, ela criança, inclusive, e muitos jogos que ela tinha jogado.
This URL is kind of pissing me off. It's all caps. All letters.
Não são da área. Eles chamam esse pessoal pelo expertise e pelos feitos, né? E tem também. E aprender o negócio, eles aprendem depois. Daí uma coisa que eles entendem como se fosse algo fácil, né? Uma skill fácil pra eles aprenderem depois que entram na empresa. O importante é a bagagem, do conhecimento mesmo deles, é a capacidade de resolver problemas. E por que é bom falar isso daí? Porque foi exatamente o que a Asha fez até agora. Os 100 primeiros dias que ela esteve como diretora da divisão de Xbox foi pra aprender sobre o negócio. E agora que ela aprendeu o business, vai começar o trabalho dela de verdade. Então quem já tá gostando do que a Asha tá fazendo, ela nem tinha começado. Mas enfim, ela não culpou diretamente nas entrevistas o Phil Spencer ou a Sarah Bowden, né, os antigos diretores do Xbox, mas falou que realmente tinha muita coisa errada, muita bagunça na divisão Xbox, o suficiente pra ela chegar para o Matthew Ball e perguntar já tava na casa antes e perguntar pra ele: isso é consertado? Tem alguma coisa que a gente realmente pode fazer pra restaurar o Xbox? Não é falou assim. Então ela aprendeu sobre o negócio, sobre os que os fãs gostavam e principalmente a importância deles. Isso é uma coisa bem complicada do Xbox, porque desde a direção do Peter Moore, ele valorizava muito os fãs, todos os diretores valorizavam muito os fãs, só que pegar só a galera cachista, a galera mais fanática mesmo, né? É um público é o que impulsiona a marca, a galera divulga a marca sozinha, né? Então é muito importante pegar esse pessoal, mas não é um número de pessoas suficiente pra sustentar uma plataforma. Você vê, por exemplo, o PlayStation, ele não consegue os números que consegue só por causa dos acionistas. Mesma coisa. A Nintendo, né? Tem um monte de pai de família que compra videogame da Nintendo, joga Mario, essas coisas, e nunca colocou mais da Nintendo na vida, entende? Então não são só os fãs mais ardorosos que sustentam a marca. E realmente, o que eu via muito do Xbox era que ele ainda tinha os fãs ardorosos deles, mas fora a bolha, ele não saía tanto assim. E a diretoria antiga tava tentando furar essa bolha, levar pra mais pessoas, e o que eles fizeram? Não agradaram nem a bolha, nem o público geral. Mas aí veio assim, nessa, eles criaram serviços que estavam drenando dinheiro da companhia, fizeram aquisições assim, bilionárias, e assumiram vários compromissos que seria meio difícil de desfazer depois, inclusive essa questão da exclusividade, né? Que com certeza eles começaram a quebrar a exclusividade dos jogos da Xbox para aumentar a receita da companhia e assim amortizar mais, né, os prejuízos que eles estavam tendo em outras partes, mas fazendo isso eles estavam perdendo os fãs. Inclusive, essa história do aumento do Game Pass foi 50% de aumento lá no exterior, aqui foi 100% de aumento, chegou a dobrar o preço do Game Pass Ultimate. Foi dito nessa semana que nessa de aumentar o Game Pass, o serviço perdeu alguns milhões de assinantes, tá? Antes o Game Pass estava com 35 milhões de assinantes, perdeu alguns milhões, quantos milhões? Não falaram, tá? Mas ainda eu fiquei me perguntando se eles chegaram a ter prejuízo com isso. Porque lembrei agora o financeiro, que a Sony faz uns 3 anos, eles aumentaram o preço da PSN, falando, a gente perdeu usuário, perdemos assinantes, mas a gente tivemos lucro por causa desse aumento, né? E eu pedi pro GPT aqui fazer os cálculos, então eles precisariam perder 11 milhões e 700 mil assinantes pra ter prejuízo com esse aumento, ou seja, qualquer número abaixo disso, né? Se eles perderam 5 milhões de usuários, eles ainda teriam lucro com esse aumento. Complicado isso daí, né? Pois é, mas aparentemente o pessoal não gostou dessa perda de usuários, porque é difícil de conseguir assinantes, inclusive, muitas vezes tem custo pra conseguir uma assinatura dessa. Esse custo aí, funcionamento, marketing, várias coisas aí que eles fazem pra conseguir conquistar um cliente pra assinar o serviço. E de repente perde o cara dessa forma. Agora eles reduziram um pouco o preço do Game Pass, não falam que era antes, né? Mas sabe mais baixo. O que será que eles resgataram? Essa galera que eles perderam? Toda ela duvido muito. É esse o tipo de carga que eles estão tentando resolver, tá? Mas enfim, aqui o memorando que eles passaram, né, no Xbox e depois publicaram aqui na caixa, no site da Microsoft, falando do grande reset do Xbox, né? Tá traduzido porque mas foi essa palavra mesmo que eles usaram. E também falaram que eles estão para ressuscitar a marca, admitindo que ela tava morta no passado, tá? Ele tava falando que o Xbox morreu, não tava errado, ele tá sendo ressuscitado agora. Mas enfim, eu vou citar alguns pontos, tá? Como por exemplo, a exclusividade do EA Gears of War e do Clockwork Revolution para 2027, né? Os jogadores podem continuar esperando exclusividades exclusivas nossas todos os anos. Então eles não exatamente falaram que todo jogo que lançar vai ser exclusivo, tá? E aqui nesse memorando, porque teve gente que falou assim, teve gente nas redes sociais falando, mas eles têm ainda jogos que não são exclusivos, porque eles tinham contratos antes da PlayStation e tal. E aqui nessa entrevista com o Matthew, que os jogos multiplayer queriam ser abertos, né? Então, quem tava falando isso aí não tava viajando mais, tá? Ele tinha dito isso aí mesmo, só que daí nesse finalzinho da entrevista aqui, comentários, mas falou secretário, da cena que não tava anunciado e já foi anunciado pra PlayStation 5 também. E aquilo que eu falei antes, esse negócio exclusivo é complicado, porque realmente o pessoal fã curte isso daí, porque eu vou comprar Xbox e os jogos dele tem tudo PlayStation, mas os jogos PlayStation não tem Xbox, então eu vou comprar PlayStation. Pra quem tá nessa de console e tal, vai acabar pesando bastante na decisão pra comprar um videogame. Mas por outro lado, a divisão do Xbox individual é um caramba, um prejuízo é um caramba. E não é porque o pai deles tem dinheiro que eles têm, tá? Que o filho deles tem. A Microsoft tem dinheiro infinito, mas a divisão Xbox não, a Microsoft não gosta de tomar prejuízo, fica tomando prejuízo. Os acionistas lá, eles falam, por que a divisão tá dando prejuízo e estão mantendo ele? Chuta essa porcaria daí, acionista pouco, tá? Então eles têm que aumentar o lucro lá. Mas então tá, os fatos aí do grande reset, primeiro feliz, que tem mais de 1 milhão de jogadores jogando Xbox, eu não tenho certeza onde é esse mundo, tá? Mas boa parte tem muita gente lá que joga Minecraft e World of Warcraft. Pra quem não caiu a ficha ainda dos dois jogos da Microsoft, tá? Esses jogos bastante da Microsoft Xbox não é só a caixinha lá, não, tá? Nessa disso, não, Minecraft e World of Warcraft também. É um total de 72 bilhões de horas jogadas, né? E eles estão falando que o serviço ainda é bastante usado. Então eles falam da pedrada aqui, né? Que encerramos este ano fiscal com uma margem de responsabilidade de cerca de 3% na queda em relação ao ano anterior, excluindo os 62, 73 bilhões lá da Activision Blizzard Inc. Nos últimos 5 anos, gastamos mais de 20 bilhões em investimentos contínuos em nosso subsídio de conteúdo, plataforma e hardware, ou seja, tanto para fazer jogos quanto o subsídio de hardware, ou seja, vender os hardwares abaixo do preço que eles deveriam estar cobrando, né, para conseguir vender mais, e questões de plataforma também, serviço no geral. Mas a receita anual caiu quase meio bilhão durante esse período. No futuro isso não pode continuar, então a acha bateu pela mesa, a gente tá perdendo muito dinheiro e a gente não pode continuar com isso. Como que eles podem melhorar isso, tá? Cortando gastos, enxugando os serviços, né, onde pode enxugar, e demitindo pessoal e cortando coisas que não dão lucro, serviços, projetos, essas coisas que não dão lucro. Já mete a tesoura, normalmente isso é uma editoria mais, tá? E da onde que veio essa demissão? Aqui, a matéria do Jason Schreier, pra quem não conhece, cara, ele é da Bloomberg, é o jornalista gamer mais respeitado do mundo e mais barateiro também, ele tem informantes em tudo que é lugar aí, e tipo, 80, 90% das vezes ele fala uma coisa, né, que ele soube da indústria que acontece. Então, quando ele fala algo, a gente presta bastante atenção. Ele fala, explica um pouco mais, né, a fundo, esse grande reset aí do Xbox, e diz que a empresa está planejando uma grande demissão em massa de funcionários do Xbox. A Acha, o Mac não falou nada sobre isso, mas o Jason tá falando aqui que a primeira rodada de demissão vai ser dia 30 de julho. Não, é 30 de junho mesmo, nesse mês, né, no final aí do ano fiscal, já vão passar o passaralho na galera, a primeira rodada, tá? Isso aqui é que a primeira leva vai ser 30 de junho, mas mais posteriormente depois. Isso faz parte da reestruturação lá do reset do Xbox, e bom, vai ter a matéria aqui, e já estão com medo que haja outra rodada de fechamento de estúdios, tá? Como vai ter reestruturação, de gente, tá? E pode ser, não tem nada falando aí, que mais estúdios sejam fechados, mais jogos sejam cancelados. Aqui na parte bem interessante, que é na parte de hardware, tá? O Xbox tá com problema de fabricar mais consoles e dá conta da demanda, que aqui dá pra achar o Xbox Series, né? Eu acho que o Series S tá um pouco mais difícil de encontrar, mas lá no exterior tá faltando bastante, imagina, né? O Xbox já vem bem abaixo das outras marcas e ainda não tem console pra vender, comprar. Parte do problema é estrutural lá das fábricas deles, dos processos deles que vem do outro mandato, tá? E a gente sabe disso porque antes de começar a crise dos componentes, a Microsoft já tava com problema para fabricar o Xbox. Mas depois que apareceu esse problema, os componentes piorou tudo, né? Então ela tá falando com preocupação, né, que os preços estão subindo, que o preço dobrou o preço, os componentes depois duplicou. O que a gente vai fazer, né? Então ela comentou aqui, claro, né? Embora o setor esteja enfrentando uma crise de componentes, acreditamos que fomos mais impactados devido às decisões que tomamos no passado, que foi aquilo que eu falei, não é de agora, por causa dos componentes que eles estão com problema para fabricar os consoles. Então ela fala que, mediante esse desafio, eles estão procurando um novo modelo de negócio e parceria para hardware, enquanto estão comprometidos com o L, né? O próximo Xbox aí não tem nome ainda, projeto L, não desistiram, ela falou que estão comprometidos, né? Vai rolar o L sim, mas sem todos esses problemas, eles vão procurar um novo modelo de negócio em paralelo. O que vai ser isso? Uma coisa que eles poderiam fazer era investir justamente no serviço de nuvem, porque com isso eles podem aproveitar hardware que já tem, por exemplo, televisores já para rodar Xbox, meu Deus, stick, a stick, você pode plugar na TV e rodar Xbox mesmo, uma coisa que a gestão anterior tentou fazer, e mesmo se você fazer algum hardware mais dedicado, também vai ser muito mais barato fazer esse hardware e vender esse hardware do que fazer um console novo, do que eu tô falando daquela tentativa que já teve antes da Microsoft de fazer um Game Pass Player, que seria uma caixinha só pra fazer essa ponte, né, essa transmissão dos jogos pra TV. Esse projeto foi cancelado. Dos jogos pra TV. Esse projeto foi cancelado, a gente só soube disso porque vazou na internet, mas agora é algo que faz bastante sentido eles tentarem explorar. Apesar daquele negócio, né? Eles não vão vender videogame caro por causa dos componentes, mas vão ter que fazer os servidores lá, que vai ficar bem caro também por causa dos componentes. Mas enfim, né? Uma das coisas que o pessoal tá especulando que eles podem fazer aí quando pensam em novo modelo de negócio. Mas a ideia realmente é essa, tem uma crise aí, né? No caso da crise dos componentes, não adianta ficar chorando. Uma boa empresa, uma boa gestão vai procurar soluções, alguma maneira de contornar isso e fazer dinheiro enquanto a crise está rolando. Aqui, olha só, tocaram o dedo na ferida, falando das franquias, tem muitas franquias memoráveis e importantes para a indústria, né? Queridas para a indústria toda, não só o Xbox, principalmente depois que adquiriu um monte de estúdio aí, Activision Blizzard, Bethesda e tudo mais, né? Só que, olha aqui que ela fala, mas não as financiamos adequadamente para competir e vencer. Isso aqui, ela falou depois na sala, que realmente o Xbox lança bastante jogo pro Game Pass, para sustentar o Game Pass, mas os jogos eles estão com nível de produção, muitos deles, né? Mais pra Double A do que pra Triple A. Então fica com aquela sensação de que pro Xbox, pro Game Pass, só sai joguinho mequetrefe, enquanto lá na Sony sai os verdadeiros Triple A, aqueles graficão da hora, foco realismo e os caramba, né? E fazem muito banho com o Xbox por causa disso. Inclusive criaram uma demissão de jogo chamado padrão Game Pass pra falar desses jogos aí, né? Mais médio, baixo orçamento que sai pra plataforma. Eu entendo que o pessoal da gestão passada vazia, né? Porque eles queriam colocar bastante jogos para os assinantes sempre ter novidades pra jogar. Só que dessa forma não dava pra financiar só jogos lá visionários, né? Então eles faziam produções de menor orçamento e em maior quantidade, de vez em quando, uma vez por ano, aí sim eles lançavam um jogo mais carnudo, né? Mais competitivo com os top de linha do mercado. Um padrão de muitos serviços de assinatura base, né? Netflix, HBO, Prime, então, né? Então é bem comum esse tipo de mercado. Só que os games não funcionou tanto assim por causa da guerra de console, galera malhando nos jogos mais baixo orçamento e saíam, certo? Então a Sharma aparentemente vai fazer alguma coisa sobre essa questão de qualidade também. Mas não dá pra fazer milagre, principalmente ela falando que o lucro do setor está reduzindo 500 milhões de dólares a cada ano. Ou seja, até podem fazer jogos mais da hora, mais rica mesmo. Só que vão reduzir a quantidade de jogos lançados por ano. Essa última aqui não dá pra resumir, não, tem que ler tudo, porque é uma das mais pesadoras, tá? Nossa infraestrutura de plataforma atual não foi construída para a batalha que temos pela frente. Nossos sistemas são excessivamente complexos, abrangendo centenas de dependências, o que dificulta a nossa capacidade de avançar rapidamente. Nos tornamos muito dependentes de fornecedores para operar nossos sistemas e precisamos nos tornar mais autossuficientes como uma cultura de engenharia para construir o futuro. Precisamos aumentar o valor que enviamos aos jogadores e, ao mesmo tempo, diminuir o tempo necessário para isso. No futuro, evoluiremos e reconstruiremos nossa pipeline, né? E analisaremos os recursos de todo o Xbox e possíveis fusões e aquisições para nos ajudar a vencer em hardware decente, dispositivos móveis e streamings. Ou seja, ela tá falando que a empresa toda cagada. É basicamente isso que ela tá falando aqui. E vai ter que mexer tudo, revirar tudo, reconstruir, fechar, abrir e tal, pra deixar funcionando. Ela quer que o Xbox fique autossuficiente, que tá dependendo muito de outras empresas, outros setores lá pra funcionar. E pra isso vai ter que realmente dar tudo fazer de novo. E finaliza aqui, ó. Para alguns de vocês, as realidades serão surpreendentes, frustantes de descobrir. Não teremos sucesso com verdades duras, nem teremos sucesso fazendo a mesma coisa e esperando resultados diferentes. Assim como a mentalidade de vitórias cotidianas dos primeiros dias, que eu falei, corremos para progredir juntos em hardware, conteúdo, experiência e serviços. Dá pra ver que o usado nessa carta, né? Feita pela Acha Metro também fez, tá? Acha Metro. É bem daquele jeito assim, a gente chegou aqui, o negócio tá destruído, tá todo arrebentado, mas nós sabemos da solução, sabemos o que a gente tem que fazer pra reestruturar e pra isso a gente precisa de vocês. É quase um chamado às armas, né? Ela tá indo lá pra galera que curte Xbox, para os fãs, levantando essa galera pra juntos reestruturar a marca, tá? Inclusive ela falou aqui, ó, lembre-se, né? Que essa carta foi para os funcionários. Lembre-se, nossos fãs estão torcendo por nós, beleza? Então, não só os funcionários que sobraram da missão, mas também pra... Por isso ela explicar a carta, né? Pra todos os fãs também ajudar aí nesse período de reestruturação. Eles falaram 100 dias, tá? Primeiro 100 dias foi pra estudar, pra aprender e tudo mais. Agora os próximos 100 dias vão fazer toda essa reestruturação. Eu acho que tá fazendo 100 dias, tá? Mas a gente vai ver bastante movimento aí nesses próximos 100 dias, de qualquer maneira. Por tudo isso, a diretoria lá resolveu publicar essa carta que era o memorando interno lá da divisão da Xbox, tá? E assim a gente tem, né, muita informação, juntando lá com essa aqui, que pegaram ali, que realmente divulgar, a gente tem uma boa informação sobre o que estão querendo fazer com o Xbox. Não falaram explicitamente da gestão anterior, mas falaram que pegaram a empresa toda cagada. Então vai entender o que eles pensam da gestão anterior e vamos ver se vai dar certo esse plano aí ou não, tá? Realmente é possível, né? Vamos ver o que vai dar. Mas agora é o vai ou racha, tá? Ou vai ou racha. Se não for agora o Xbox, provavelmente ele vai ter enquete, né? Não só é o reset do Xbox, a ressurreição do Xbox, como eu tô chamando aqui, mas também é a última chance dele. Se você ter gostado do vídeo, né? Se você clicar no pra cá, fortalecido, se inscreva, acompanhar os lançamentos, deixa eu comentar pra nós. O grande reset vai dar certo ou não? Beleza? Volta do Xbox, você vai nós estamos aqui no próximo vídeo. Falou!
Imagine for a moment that you're doom scrolling on Instagram or TikTok and you come across a very ultra polished tutorial video that says that you can get free Spotify or activate Windows and all you have to do is run a PowerShell command as admin. And I mean, it's got thousands of likes, hundreds of comments, hundreds of thousands of views. Must be legit, right? Some of you would instantly recognize that as a terrible idea, but most people don't just look at some of these comments for people who actually fell for it. This has actually become a go-to strategy for a lot of hackers, and it might not always be as obvious as you think. So let's talk about it and how you can protect yourself. As you probably guessed, these short-form videos, they are on both Instagram and TikTok, literally push malware. The command you run literally downloads and runs a virus. The accounts usually are called Windows tips or something related to that, and they're gonna have a whole bunch of different videos that look similar. And the thing to realize is they are really, really well polished. Actually, by even my standards, they look really good. The AI voices they use, okay, that is one thing that sometimes there's mispronunciation, but the screen recordings of the videos actually are really good. So someone just seeing that might think, oh, this is like a really professional video account and not think too much of. So whoever created these scam videos clearly knew what they were doing with editing, or basically hired someone who did. However, in terms of what it actually says that you're getting as a result of these
his very side video. There's actually a whole bunch that just say Windows, but he also has ones for activating paid software like Adobe Acrobat or Microsoft Office, and there's also versions for getting free subscriptions of certain software like Discord Nitro or Netflix, Spotify Premium, that sort of thing. So even though they have a whole bunch of videos, for the most part, a lot of them are exactly the same. They have the same exact script. They are just slightly different backgrounds. It zooms in, it says logo, and then how to activate free Windows or Spotify Premium, whatever. All you have to do is run PowerShell as administrator and type in this command. And the command in question is IEX and an IRM and a web URL. Now how this actually works, it obviously does not activate Windows. The inner IRM command, what it does is fetches a script from the internet. It basically fetches whatever is at that web URL, which a lot of people might not realize is a web URL, especially with some weird new command extensions like .run. You might think that's just command in Windows, but no, it's actual web domain. And the IEX part on the outside of that basically says whatever's fetched by this inner thing, just execute that. And since you're running it as admin, you just executed a script, a malicious script that instantly downloaded on your computer. And it didn't even download a file. It's called fileless malware. It's really tricky, and it can get by some basic antivirus. And that's because there really is no file downloaded to scan. The antivirus would have to be monitoring shell commands, and it didn't have that feature. It would simply fetch whatever text in that script on site and load it in memory and execute it straight from memory. No file. Now, obviously, these are not the only possible commands that can be used maliciously. For example, these are the short versions of the actual full commands, which are invoke expression and invoke rest method. So it might show those fully. There's also a similar one called IWR or invoke web request, which basically does the same thing as invoke rest method. Also, the order of things could be different. It could look like this with a vertical bar and the IEX at the end. It could also be totally different commands like curl. Now, this is built in Windows, legitimate app, originally from Linux, but it's now in Windows 2, and it fetches things from the internet. It can also be used maliciously. Another one is MSHTA that also can execute scripts remotely that hackers can host. Again, just because you see these doesn't automatically mean the command is malicious. It's probably a good idea, for example, to maybe ask an AI. These days, even the kind of dumb ones are able to tell. At least generally, command is risky. It's not completely malicious. In this case, the actual thing that's downloaded is called VIDAR sealer, it's info sealer. So that's going to steal basically everything it can get its hands on in terms of the passwords, two-factor authentication tokens if you have them, your credit card info, encrypted wallets, stuff like that. And since there's not actually a file, if it runs without being detected, then it might not even leave a trace for you to realize that you got hacked. Until, of course, you realize that your account started getting compromised and hacked. And you might not even sure what exactly they thought. And what's crazy is there's several of these accounts that have been up on both Instagram and TikTok created in December 2025. They're still up. Some of the videos have 100,000 plus views, and many of them have over 10,000 views. Thousands of bookmarks. You can see that some people will comment that it's fake, trying to warn people, but there's also people who clearly did not realize it was fake. Like this guy, not working. It doesn't work. Not safe. My PC says. So hopefully it's locked. This guy said it doesn't work, and then someone replied it's a virus, and they said I tried another one work, but not this. So everybody's exactly saying people are super tech literate. Still, the fact that these are up is insane. Surely people would have reported this. Now, for example, there's one type of Spotify Premium. They basically show recording Spotify scrolling through the app, and then they
Just go to this shit without thinking. Why do they have the right to fucking vote? The right to go to fucking ballot and vote? It's so fucking stupid.
You see on TikTok or Instagram, unless you know exactly what it does. And realize that with AI and with people offering video editing services for so cheap, it's not difficult for a complete scammer these days to make a highly polished, legitimate looking tutorial that is just actually malicious. I would be curious what you guys think though. You've seen these, do you realize that it was a scam? You talk about that all the time. Of course, scammers are still using the tried and true methods like email and phone calls. Actually, recently I talked about relatively new set of email and phone call scams. Interesting when it claims to be by Google. So you get a call from that, do not press 1. Put a link to that right there. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, it really helps you thumbs up. I appreciate it. Anyone subscribe, trying to do that for weeks or 2 work. So thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Guys, we got a problem. I mean, we're heading towards a holiday season where games are coming out on top of other games, on top of other games. And a lot of this is because there's a massive release in November. However, I still think there is a very interesting twist that can happen here. It's not the only massive release in November, which we'll get to, but I was making a list of all the games that were coming up here, and it's kind of ridiculous. Just looking at it here, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so you guys know they like, button, subscribe to the new. So sorry, this is again a list of games in order of release, and I also tried to separate as best I could based on the week of that month. And of course, some months run into the next one, so like July, you might into like that. But the idea here is to give you an idea as to when we have several games coming out all at once. And again, a lot of this has to do yes with many publishers avoiding November. So what they do, they try to get their game out before that massive amount of money gets moved over to GTA 6 from the overall pie with consumer spending. But I'm gonna start with July here, so I'm skipping the last couple of weeks in June. But for July, Rhythm Heaven Grew. Then the following week, Assassin's Creed Black Light Recent Backyard Baseball, which I got to drop Backyard Baseball, and everyone gets really excited about it. I remember that from way back in the day.
One game.
So I saw that pop up, I got the fun nostalgia, and it actually fun to play this. So okay, I got that down. And then College Football 27 very popular.
Two games.
Well, that's all the same day. I was like, wow, okay, well, Assassin's Creed is like I'm gonna be getting that one. But then you get that little break. July 23rd though, Avatar Legends and Splatoon Raiders. I mentioned Splatoon Raiders. I like the single player, more single player focus versus the shooter light paint game with Splatoon. I'm curious to see how that turns out. And obviously Halo Camping Evolved on July 28th. I'm there day one.
Two games. Only two games. Actual games, not re-releases, not franchise bullshit.
Master Collection Volume 2 Metal Gear Solid 4 is on there. That's the first time I've seen away from PlayStation 3. And we have Resident Evil Plague Tale Legacy. Star Wars Hero Company. This game is kind of similar to the idea of XCOM and Star Wars. So the team behind it is pretty talented. So I think it's gonna be a good game. And then there's Elden Ring Tarnished Edition. The following. I played Elden Ring. I'm just ready to see the other game from Soul. So we'll get that in here. Scroll down because you can get into September. This is where things go all the rails. So September it starts off September 3rd. Blood of Dawn Walker and the Orbital based on the pedigree of developers behind Blood of Dawn Walker. I'm interested. So the trailer they showed recently, I don't know if it showed that well, but again, it's based on a lot of stuff going on with this game and the development team. I'm curious about the Orbitals. I think we want to get one of the games like these games like Selection. I like the retro anime aesthetic here for Orbital. So I'll have to go off and it's all there. Okay, so we move to the following week. Marvel Wolverine, RuneScape Dragon, Fire Emblem Fortune, Trails in the Sky second chapter, and then there's Warhammer 40K for 40,000 Dawn of War. I like that game, but I feel like Trails in the Sky second chapter and Fire Emblem on the same day, 2 days after Marvel Wolverine comes out. Those are 3 games that I want to pick up. RuneScape, I originally not a big RuneScape person. I thought it was interesting that it popped up in general. RuneScape, okay, there you go. And then
3 games.
And then go to a lot of releases. I mean, it's 2 days. Control Resonance, Silent Townfall, Harvest Moon,
Yeah, 3 games.
and Onimusha, Way of the Sword. I want Control, I want Silent Townfall, Onimusha. Like, I mean, it's kind of crazy just how many games are just like stacked on top of each other now. And then Minecraft Dungeons 2 is down there at the bottom, September 20. And we move into October. Dynasty Warriors 3 Remastered, Rayman Legends Rachel, end of this. Ace Combat 8 Wings. I do enjoy Ace Combat games. I would be picking up Ace Combat 8. And then following week, right, here's what EA Star Wars Galactic Racers, which I think so far from the show looks like a lot of fun. So I'm curious if they show a lot of cutscenes for that game. So it doesn't seem like
4 games.
I wonder about the idea of customizing your pods like your racers, or maybe having some kind of progression system where they get faster over time, where you can do little tune-ups here and there, upgrades. Then you also have Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen, that is also going to the Switch 2 there. But the update itself is adding more optimization as well, and then of course extra content. Now October 12 has Battleborn, that was supposed to come out in September, and it's not releasing last week, but pushed into October, only at the end of the same week, which is probably not a big deal, but Castlevania Belmonts first. That's not a full price game. I think it's like $30 or $40. So it's a little easier here. But then Toy Story 3 Complete Edition and Toy Story
And then there's GTA, so make 5 games.
I didn't really super into everything back in the day, but the retro roundup is having the nostalgia that I had renting like the old school Sega Genesis Toy Story game. But that was okay, I said that now I'll fire up like, man, these are the ones that we're playing back. But just from the nostalgia factor, and there was some interesting Toy Story over the summer because of the new Toy Story movie. So that'd be a lot of fun. I feel like getting and show the kids like this is back in my day. This is what we play, and we had no choice because we rented it for the weekend. That was one game slated no matter what. Then we got Tales of Toy Story Remastered as well. That week. Okay, following Final Fantasy Resonance, which is also Nintendo Switch Sports Resort, which is Switch Sports. We've seen this over and over again. Bowling's so fun, great. They spend a lot of time showing wrestling. I'm sure it'll be a fun game you can play with some friends or family or like a party setting. Then we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. I like what they've been showing with this game or saying about the game where they're trying to be more serious and not have Beavis and Butthead and
5
like riding on a skateboard or trying to do like a military shooter. If they do stick to that and don't go down that rabbit hole, having Seth Rogen run an entire dummies-based expansion. Okay, I'm paying attention, listening, and checking. Also, the campaign is pretty good. So, the campaign worse than last. The fan blade zero, which looks great. Every time they show it, it looks more and more intriguing based on creativity, especially around the bosses. That one got delayed out of September into October. Anyway, I think it's landed at a really good spot because it's right between, as you can see here, a bunch of Octobrians, and then just ahead of Grand Theft Auto 6. But it's right next to Hello Kitty Partyland, so they roll the dice on it. We'll see how that works out. Into November, we have Godzilla Monsters Melee Remastered. That's the game I'm picking up. Yes, very nostalgic. I have your game actually, and it was a very fun game back then. Still fun now. But this one being remade, I think they call it remastered, but it's put out on Vive. Although I like that situation where they have the overlay Unreal Engine on the old game. Again, I'm not really sure we'll see more technical details as it goes to release, but I'm picking up. That is an easy buy. All right, and then we have Virtual Party Rewind. I think it's a collection of board games. They don't care about Grand Theft Auto 6. Godzilla Party got no problem. And then of course we have Switch 2 versions specifically. Then we're right Grand Theft Auto 6, so there's still a lot of room in November for a company to come in and go, you know what, we will go ahead and make this move, and we're going to release around Grand Theft Auto 6. And I think there's at least one game that will do that. And yes, it's Nintendo. And so we saw some games down here that need release dates. Okay, you can say Ocarina of Time, Dust Bloods, and there's also Bloodstained at the Scarlet Engagement. They still saying 2026 was the release date. That one maybe does get delayed, although they also do that. And I think there's a spot for them.
Dust Bloods. I don't know about it. I'm still skeptical about it. Maybe 6 games.
I actually think is going to release in November, and I think they're going to do it before Grand Theft Auto 6. I guess November 12th. Next metaphor, but that's a Switch 2 version.
And maybe for Ocarina as well. How much of a remake is it? Still unclear.
Dust Bloods, based on what happened with Elden Ring, and that's the port to the Switch 2, whereas the Dust Bloods is being built up as the original game being made in collaboration with Nintendo and from Software Switch 2. It wouldn't shock me if that got pushed to 2027. Like, they came out and said, no, it's not later. But they are doing a network test, and I don't think just doing a network test and then go, next year. I think the network test is literally them just kind of stressing and checking things out just before launch, and that's happening by the end of summer. The Dust Bloods
This one worries me. Why is that network
the other thing is December is open. Like,
God damn it, it's just multiplayer slot. Friends a lot. Souls game again. Souls game. But friends a lot. Again.
It's so packed with games, and I figured as this is going to happen after Summer Game Fest, after the Xbox Showcase, after we saw Nintendo show up with their direct. I'm still waiting for Ocarina of Time to get it. It's going to get crowded, and it has. So it's there's going to be a very picky, obviously, because even if you had the ability, you don't buy everything. There's so much time in the day. So it really does come down to picking and choosing some games to play this year and then waiting for next year or years down the line. I think there's going to be many games that are backlogs maybe forever. I don't know. But I guess the nice thing is you can also pick and choose some games that you come back to later on when they're on sale. But wow, what a run here for the second half of 2026. There's no shortage of games to play. But let me know what you guys think about this down below. How out of control the release schedule has become now after the summer showcase run that we've had, and let me know which games are at the top of your list. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
25 years ago, Microsoft teamed up with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to announce the Xbox, and it was a powerhouse with a Pentium 3 processor and cutting-edge GeForce graphics alongside a lean, mean, slimmed-down Windows-based operating system that helps to push that hardware to its absolute limit. Which had everybody asking, why can't Windows be like that on my computer? And that was back then, when Windows menus used to megabytes. Now you're lucky if you can get under 4 gigs. And for what? Even the venerable start menu is more to a bloated React-based web app. So what? I can Bing search my file names? The good news is, this seems to be changing. Thanks in no small part to the incredible contributions that Valve has made to Linux PC gaming. They have done what no one else could and forced Microsoft to finally address the elephant in the room. And to Microsoft's credit, they've done it with Windows Xbox mode, being toggle that you can just flip to split with mode and just focus on gaming. You don't even need a keyboard and mouse anymore to navigate. It's all controller, all the time, baby. At least in theory. In practice, Xbox mode might not be quite all it's cracked to be. So before you fire it up and take a look, why don't we go through it together and have a look at the labs testing that our team did to see just how much bloat they managed to remove, when bloat they could remove.
I have removed it.
Performance aside, a key benefit of Xbox mode is the ability to get a console-like experience in a device that you already own. So why don't we see how seamless it really is, starting by signing in, which this is not actually what I was expecting. Oh, okay, you need to use the pin. There we go. Okay, with the pin, yeah, this is pretty cool. So there's bindings for your D-pad, your shoulder buttons, and your face buttons, so you can quickly enter your pins with the controller. Freaking love to see it. And we're oh man, it's good to see that logo again. Obviously, not everyone wants to be launched straight into a gaming interface, but if you do, it's as simple as toggling your system to launch directly into Xbox mode. I've actually been using this for a while on my battery mounted RGLI, and it's really nice how much stuff you can do now directly with your controller rather than relying on keyboard and mouse. That's not to say that you can do everything. And in fact, apparently they put together some challenges for me. Are you going to give me the keyboard in case I fail? You're going to have to do the keyboard yourself. It's on that shelf up there if you can reach it. But if you fail. Up here, I got my settings, I recognize my subscriptions because they really want you to do that. This is nice. This is my library. This is probably one of the best things about the Xbox experience. I know it's been done 100 times in the past, but this is probably the most seamless that I've seen all of my multiple game libraries just automatically consolidated. First thing I want to do is adjust system volume. Well, always said that I didn't have to touch the keyboard. Normally I would have my system remote, so I think I won. Okay, all right, I'm not cheating. I have to admit, I've never tried to do this. My ally just has volume buttons on it, so okay. Audio, I mean, I can see the point you're trying to make. That does seem like a fairly straightforward thing, but also I can see why it's not built in because in almost no situation where I'm using full screen experience do I necessarily need to just log in again. Steve Pitch can do it. So, is there a way to do it? There is a way to do it. Did they pull an Apple? Did they pull an Apple? Change system settings. Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, buddy. Let's go. This is not the way. That's not the way they expected. That works. This is apparently this is not the way. Okay, this is in the game bar. This is in the game bar. Audio. Boom, boom. There it is in the game bar. Found out one but 2 ways: accessibility and the game bar. I gotta confess that even in the Xbox experience, the game bar remains one of those aspects of using Windows that I just find high friction with. Right now I gotta connect to a Wi-Fi network. Now once again, I guess I don't want to use the game bar for this. Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, buddy. Okay, get it together, Microsoft. This can't be a thing. I got this. I'm not touching it though. I'm gonna get close. But I'm not touching it. Can't see what I'm doing here. Oh man, where the devil's oh, okay, I'm there. Yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, buddy. Next challenge. I'm gonna assume that I can like add it as a game. Let's go. Play the hell out of that game. Okay, was that something you guys were expecting? Yes. Oh, more options. Edit. Oh, okay. Okay, close. No, I do not want file picker. Close. There. Okay. Alright, I got out of that. Without touching the keyboard. Okay, I saw a thing here. More options. Edit. This is an app. Okay. Yes. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Close. Okay. And this is possible, right? Yeah, it's possible. Apparently Microsoft is adding a joystick to mouse thing, but it hasn't rolled out to everybody. I don't know what version of this they installed. It's like hardware info or something. Remember, this is a game. What does that mean? Oh, there it is. Oh, sick. Oh, we're flying now. But now I can do anything. I mean, yeah, that should work. I don't know. Do you need to count? Is this really not going to work? The request is not supported.
There's a way to do it inside Xbox.
There's a way to do it inside Xbox. Make a keyboard, but I really have to turn off the entire cursor in order to get a keyboard. Stupid. Well, your info is not in here. Let me click. Oh, hold on. Where is this? I'm sure I'm installing it. Sure. I'll install it better than you guys. And then we'll open. Hardware info. Here we go. Yes. Let's go. Hardware info launched. All right, next challenge. Open LTC.com. This is going to be too easy now. Oh, shut up. Not a big fan of how I don't get a keyboard when I have this enabled, but this is still a data I'm trying to figure that out. Well, here's one way to do it. And was that how you expected me to do it?
Honestly, no. Your system's pretty different from everything that Labs has done to us all these.
Now let's stop doing challenges and let's see how seamless it is launching a game. Starting with Cyberpunk. This is a Steam game clearly. I think you guys just saw it launch. And this is kind of worst case scenario because it's got like a third-party launcher thing and Steam and the Xbox experience that you have to kind of fight your way through. I can also see that they helpfully reset it back to the initial launch experience where you have to like dismiss various pop-ups and whatnot. But here we are. Oh, come on. Boom. We're in. Consider your mainframe hacked. All right, I got one more challenge. Try enabling the game bar performance overlay. Bonus point. Options. Okay, here's all the metrics and everything. Microsoft, honest feedback. The world does not need more iPhone-like experiences. Let's let back just be back. Not buy everything. Home button is home button. Back button is back button. Okay, this is interesting. Oh. Okay, I've never seen it break like this before. Shoot, I may have entered an unrecoverable state here. I can't believe I'm going to lose going for the bonus point. Okay, hold on. I don't want to pin YouTube to the taskbar. Not now, Windows. This is exactly what people are using Xbox mode to avoid. Microsoft. Hold on. I just need to get my mouse back. If I can get my mouse back, I'm good to go. Oh, I got my cursor. Okay. I was on the right path when I did this. Like, it's gotta be here. Oh, not this again. For crying out loud. Run a performance widget. Hello? Come on. Okay, so pin. It's compact. Yeah, and like reopen it. Wait, what the crap? That's the way to do. That's crazy. So if I pin it and have that, then it'll work. It should work. That's crazy. You know, it doesn't matter. I think at this point we've done enough to talk about the overall experience. Seamless? No. Somewhat intuitive? Actually, other than the bugs, I would say they're mostly on the right path. For the third time now, this is the last time I'm going to mention it, they need to fix home and back functionality to be a clear home and back experience within the Xbox app. Other than that, bringing up the Xbox app interface, overall pretty navigable. They do have to get some functionality from the non-compact mode baked into compact, but in most of these cases, I can really see where they're going with it. Keyboard pop-ups do need to be usable when you're using the cursor. Okay, there is quite a lot that needs to be addressed. But on the bright side, booting directly into Xbox mode saved us about 7 seconds of startup time, and we also found that by killing the desktop UI on idle, we're saving some memory compared to running standard full-blown Windows with the Xbox app on top of it. Now let's see if there's anything to gain while gaming. Under my desk are two systems. The one on the left is running Xbox mode, and the one on the right is using Steam Big Picture mode on top of regular old Windows 11. We're using Forza Horizon 5 because we wanted a very mature native Game Pass game to give Xbox mode its best possible shot. Both of our systems are running 9600 XR with 50 Ti and 16 gigs of RAM, so these are exactly the kinds of mid-range but modern systems where we might expect some gains. Let's fire it up, shall we? But both are running their own overlays, so we can't really compare these, but what we can compare is the results page at the end. So, one moment please. And they're the same. Or rather, they're not the same, but as we talked about in the past, even if you buy the exact same hardware these days, because of dynamic frequency scaling, one system can perform a little different from another, and this one is about 3% faster than this one, so it's a wash. Which is a little disappointing. To be honest with you, we can actually prove this, by the way. Now everything's running background, run more time. Now it's running full Windows. And there you go. Not what we're hoping for, but hey, maybe it's different on some of the other titles that Labs tested. Spoiler, maybe it's not. The Labs team tested at both 1080p and 1440p resolutions. And starting with F124 at ultra high preset with RT endurance disabled, yeah, my thoughts exactly. We once again see no performance gains. And making matters worse, in exchange for this big fat zero performance gain, Labs noticed occasional issues, including window focusing problems, and even instances where F1 refused to boot in full screen mode at all. That, and unfortunately, Doom Dark Ages went no better. On medium presets with no upscaling, we found no performance benefit between Xbox mode and the standard experience within the Abyssal Forest benchmark. A result that was repeated yet again in Cyberpunk 2077 at the ultra preset, no upscaling and ray tracing off. Making matters worse, as you may have noticed earlier when Red Launcher popped out, Cyberpunk isn't native to Game Pass, and you actually need to use mouse simulation to boot the game, or you can reach for a mouse, I guess, that is an option. But that would be a very console game review. One reason for this could be that Xbox mode in its current state doesn't leverage known launch flags, and it fully opens game launches in the background, which kind of works against the idea of a seamless console-like experience. If you'd like to further review Labs findings, check out Labs companion on the link down below. Before you take off and do that though, it's worth discussing the fact that while Xbox game mode does not offer performance benefits, I still believe that it is a small step toward a larger goal that will be games were optimized for console first, often making PC players buggy, unoptimized ports. That's because the low-level code for consoles needs to be rewritten in something that Windows can actually understand. This created the same kind of compatibility wall that Linux gamers faced before Proton came along, and PC gamers often had to wait months, years, or even forever for devs to manually scale that wall. Microsoft alone had 3 fragmented software development kits that held many games possible on one platform, and devs had the time and resources to port over their game. The unified GDK now, at least from Microsoft, can hopefully result in something approaching console-level optimization and availability on the PC, and Xbox One on PC is a part of this same push that Microsoft is making for platform unification and treating their PC gaming customers like first-class citizens also. Even if it doesn't have much benefit today, I do still think there's hope for ongoing optimization. I wouldn't blame you for thinking, how in the sand is Xbox mode different from Steam Big Picture mode, but there is a difference, and it's in being a system versus an app-level UI. Xbox mode replaces the traditional Windows interface. All the icons start menu everything. Oof. On the other hand, Big Picture mode is simply an app that's sitting on top of Windows and has no ability to shoo away background processes. So with that in mind, you would think that there would be a benefit to using it already, but hey, this is Microsoft, so we actually found that when we were playing a Steam game in particular, we ended up using more RAM in Xbox mode than in Steam Big Picture mode just running over top of regular Windows. This is most likely because Steam opens anyway on Xbox mode, and Big Picture users don't need to open up the Xbox app. The other difference is that Big Picture mode is, if we're being honest, quite a bit cleaner to use. So even though we're hoping for the best for Xbox mode, and we expect it to continue to get better, you're probably going to want to stick with Big Picture mode for the time being. That is, unless you really value Xbox mode's automatic detection of both Steam and non-Steam games, and you are A-okay with not being able to use more than one display while Xbox mode is Xboxing. In conclusion, while Xbox mode is most certainly half-baked today, Microsoft is trending towards a world where it will be even more likely that the game you want to play will be available on the platform you already own, regardless of whether it's Xbox or PC. So the attitude has improved. They just need to get their act together before people try this thing, realize it's not worth it, and then never try it again. Just like people realize. If you guys enjoyed this video, why not check out the one we did recently talking about what has finally prompted Microsoft to take action, even if that action is a little slower and a little less effective than we like so far.
Como vocês podem observar, nós estamos simplesmente no New York, New Jersey Stadium. Esse é o novo papel. Hoje começa oficialmente para nós brasileiros a Copa do Mundo, porque hoje o Brasil enfrenta Marrocos nesse estádio maravilhoso. Tá cheio de brasileiro lá fora. E é lógico que eu estou aqui, devidamente credenciado pela FIFA. Cara, que honra, que alegria. Quero começar esse vídeo.
So much hype
a nossa rádio, a rádio brasileira, aqui nos Estados Unidos. Inclusive a rádio tem todos os direitos oficiais de transmitir a Copa do Mundo aqui nos Estados Unidos em português, tá? Então isso é uma grande realização, uma grande realização para brasileiros. E poder estar aqui junto com eles, trabalhando. Que muito mais trabalho. Que privilégio. Olha a vista. Olha essa vista. Imagina você aqui, ó. Peraí, ó. Imagina você aqui sentado aqui, ó. Nessa primeira fileira. Os critérios para um jogo como esse, de mídia e tal, são relevados. Então a gente vai ter o nosso time, né? Nossa rádio, não vai ter eu em si. Não vou poder ver, porque eu vou sair lá fora até terceira liga, e eu quero encontrar a brasileirada, eu quero encontrar os marroquinos, eu quero sentir a energia desse estádio. E eu vou mostrar com certeza pra vocês, inclusive, quem me segue lá nas redes sociais, já tá vendo uma feita, tá vendo? Não. Então, tudo na descrição do vídeo também, eu convido vocês a seguirem a nossa rádio, eu sei, que é uma rádio extremamente relevante, tá? Eu vou deixar todas as informações na descrição desse vídeo. E tem comigo, com certeza, vocês vão gostar. Eu tenho takes lá na entrada pra mostrar pra vocês, na parte de mídia, eu tenho um monte de famosa, um monte de jornalistas, jogador de futebol, tem Nilson tá lá do meu lado, vocês estarem inclusive. Então vamos, gente, vamos pra mostrar pra vocês, ó, só pra vocês terem noção do tamanho. Não, tá ótimo, mas tá grande, não tem como. Galera aqui, ó, a gente tá na parte de mercado de mídia, todo mundo que tá vendo por aqui, são pessoas que trabalham na mídia mundial, ó. Você vê toda a galera que assim, tá todo mundo com o mesmo propósito de cobrir esse evento, que é um dos maiores eventos do mundo, né? Ó, vamos aqui, ó, Senior Media Center e Press Conference Room. Vamos lá. Vou lá no Instagram, eu tô mostrando bastante coisa pra todo mundo, como vocês podem ver, eu tô mostrando pra vocês, sabe? Olha isso. Isso aqui, você não vê na TV, meu amigo, você não vê isso na TV. Ó, aqui tá gostoso, tá? Aqui tá uma delícia, inclusive nem peguei o microfone ainda tô bem na hora de ter, mas aqui tem uns armáriozinhos pra gente pode usar, sei lá. Vamos conhecer o espaço que a gente tá aqui, vamos mostrar muita coisa pra vocês ainda, mas olha isso, aqui é um lugar que você não pode ter medo de câmera, não tem por que ter medo de câmera. Se tiver medo de câmera, você nem entra aqui. Aqui é um lugar confortável, tá gostoso, tá? Imprensa do mundo inteiro, já tá achando as portas pra gente. Olha só a visão, nós estamos aqui, tecnicamente, onde seria a cabine pra cada empresa, né, pra cada veículo de mídia, poder compartilhar, poder olhar o lance na rádio, a gente tem Globo, a gente tem todas as maiores do Brasil e do mundo aqui, olha isso. E olha aqui, onde os narradores, todos eles ficam de olho no lance, pra poder ir narrando o jogo pra vocês. Eu não sei se tá muito quente ou algo assim, e olha que está lindo, vamos combinar. Olha lá na parte que não. Que isso, meu Deus. Incrível, nós estamos aqui do lado de fora do New York, New Jersey Stadium, dá pra ver a animação da galera e poder toda essa aquecimento pessoal aqui. Vamos ver se a gente consegue falar com o brasileiro, poder entender qual a animação, quanto que eles acham que vai ter nesse jogo, quanto que eles vão lançar esse jogo. Alright guys, nice to meet you. What's your name? Okay, I can see that you guys are wearing like the Brazilian shirt, but you're not Brazil. Where from? New York. Okay, so you're from the US, right? So why do you guys choose like to, you know, wear like Brazilian shirts? Okay, so you think Brazil is the weekend? Yes, sure. Okay, so how do you guys celebrate when else is done? Okay, so the best player in your opinion? Probably not, right? Pick that one. Same? Alright, guys, thank you very much. Enjoy the game. What's you? That's fine, thank you guys. Okay, come here, let's go. So who's gonna, I know it's a weird question, of course, because you're like, you know, shirts. So who's gonna win today?
I think Morocco's gonna win. And if it's 1-1, penalties, Morocco still wins. We have the best goalkeeper.
Okay. Who's your best player?
Our best player, he's so good. We love him, and yeah.
Okay, if you can say that you are afraid for some player for Brazil, which one are you gonna say? Junior? Get good? Alright, let's go. not win today.
So, I'm a big fan of soccer, I believe. I hope actually at least Morocco's gonna win, I think we're gonna beat all of them. And if not, at least we're gonna get 1-1 or something like that. It's a tough game, and here we are.
Alright, are you excited?
Yeah, of course I am. Everybody's excited. It's a full stadium, it's gonna be crazy. Everybody's excited. I'm teaming up, we say go. Right?
Let's go. Okay. Faça um livre, vai, nossa, ó, você vai entrar ali, né? Começa. Galera, encontrei aqui um grupo de brasileiros sem gente. Esse aqui, Elevia, fala pra mim, quem é o melhor player de hoje? Quem você quer em campo? Assim, ó. Ok, tá. E qual que é o seu chute? Quanto você acha que vai acabar o jogo de hoje? 2-1. 3-1. Tá gravado e registrado, vamos saber qual vai ser o resultado. Alright, so I think you're supporting Brazil, right? Yeah. Okay, me too. Brasileiro! América, não, eu ganhei $50. Zé, a gente não tem que pensar. Ganhei 50 no Zé. Quem ganha hoje?
O que passa na cabeça dela?
Ah, não sei. Ok, de quanto ganha hoje? 3 Brasil. 50
사부르모
Começamos aqui, vai começar. Vamos lá. Início de partida, 0-0. Vamos ver como é que vai ser essa brincadeira de hoje. A casa está cheia, senhoras e senhores. Simplesmente 80 mil ingressos vendidos. Pra aqueles que falaram que não ia ter casa lotada aqui, se reais, primeiro vamos no Brasil, hein? Começando a Copa. E a Copa, você vê os melhores momentos aqui, você vai perder aqui com o Tom e nossa rádio aí. A rádio brasileira dos Estados Unidos. Esse cachazinho aqui tem poder, tá? Por quê? Porque uma água, a tiazinha ali que dá vendo, você tem uma água, cervejinha, cerveja, ela deu um cachaça pra mim, ela falou, você quer sua água? Ela falou, você quer? Não, tá certo, tá certo. Aí eu falei, tipo, sério? Ela falou, sério, tudo bem, maravilha. Você consome um cachaça com confiança dentro do coração, você é muito. Gente, eu senti essa comunicação da cirurgia, mas eu tô inchando. É normal, né? Tô normal, quando você tá fazendo esforço, agora não tenha feito muito esforço, mas você tem que ter o sol, você tá levemente pesado, tá ligado? Então eu falei assim, cara, eu preciso sentar um pouquinho, jogar falando, mas é negócio, eu vim pra produzir pra vocês, pra trabalhar literalmente, eu não vou assistir esse meu tempo, já peguei um steak, vocês vão acompanhar isso aí, obviamente, ao vivo e tal, vocês vão conseguir através da nossa rádio, que tem direitos, né, de transmitir em português aqui nos Estados Unidos, então é por lá que vocês vão ouvir, vocês vão acompanhar, e eu vou sentar um pouquinho, porque eu preciso me pressão novamente, segundo round, tá ligado? Round, se liga, aqui é uma das entradas, tá ligado? Do estádio, e aí tem várias vendinhas, assim, várias paradinhas, pra comer o preço de uma coisa qualquer aqui, ó, tô curioso pra saber, deixa eu ver, olha aqui, ó, água tá 6, água tá 5 reais, aqui tem um preço ok, pode fechar o ponto, fechar 4, aqui cerveja, tinha cerveja 18, eu sou de diferente, queria um hot dog, não sabia, não agora não, é só pra gente ter uma noção de quanto se gasta, sabe, numa parada como essa, eu sempre gosto de fazer esse tipo de tudo com vocês, pra vocês terem uma noção, né, de como que é, eu nunca fui, sorry, eu nunca mas você tá com salsicha, não põe salsicha, vocês vão conseguir só, vai ter salsichão, deixa eu ver, hot dog $13, tipo tá 5, cerveja, bebida 16, 17, água tá 5, ok, tá legal, nada, fica, não, pão salsicha por $13, tá, desse steak, cheesesteak aqui, ó, 15 pontos, e a água também tá, ela fica World Cup 2026, então acho que é até lá dos caras, né, a água tá espaço pro lugar, e por aí vai, muito tempo em volta, cara, muito grande, não tem mais nada, eu vou lá pra parte de mídia, que eu acho que eu não sei pra vocês, vamos agora, ó, aqui a gente tem o quê? Ice cream, sounds good, ah não, é lá atrás, aqui eu sei que não, aqui ó, vamos ver, aqui a gente tem brownie tá $8, small ice cream tá 8, large ice cream tá 12, água tá tudo peladinho, ok, também, aquele negócio, gente, você tá todo mundo, você vai pagar $13, não coisa, não vai, ó, água tá 5, leite tá 10, cerveja tá 18, então o preço da cerveja tá gravado, aí também tá 18, então cerveja, esse é o preço deles, vamos ver mais tem aqui, cerveja, como pra beber, né, ó, aqui tem uns lounge, aqui só entra, ó, só entra os mais, né, não tem como, ó, então, o beverage, vamos ver aqui o preço, ó, realmente, agora a gente não discute mais sobre o preço, tá, $5, ice cream tá 17, 8,50, um scoop tá 8, dois scoop tá 12, é isso mesmo, ó, bonito essa visão, ó, bonito, pô, mano, é muito legal, sabe, fico vendo uns caras portáteis, vou mostrar pra você, você chega aqui, você vai dar uma também, ó, $8, 30 minutos, tá maluco, achei bastante, tá, achei bem, cara, por isso que você tem que pagar pra todo mundo, gente, agora água, comida, não vai ter economizado, gasta, seja feliz, já comprou ingresso caro, ah, não posso, não podia, tem problema, vou contar pra vocês, inclusive, gente, lá nos meus stories, vocês estão vendo coisas muito legais, eu também brilho, conversei com o Brino, vocês não vão ver vídeo, já viram, cara, não, falei com o Ligor, assim, muita coisa bacana que eu mostrei pra vocês, e agora tudo que eu mais quero é poder sentar, tudo que eu mais quero, ó, vamos ver, ó, tem a parte de fora do estádio, mais calma agora, vou mostrar pra vocês, ó, vamos ver aqui, hot dog também, cara, hot dog tá $18, sweet sausage tá 16, e hot sausage tá 16, então é tudo peladinho, gente, essa é a média de preço, mas ó, realmente, eu lembro da comida do Jet Steak, ela gosta, e eu falei, pô, eu paguei aqui $8, achei caré, só que, mano, pensa num cachorro gostoso, eu comecei a comer um salsicha, mas tá gostoso, cara, adorei, olha aí, ó, a visão daqui lá de fora, pô, isso aqui é muito massa, preciso mostrar pra vocês, olha lá, tem os funcionários ali, se divertindo, se refrescando, preciso muito beber essa água, e parece que é mais. Fala de Jesus. Tá louco? Eu falei, gente, meu dente era bom. Pô, o Júlio César entrou pra ali, velho. Eu dei uma mostrada pra ele, eu conheço esse cara. Tava do meu lado. Aí ele falou, aí eu sabia, conhecia. Olha isso aqui, olha isso aqui, gente, que delícia. Se bem que agora não tá quente, vai ficar mais de boa. Nossa, você passa aqui assim, ó. Não molha de fato, né? Ele é uma camada bem fininha, quer dizer. Peraí, senhora, peraí, meu amigo. Não molha quase nada. Ela se assim, ó. Ah, galera, tava aqui assim, ó, se refrescando. Delícia. Vai dar uma refrescadinha de leve, sabe? Um pouquinho melhor. E graças a Deus tá um dia incrível, né, gente? Graças a Deus, mano. O jogo que teve Brasil e França tava frio. Não vou dizer que tava muito insuportável, mas tava frio. Posso, né? Tem como. Olha isso. E aqui, na verdade, só pra vocês terem noção, nós estamos em New Jersey, tá? New Jersey. Você imagina que tem uma parte que tem uma ponte que atravessa de 2 milhas, 3 milhas, que é Nova York. Entendeu? Tanto que uma vista muito bonita de Manhattan, daí e tal, pra você acabar daqui de New Jersey. Só que aí fica um negócio assim, né? Os caras têm que falar que é de Nova York, né? Que é Nova York mais comercial, Nova York mais, né? Ah, e outra, também pode utilizar o estado, sim, eu vou New Jersey, Nova York Stadium, né? Durante essa Copa do Mundo. E o nome dele é MetLife. MetLife, que é isso. Ó, vamos lá pra salinha de mídia. Achei aqui o lugar da onde eu saí. Da onde eu fui. Sabe aqui, Renata Vasconcelos. Acho que esse é o nome dela, pra apresentar o jornal nacional, né? Ela tava aqui literalmente atrás de mim. Ops. Olha, esse aqui, exatamente. É, legal. Thank you. Olha isso. Tá doido. Você acha que elas vão me barrar? Você acha que elas vão me barrar o botão? Nossa, que delícia. Meu Deus, eu precisava. Tá fresquinho aqui. Olha só, pra você ter uma noção das empresas, tá? Sony, Nikon, Canon. Pra você ter uma noção, tá? O nível do rolê aqui. O pessoal da bem ali, ó. Onde eu tava sentado. Ó. E aí aqui o pessoal continua trabalhando. E ó, é toda mídia mundial tá aqui, tá ligado? Toda mídia mundial. Ó. Então, vou mostrar pra vocês um pouquinho do que eu trouxe pra cá. Tem aqui o meu MetaTalk, pra poder gravar, se quiser gravar alguma coisa. Tem um microfonezinho, tá gravando aqui ó, pra vocês, aqui no meu crachá. E é lógico que eu trouxe. Meu Deus, cadê o negócio? Cadê a parada? Eu estou aqui na minha pastinha. No meu notebook, no Mac, né? Todas as paradinhas que eu preciso aqui, ó. Eu preciso de mais nada. Não preciso mais nada. Tem pé tá aqui, ó. Tem pé. É, gente, eu vou trabalhar direitinho, vai tirando. Só tem uma coisa que eu esqueci de fazer, que é o negócio de plugar ali, ó, pra carregar. Eu vou pegar o celular no próprio MacBook, eu trouxe o cabo, tá ligado? Aí, sabe o que mais eu trouxe? Eu trouxe aqui, ó. Eu podia trazer um snackzinho, né, velho? Vacilei, eu vou ter experiência pra próxima Copa. Eu tô precisando de um hot dog lá. Eu quero um hot dog. Eu não vou parar, sabe? Um negocinho assim, esse copo mantém as coisas geladas, então tá gelado. É a ideia, né? A ideia do canal. Vamos manter energia pra finalizar esse jogo. Aqui eu vou descansando o corpo, energizando, hidratando. É, o calor que tava, é ok. E aí eu conecto meu cabo aqui. Mas aí, se eu terminar de digitar, fazer minhas coisinhas aqui, as coisinhas de bobeira, eu quero postar esse vídeo amanhã. Seria a coisa que você tá vendo esse vídeo. Combinado, tira uma foto da televisão, marca eu, marca o pessoal na rádio aí, então o vídeo não tá top. Porque semana que vem a gente tem Pensilvânia, jogar na Pensilvânia, Brasil e alguém. Eu vou falar também, junto com vocês. Pessoal, ó, andando aqui em volta do estádio, agora são 8 horas e 3, olha como é que é o dia. Delícia, né? Agora tá mais fresquinho, mas ainda tem sol. Vamos entrar na FIFA Store pra gente conhecer, vamos ver os preços, né? Ver se vale a pena, né? Aquele negócio, né? Eu não vou fazer um tour muito. Eu não vou fazer um tour muito completo, não tem nossa tem uma noção de preços. É porque vocês gostam de comprar muito no Brasil, né? Eu não preciso dizer pra vocês, eu espero que vocês me perguntem, original, quero que vocês me fazem. Não, tem que, faz aqui, camiseta no Brasil, no preço, agora não é mais, obviamente, 129,99. Lembra que eles usam um pouco separado, né? Vamos ver aquela camiseta aqui, ó. Mas vamos ver aquela ali, que é um modelo que deu muito o que falar, né? A gente gostou, deixou todas as vezes, 129,99, legal. Eu não sei como é que mas eles fazem tamanhos grandes também, não é fácil, é famoso plus size, gordinho, então não consegui comprar também camiseta, tá bem, né? Talvez 129,99. Pô, a sensação de você ir numa loja assim, comprar já uma Copa do Mundo, imagina você pega uma dessas, você pega uma foto do jogador, você esquece, você tá no céu mesmo, tem como não, tem bastante boné, né? Que vai sair 99,99, famosa frase, quem converte, não se tiver. Legal, bonezinho, mas não, fica FIFA, muito bonito, tá? Achei bem legal. Preços, vamos ver, sei lá, cara, tá de graça, gente. Chegou, levou. Fiz por isso, muito mais. Ó, o Brasil aqui, ó, o Brasil tem que ser mais caro, tem mais um pacote demais. $45 também. Bonito, né? Vamos ver uma lembrança dessa aqui, ó. Pô, esse aqui é legal, uma fotinha da Copa. Acho que é um bom preço, tá? Ó, $25, sabe? Olha isso, ó, não é mesmo, né? Vamos ver se mais alguma coisa aqui em volta. Pô, velho, tá aí, a gente comprou alguma coisa, parece que eu levei uma lembrança, olha esse aqui, ó. Esse aqui levou uma lembrança da Copa, né?
This game only gets worse. Oh my.
É, salgadinho, é, copo de cerveja, esse é um copo legal. Copo de cerveja, olha lá, fotinha, também bonitinho, material muito bom, tá? Não é aqueles ursinhos velho, também sem preço esses aqui. Mas eu chutei uns 40 pontos, sei lá, pela qualidade do negócio, provavelmente, entendeu? Olha esse aqui, chaveirinhos, $20. Pra quem é fã, isso aqui tá barato, $16. Lógico que nem no Brasil, às vezes é um pouco mais salgado, né? $25. Bonitinho, muito mais que só por mesmo, gente, pega um link aqui, olha só, legal, ficou bonito. Quanto tá? Por free, $35. Ok, valor, tá, valor ok. Ah, $30, chutei $40, chutei $30, uma fotinha do meu bola aqui, ó, $25. Sensacional. Pra você que tá assistindo esse vídeo, pensando, poxa, como eu gostaria de estar nos Estados Unidos assistindo uma Copa do Mundo, disputando tudo que esse país pode proporcionar, acredite que um dia você vai estar aqui, você vai lembrar desse vídeo, então, enquanto você
Everybody listen to that. Everyone is stuck speaking, maybe to few of you.
Muito bacana. FIFA 45. Muito legal. Bora lá, porque o jogo tá pra acabar. E eu quero ainda interagir com o pessoal que tá saindo aí do jogo, poder saber como é que o pessoal tá satisfeito. Não, eu sei que não seria um jogo fácil. E também vou trazer alguns comentaristas da rádio pra poder trazer mais informação pra gente, né? Pra essa bandeira dos Estados Unidos. Meu preço? $40. Top. Sensacional. Saída por ali. Estamos aqui na frente do estádio. A galera tá saindo. Nitidamente, não muito feliz, mas também não muito triste. Ciente que no estádio perdido. Ainda tem muita bola pra rolar. Vamos tentar conversar com o pessoal e sentir diretamente do torcedor também. Oscar, how about you? Also Oscar. Oh, really? That's nice. That's like, oh, that's amazing. Okay, guys, the question is, what do you think about today's game?
I think that excitement was there, all the fans were popping, everything was going according to plan. They had, amazing goal, crowd was crazy. Yeah, exciting place. Yeah, exciting place.
So, yeah, as you can see, we have like some, kind of Brazilians here. I think I wear like Brazilian shirt, so we're supporting Brazil today. So how about now, guys? Like, we didn't lose, we didn't win, so
I'm happy with it. This was the toughest game for the group stage. I have to turn it on next 2 weeks. Okay. Yeah, Morocco's, really, really good team. Probably like the hardest team in like the group stage for any other team to play. So even with the draws, okay.
Okay, so let's wait for the next game. Yeah, all right, thank you guys. That's me. E quanto tempo realmente o que aqui para português? Disney Parques. Ok, vamos lá, eu quero aprender português. O que você acha sobre o jogo? Você tá satisfeita? Tá animada? Como é que você
Pra ser bem sincera, eu tava travando isso, mas agora eu tô satisfeito, sabe? Eu acho que eu tentei mostrar pro Brasil, foi uma honra, mas tudo bem, melhor que a gente perder, né? O Marrocos jogou bem, a gente jogou bem também, mas tudo bem, agora as outras seleções são mais fortes.
Você esperava que você tinha estado quanto?
A gente tá 1-0 pro Brasil.
1-0 pro Brasil. Ok, então você tem que ser um jogo
não, esse é um jogo difícil, é o Marrocos. Os outros eu acho que vai ser fácil.
E esse é o primeiro jogo.
Esse é o primeiro jogo da Copa.
Você tá partiu, bem, game.
Okay, first very strong. Kind of going over as a Brazilian fan. And from there, Brazil picked up a little later and then held strong and then kind of in the middle and then tied us. Now we always want to get that. I'm pretty new soccer, so I was really close to everybody. It was a great game. The first World Cup ever, so that was very good. And next time out, in 4 years now, see you again, Portuguese.
Okay, great. Are you really support Brazil or just because you're Hi guys, it's a pleasure, nice to meet you, and enjoy the rest of the day. So, what do you think about Brazil? Do you like it? Today, are you Brazilian? I'm Okay, so what do you think about today's game? Are you happy? I'm very happy we won, but no, it happens. Not sure won, but okay, so what's next? We're gonna win the group, and then we're gonna go to round of 32, we're gonna win, and then we're gonna make it to the final against Spain, and we're gonna beat Spain in the final. Are you confident? And yeah, then we need more. He's gonna start crying. He's gonna pick Morocco. Okay, so you're France. How about your team, right? Yeah. How about you? What do you think about today's game?
It was a good match. I mean, because Brazil is new Brazil. Different players. College ball special. I'm not going to manage time. So I have hopes, but I need to see more because this is still the first time I actually really watched it, especially in person. Video was amazing. Video was very good. There's a lot of potential. I want to see everything back there. So we'll see. I have hopes, but I don't know. I didn't make it, so I'm happy about Brazil. So this is good for me. So your team is Brazil now. Yes, that was I see. Okay. Good. Next time, buddy. O Brasil não tá bem, não. Eu acho que tá faltando Neymar, viu? E o Neymar, a gente acha que vai ganhar o time. E ele também, tá faltando muito hoje. Qual foi a inspiração pro clube? Sempre eu faço alguma fantasia, tudo isso a gente faz. Muito bom, então. Então, tem que ser um pouco. Coisa boa, vamos ver? Daniel, prazer, que tem muita foto, senhor. Então, eu sei, galera, isso aqui com o amigo Lombardi, ele que é a voz mais famosa da nossa comunidade. Ele brilhantou o jogo de hoje, comentando, narrando. E ele é especialista. Eu fiquei falando de você, galera, foi agora um dos 20, selando tudo que a gente foi palpitando, pegando informação, galera. Fala pra gente, mas o que você foi desse jogo? Cara, eu achei um jogo tenso. Eu falei 1 a 1, semana atrás, meu palpite tá razão. Foi emoção, foi 2 a 1, razão, me faz ter que dizer 1 a 1 e não deu outro time de equilibrados. Tinha o Marrocos, tem jogadores especiais, o Marquinhos vai ter jogador, é o Barrinho, jogador de Madrid, enfim, mas hoje, camisa número 6, é um grande destaque, né? Ele foi melhor em campo, ele funcionou melhor, 18 anos de idade, o tempo todo. Então, mas é um jogo bem pra caramba. E o Brasil mexeu bem com o só faltou ele, talvez ele poderia colocar o de fogo, porque o Matheus Cunha não é esse cara, mas ia bem com ele, titular, tá tudo certo. Empatou, a Argentina não vai perder, então faz parte de um ambiente de Copa, primeiro jogo, essa tensão, se ambientar, depois você se soltar. Foi uma sensação importante, primeiro jogo do Brasil. Foi tudo isso, né? Alegria. E você merece, não só isso, lógico, foi esperado, já foi dificuldade, mas você tá falando, o Brasil fez o casa. Você acha que fez feio, errou muito, errou muito. Não pode fazer agora tem que fazer só o próximo jogo. Aí o jogo é fora, tem que pelo amor de Deus. Vamos deixar de estar então, o que a gente pode esperar? Tem que ser para primeiro lugar, para ser muito abaixo dessas novas seleções, uma seleções, é uma daquelas que a gente pode esperar, deixar contato com fazer isso. Então a gente sai com força total, muito mais. Depois desse primeiro lugar para a resposta, tá? O primeiro lugar para a resposta, é isso, foi o primeiro lugar para a resposta. Vocês com certeza vão continuar acompanhando na nossa rádio, todos os vídeos nesse vídeo, como é que se com eles, futebol, a Copa, então você tá democratizando o futebol, porque legal, assim, então quer dizer que o time vai mais encaixado mesmo, para todo mundo entender, eu não sou. Você está estudando, vai. Você aqui faz a gente querer, mas é um pouco mais. Se você tem legal, você faz, cara, esses bastidores, a Copa do Mundo sabe para isso, a Copa do Mundo, legal. Você faz os bastidores e tudo mais, mas o que a gente faz no microfone é muito legal e é bem legal essa movimentação aí. Você hoje, gente, é por conta desse cara, e tem a oportunidade, eu vou deixar inclusive Instagram, Lombardi, marcar embaixo, para você possa limpar o Lombardi. Com certeza você vai querer comprar nos Estados Unidos. Legal. Você pergunta disso, falou com vocês, legal. Com esse fundo aqui a gente tá se pedindo, mas eu preciso apresentar para vocês esse vídeo, que é o cérebro, o arquiteto por trás da nossa rádio, você pode levar assim, olha, eu sou Severino. Você vai entender, ela vai vender também aqui, ó, todo lugar, chama aí. Foi bom, experiência para vocês. E a gente tá muito boa, no final, eu vi ela saindo aqui, o pessoal otimista, o pessoal feliz, caiu também, sabe?
a voz boa. Boa, aí sim. Não, ele falou a verdade. Ele falou,
nós queríamos ter acertado, mas infelizmente...
Pois é, eu fiz o nome dele. Mas só fala pra não pronúncia.
Não, qual foi a experiência? Maravilhosa, maravilhosa. Fui fazer abertura, né? Eu tenho feito em alguns jogos, tenho feito em alguns jogos também no Mundial de Clubes, e agora podendo estar junto aqui fazendo essa abertura. Foram os ouvintes, que nos ouvem todo dia na rádio. É uma alegria. Eu costumo dizer o seguinte, Lucão, o futebol faz muitos exemplos pra gente. A gente aprende muito no futebol. Sabe, sobre a questão de personalidade, a questão de companheirismo, a questão de força e tarefa, a conjunto, a questão de disciplina, superação. Então eu acho que isso é muito legal. Eu não sou um narrador esportivo, eu não sou um apresentador esportivo, eu sou entusiasta do futebol, mas eu sou um pregador. Então assim, sempre que a gente faz, a gente procura de alguma forma extrair esse lado positivo dessa boa mensagem para as pessoas. E a gente tem como brasileiro apaixonado pelo futebol, então a gente tem essa oportunidade de poder através disso começa a proporcionar alegria e entretenimento pro torcedor, mas também de alguma forma trazer os princípios que são aprendidos durante o jogo e passar isso pro pessoal, e isso nos motiva a engajar em tudo isso.
Que legal, professor. Assim, eu sei que com certeza a gente pode sair muito mais dessa pergunta que eu vou fazer, mas brevemente se eu pudesse falar, da onde que surgiu? Só pra vocês entenderem, gente, eu acho que a nossa rádio é uma das únicas rádios brasileiras no mundo, é a única rádio brasileira, é a única rádio que vai dar, você pode dar aquela que você sintonia 7 carros, você vai no rádio mesmo, você pode ligar o seu rádio lá e colocar ele na sintonia. A gente precisa de rádio oficial brasileira, são 4 emissoras, a gente está muito feliz porque a gente consegue alcançar um grupo muito grande. Eu costumo dizer o seguinte, Lucão, a gente está vivendo um mundo digital, a gente está crescendo cada vez mais. Então não tem como você dar passos para trás, sim. Mas esses grandes veículos de rádio, de televisão, eles continuam comunicando com um grupo de pessoas muito grande. E hoje a gente consegue fazer esses veículos ir mais longe através do sinal digital, isso ganha uma ampliação e ao mesmo tempo faz com que a gente consiga fazer com que esses veículos consigam ainda existir uma nova geração, que é a geração digital. Então a gente acaba de alguma forma também sendo aquele que faz esse meio de campo entre, né? Fazer com que aqueles que são amantes do rádio, entusiastas do rádio, continuem ouvindo, continuem na rádio, hoje centenas de pessoas em todo tempo na nossa programação, no aplicativo, no dial, e ao mesmo tempo também nos nossos canais digitais acompanhando tudo isso, muito conteúdo você também, a minha ajuda e nosso carinho, nossa gratidão, uma coisa excepcional, tenho certeza que você fez, todo mundo aqui, você está acompanhando, e vamos passar. Esse é o primeiro de uma série de final. É só o primeiro, porque a gente ainda tem muito mais conteúdo, tá? A nossa rádio está marcada aqui na descrição, eu vou deixar o Instagram do pastor porque eu tô sabendo que o pastor vai começar a postar bastante coisa, eu tô começando a pegar dicas, eu fico informado, mas eu quero pegar dicas pra gente poder fazer uma movimentação maior. Gente, é muito legal ver e saber que o Brasil brasileiro está sendo representado por uma rádio que tem princípios, por uma rádio que é relevante, por uma rádio que tem tocado a comunidade brasileira, né? A comunidade migrantes que vivem aqui nos Estados Unidos. Então é muito legal, poder ter parte disso aqui, como eu já falei, eu não vi, mas ele é o pastor Glauco, vocês vão mais pra também. Então só pra me ver isso aqui, mostrar e trazer vocês os bastidores com mais, tem um pessoal comentando, você tá democratizando o futebol, porque não entende. Do jeito que eu falo, gente, isso aqui é ruim, ele é bom, porque fala que ele é mais sabe, sabe, porque o jogador do futebol é isso, todo mundo é técnico. É verdade, eu vou isso, opinião de todo mundo, ninguém tem razão de nada. É verdade, é isso mesmo. Então esperem por muito mais conteúdo junto com a nossa rádio, fiquem ligados, tamo junto e assim nós nos despedimos desse grande início, né? A bola só começou lá, tem muita coisa ainda por aí. Então, ó, beijo pra vocês, nossa colega, professor. Valeu, gente, vamos na nossa rádio e ouçam a nossa rádio. É isso aí, é nóis, fui.
I'm Russian collective country of Russia at the start of the war in Ukraine because it did not agree with my government was doing. Right now, I live in the European Union in Portugal. Even though I myself am not a sanctioned person, I'm a Russian oligarch. I'm not connected to the government or the army in any way. As a Russian citizen living in the European Union, I am sanctioned because all Russians are sanctioned in general. Right now, unfortunately, these sanctions on Russian citizens threaten my financial security, my ability to have a bank account, and even stay legally in the European Union. You see, for the past few years, Europe has been introducing new restrictions on Russians who specifically live in the European Union and are trying to escape Russia and building a life over here. At first, Europe introduced a limit of 100,000 euros per account for a Russian citizen who resides here and has an account in Europe, which most people didn't pay too much attention to. I guess, it's something that affects only a very select few. And people thought, at least they're not closing our accounts or anything. Well, now it's gotten to that point. And because Russia has been recently added to a list of high-risk jurisdictions regarding money laundering and all sorts of activity, and also because Europe just introduced a new restriction where Russians now can only have a bank account in Europe with a European residency, Russians who actually even have residency in Europe are getting banned left and right. And this actually, for example, affected me and thousands of other people here in Portugal. Because these new restrictions on Russian citizens come out all the time, the banks in Europe basically cannot adapt to them, and the people at the banks absolutely do not know what they're doing. And it seems like for a lot of banks, it's easier to simply just ban all Russians altogether. And this is exactly what's happening here right now. Portugal's biggest governmental bank, Caixa Geral de Depósitos, has recently mass banned thousands of Russians who even have residency from the bank. And it's very important to us Russians living here in Portugal because, well, even with Portuguese residency, it's actually almost impossible to open bank accounts here. Even though a bank is technically supposed to open an account for you when you have residency, I guess that rule only works when you're not Russian. And the biggest bank, Caixa, which is the only one that was able to open an account here in Portugal, just mass banned like literally everybody. And all us Russians are basically trying to fix it right now, save our bank accounts, and sell to the bank that we actually do have residencies and we do have the right to have a bank account in Europe. But I honestly feel like it's not looking so good. And I know this might be very well an issue of Portuguese bureaucracy, and apparently I heard that it's not as bad in Spain, for example. However, I do think that the fact that this is happening is ridiculous. And I want to use this opportunity to talk about how Europe is extremely keen on destroying the lives and making the lives of Russians trying to escape Putin and escape the Russian government and escape being part of the Russian army as hard as possible. The thing is, these things already making it more difficult for Russians to escape Russia. People ended up in ridiculous situations. For example, when I came here, I actually was able to open an account for myself while I was still waiting for my residency. If you're in Portugal, it can take a while. It can take like a year to get, which it took for me. But now once again, with the new EU rules, you can only open a bank account if you already have European residency, which creates a Kafkaesque loop for a lot of people who are trying to move here. For example, students. As far as I know, to get a student visa and residency here in Portugal, you need to show them that you have a local Portuguese bank account. So in order to get residency, you need to have a bank account. But in order to get a bank account, you need residency. You know what I'm saying? And again, I really do fail to see how these restrictions are supposed to stop the oligarchs and the children of Putin's officials from spending their dirty money in Europe. They all have European passports already, guys. I really do not see how making the life of Russians who already live here in Europe already have residency possible, or making it more impossible for Russians to leave the hellhole for Europe is somehow making a huge impact on Vladimir Putin. He's shaking his boots over this. And actually, like a group chat, a lot of Russians right now are discussing this, how to get on ban basically. And I'm hearing crazy things. I'm hearing that this even affects like people who have asylum, protection from Europe, like people, for example, the LGBT community, which is now considered terrorist and extremists in Russia. There's cases when people come here for asylum, who are supposed to be protected by Europe, and yet they're getting their bank accounts banned and they're losing their access to basic necessities. And I just think that's insane. Like, how insane is that? Escaping persecution in Russia only to be marginalized here in Europe. That's insane to me. Imagine being LGBT Russian being persecuted for who you are, and then you come to Europe and you are being persecuted for who you are. Just, for a different part of who you are. Really good. And by the way, here's the best part of all this. Again, it's somebody who's been living here in Portugal for 2 years now, who has a residency here. I'm actually gonna have to prolong it pretty soon. I'm gonna have to apply again to get a new one. Except the great part is that now I can actually have issues with my immigration process if I do lose access to Portuguese banking. Because here in Portugal, once again, to prolong your residency, in many cases, you do need to show that you have a Portuguese local bank account. It can be different depending on like the type of visa you have, I think. So I'm a digital nomad one, and maybe I'll have a bit more of a chance there. Maybe they'll accept other EU banks like neobanks like Banco Revolut, right? But the thing is, you cannot even have any confidence in Revolut too, because they have to follow the same exact EU guidelines and rules. And right now, once again, if a Russian has a bank account, and if he loses his European residency, and once again, here in Europe, in Portugal, for example, at least, it can take a year to get a new residency to prolong it. There's a very big possibility that when my residency here runs out, I might even lose access to Revolut, for example. And then essentially what? I don't have like a bank account in Europe to show to the immigration service to prove that I have the rights and I fulfill the legal obligations of staying here. It's fucking great. I love it, guys. Thank you once again. Thank you Europe for looking out for me as a Russian who's escaping Putin. Thank you, guys. And again, the big problem here is that these restrictions that the EU is imposing, yes, they're not great, but on paper they don't seem that bad, right? On paper, Russians with residency can actually have more than 100K in their accounts. They can have an account in general, right? They do have the ability to have one. However, when it comes to actually dealing with banks in European countries, once again, many of the banks don't care. They don't want to adapt to these regulations. They don't have a system in place to do decent enough compliance check for Russians, I guess. And what happens is that it's actually impossible to get the banks to comply with EU regulations. Because, for example, about the 100K thing, I already made a video about that. It's no longer a relevant problem for me because I wasted a lot of money. But when I was here at the bank in Portugal, trying to tell them that I can't have more than 100K in my accounts, even have residency, I couldn't get any help. It was absolutely impossible to actually break through the bureaucracy and make them do what they have to do according to EU regulations. People in banks simply just do not know what to do when a Russian comes in with these issues. It's not something that they deal with every day. And once again, I can only talk about my experience here in Portugal, but I'm pretty sure this is an issue that exists, EU-wide across the whole union. And once again, I truly do not understand how making life worse for Russians trying to escape Russia is supposed to somehow ruin the Russian economy or like stop Putin. It feels like Europe is essentially just telling us Russians, well, trying to be normal citizens here. Many of us, like myself, for example, I don't even have any financial ties to Russia anymore. I don't receive outstanding payments there whatsoever. Okay, we're trying to be normal citizens, we're trying to abide by the law, we're trying to pay the taxes, do everything right, just to build a life for ourselves. Because we really just want to be a normal country. Okay, but I guess Europe is just pretty much showing to us that we're not welcome, and we're never going to be welcome no matter how we try and what we do, just because of the country that we were born in, that we did not choose to be born. I don't remember choosing to be born in Russia. Fucking ridiculous. And once again, the Putin spies and the oligarchs and their children, they already have the passports that they need to get here. Okay, Vladimir Putin's daughter is like being a DJ in Paris, for Christ's sake. What are we talking about, bro? And I already know that a lot of people are going to leave the comments saying, Roman, it's terrible, but you have to understand these sanctions are needed to make Russians overthrow Vladimir Putin. And I'm like, I guess, bro. First of all, how exactly are these
sanctions on people who live in Europe are supposed to make Russians inside Russia or Putin get mad. Russians inside Russia don't give a shit about these sanctions. They're literally not effective. It's not affecting them whatsoever. It's affecting people that are trying to actively leave Russia, to actively cut ties with it. Let's say. It comes to like, you're telling me that these measures that are ruining our life here are going to make us mad at Vladimir Putin, so we come back. back to Russia to overthrow him? Is that what you're saying, bro? We left Russia because we know it's a hopeless country, okay? That's why we're here. And we just want to live, okay? We just want to be left alone. That's really all we want, bro. Let me live my life, please. On God. You can also say that these measures are meant to restrict the flow of Russian dirty money in Europe and to stop the scamming and everything, right, going on. Because Russians are doing shady stuff. I mean, isn't banning people from using basic bank accounts and, like, using credit cards, isn't that they, like, force people to use more shady shit, and hide their money in cryptocurrencies and not pay taxes? You know what I mean? You're literally doing the opposite of what you preach. I think the overwhelming majority of Russians, especially those that left Russia after the start of the Ukraine war, who came here to Europe, these are super educated, super, highly earning people who are willing to pay taxes, who are willing to do everything legally, just as long as you let us do it. Just let us do it, please, please. Just let us do it, guys. For Christ's sake, man. And all this, it feels insanely dehumanizing and, like, just terrible to experience. For my whole life, as somebody who once again kind of appreciated the West, I've been told stories about freedom, equality, and opportunity. Land of opportunity. Hey, Nico, my cousin, welcome. That's why I was hearing about the West, okay? And now that I actually come here, they treat us like subhumans. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. That's how it feels. At this point, like, I just want to have a break, bro. Like, the bullshit never ends. Being a Russian in the West right now really feels like being stuck between a rock and a hard place where your own country wants you, in prison or on the front line, right? But then here, they're also making our lives fucking impossible. And I can't even lie, once again, just seeing how broken the bureaucracy has been regarding this right here, it's kind of once again making me consider leaving Portugal and possibly even leaving Europe as a whole. I mean, I don't know, once again, I don't know how much of this is the issue of bureaucracy here in particular, or the issue with the bank. It may just be, well, one bank. And I heard it's slightly better once again, like Spain, although it's pretty difficult to get information about this kind of stuff. It's all just kind of he say, she say, just people's experiences. But experiences can be very different from many people. It's very random what happens, with these bank accounts and the way this stuff works. So yeah, like, I honestly do not know what to do right now. I have no solution. I do not know what the next right step for me is, okay? Which is that I did not expect it for it to be this bad and to be treated like this. Like, more than anything, I'm just feeling extremely burnt out, like depressed, and again, it feels like my entire life and like everything I've done, all the choices I've made have been a mistake, and it's all been a lie, basically. And yeah, it's not doing wonders to my mental health, guys, because it does not feel great to not have your basic, like, security needs met. And once again, I already know there's gonna be a certain type of comments on this video who's gonna call me an entitled complaining Russian who wants, special privileges just for wanting a basic bank account to pay for my bills, okay? And so you people have to say, I no longer care. Once again, I will be no longer gaslit into not talking about things that infringe on my rights. I want to talk about issues that affect me and my people being the Russians who left Russia and are trying to build a life, a normal, peaceful life here in Europe. I will not be gaslit into silence and, celebrating my own rights being crushed. Once again, I came here expecting Western freedom and opportunity, okay? And now that I come here and I don't get it, and I talk about it, and I exercise my free speech and exercise democracy by talking about it, I get called like a complaining Russian with a typical Russian mindset, asking for handouts and, asking for privileges. I really don't think so, buddy. Having a bank account is not a privilege. It's a basic necessity in the year that we live in. In that time, if you don't have a bank account, you can't do anything. I find it ridiculous that I'm in a position where I have to explain to people having a basic bank account is not some kind of privilege or luxury. But I guess if you're Russian living in the EU at this point, it is. And really, honestly, guys, the saddest thing about all this is that I do not have any, I don't have any hope that the situation is going to get better. First of all, I completely and fully realize that this is not a bug of the system. It's the system working as intended. Once again, Europe is showing us that it does not consider us human beings, basically. And let's be honest, Europe has already enough problems, and nobody's going to care about Russian issues. Nobody in Europe is going to cry for Russians that cannot get their bank accounts because nobody cares, okay? And there's also like no group of people in no organization that's going to represent us Russians and like defend our rights or whatever and speak for us. There's just none. Because number one, nobody cares, and number two, if you do, you're just going to be called a Kremlin bot who wants special privileges for, they all secretly convert Z Russians who are actually all sleeper cells and agents of Vladimir Putin. Even people like me, even I get called a fucking Putin propagandist. What the fuck is wrong with you? I just want a fucking bank account, bro. It's not that deep, bro. It's really not. Western media is not going to report on this either because once again they have other issues to talk about. Who cares about us? And also, what I do find very interesting is that even the Russian opposition and a lot of people who left Russia who now live in Europe, like nobody's talking about this. Nobody wants to talk about this, and I find it fucking insane. I really do not understand why they're not talking about these issues whatsoever because I guess they're scared that talking about these issues is going to get the wrong audience mad at them or something. Because once again, if you defend the rights of Russians who left Russia, you now become a Kremlin bot, of course, right? So maybe perhaps I don't know. Maybe it's because a lot of these Russian opposition people have Israeli passports, so they don't encounter these sanctions whatsoever. Which is by the way interesting. It's a bit of an interesting hypocrisy there, isn't it? That Russia's basically a dictatorship, right? So people have no say in anything, and all of us are somehow responsible for all actions of Vladimir Putin. And we all have to be sanctioned, and our lives have to be destroyed. But Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East, right? But somehow the citizens of Israel are not responsible for what their government is doing. They don't have to be sanctioned. We should give them the benefit of the doubt. It makes a lot of sense to me, guys. Yes. And others people are going to say, oh, Israel is not attacking a country in Europe. Israel is not bombing a country in Europe right now. I mean, I guess, bro. Once again, like that's a weird way to admit that you only care when white people get bombed. And also Israel right now is like detaining European citizens and like torturing them and still nothing. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's not looking great, is it? It's not looking fair. Anyway, we're not going to pay attention there. What I'm saying is nobody's going to talk about this. The Russian opposition, the so-called people who are supposed to represent Russians in these like European organizations, they're not going to talk about it either because they do not care. So once again, I have absolutely zero illusions. I know that the system is working as intended. I know this is their plan. Okay. I know they don't want us here. I know that the people are not on our side and no help is coming. Nobody is going to help and it's not going to get better. Okay. Because it's not planned to get better. Actually, the plan is to make it worse and introduce even more shit. And I'm pretty sure like soon enough, he's going to come to a point where these restrictions are going to get unbearable. And the only option for a Russian that's trying to build a life for himself is going to be just to leave. And once again, it's extremely depressing to me because living in Europe is like a lifelong dream of mine. And I really do appreciate a lot of things about being here. I love traveling in Europe. It's been the greatest thing that moving here has given me. Once again, it's a great cultural experience and everything. Getting to meet so many cool people and everything, seeing things, going to concerts, like I don't know, being part of the world community. Okay. It's all like we Russians who are normal. It's all we long for. Okay. But unfortunately, things continue going like this. There's almost no choice but to leave, and consider your options. Because again, being Russian in Europe right now feels like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it for my rant today. I felt like it's important to talk about. And again, I do fail to see how ruining our lives is going to help stop Vladimir Putin. If you guys are willing.
Yep. Oh well. Yeah. Yeah. I think, if I'm not wrong, there was some news that Trump kinda wanted every single bank to audit everybody's legal stay in the US. Pretty much every bank said that no, that's pretty much insane and impossible. Pretty much doesn't make fucking sense. Pretty much hard to just audit everybody. It would cost so much, would take so long. It's just impractical. It's not even beneficial to the economy and so on. So instead, what he's doing now is just forcing everybody to just, if you're gonna file your taxes, you're gonna have to just tell whether or not you have a legal stay in here. Just oh, also, yeah, next year, I guess another ban wave, another deportation wave. It's gonna happen, just like was in Minnesota and other parts of the country. It's just, the banks cannot just do that the IRS now is forcing everybody to just double check their IDs. What else? Yeah, I know I'm forcing everybody with a pending immigration process to return to the country. Apparently now you cannot apply for permanent residency for the green card if you just self-deport yourself first, which is insane. Ugh, god damn it. Ugh. Yeah, it's just simple. As simple as that. God damn it, to just go from point A to point B to just point B to point C. And then when the list of nowhere, another country will have another shitty immigration policies as well, soon enough. It's so hard to trust a fucking nation to just not fuck with your life. You just wanna help you just wanna help yourself so you can help everybody else. But it's just a stupid allergic reaction a bunch of people have to immigrants. It's just so nonsensical. No, you're taking my job. You're taking my house. You're not gonna take my possibility of death and death. And they don't give enough thoughts to that. It's just nope, it's just my political bias, and I don't feel like ever challenging that. I don't feel like ever thinking about it, ever criticizing it in any way whatsoever. Because that's how I've been taught to believe. I have a bunch of friends that also believe in all the shitty political bias that I have. There's no way I can change that type of person. Yeah. It sucks. I think to myself, I don't have much of a future at this rate. Sucks to be caught on a net, on this stupid net, where you're gonna be marginalized into oblivion like a subhuman. So yeah. I don't even feel safe going outside anymore with all the stupid surveillance crap. No way. Even before that, I was feeling safe enough to just get a fucking job. So yeah, it's just staying unemployed, being blackmailed by a stupid idiot and not being able to do anything about it. Fucking sucks. And then you just stay home, maybe go outside a little. You cannot even go outside anymore. Best you can do is just try not to die too soon. Try to not wither and die. But yeah, it's kind of an impossible task. So I just stopped caring about the future. I live the present while still lasts. Yeah. Well, anyway.
To educate me in the comments, please go on, but I'll go and have a beer or something to cool down and wind off. See you folks. We wanted to be remembered in gaming history. SNK, 1999. 1 year later, the Neo Geo Pocket was dead. SNK was purchased by a massive pachinko corporation who gutted them from the bottom up. Games were pulled off shelves and deleted. Developers got reassigned to work on gambling machines. Most chose to flee instead. The talent and culture they built over decades scattered to the wind. It turned out the buyer only cared about SNK's characters, so they could slap them on pachinkos, and they would have rotted away in gambling parlors forever if it wasn't for one man. What happened next is gaming's greatest revenge story. Some of you have never heard of SNK or their consoles from the 90s. Their last being the Neo Geo Pocket, one of the finest handhelds ever made. It was the first with a thumbstick, and is still celebrated as having the best handheld controls of all time. It had a higher quality screen that was bigger and displayed more colors than the Game Boy, longer battery too, and it sold for an even lower price. The console connected to the Dreamcast, and some say it had the best launch year lineup in history. Unfortunately, it only got 1 year. To understand the history, identity, and what really happened to this murdered handheld, we've got to start at the beginning. This is the full story of the Neo Geo Pocket. Eiichi Kawasaki was born in the Japanese Empire during World War II. In his youth, he was a professional boxer. Later, he transitioned to business and acquired a struggling electronics company. He renamed it Shin Neon Kikaku, the New Japan Project, or SNK for short. In 1978, Space Invaders hit and changed everything. Arcades were packed and raking in billions, while Taito manufactured thousands of cabinets a day just to meet demand. Invader houses were springing up quicker than you could count them, and a future generation of developers were inside. From Miyamoto to Satoshi Tajiri, people called it the Invader Boom. And it's what convinced Nintendo to go all in on video games. Kawasaki saw the light too. From that day forward, his tiny electronics firm was now in the arcade business. Early SNK games were mostly Space Invader style shooters with refinements and innovations. Kawasaki led development with a team of 12. They described it as hands-on with a samurai spirit. He sent them around the world in pairs to get the games into local arcades. America, Brazil, China. He was ambitious. As the team grew, they expanded to more genres like Ikaru Warriors, a running gun, where your mission is to rescue a captured general, who at the end is revealed to be Kawasaki. The game was so popular, it got ported to virtually every system on the planet, from PC to Famicom. In fact, about a dozen other arcade games came to the Famicom.
Famicom. The Famicom was, after all, originally a port machine for Nintendo's arcade titles. Like Donkey Kong, initially they didn't expect there to be any third parties, but SNK was one of the first to sign up. They made exclusives for it too, like the post-apocalypse adventure, Chris Dallas. They also made great sports games, like Baseball Stars, that innovative team building and RPG elements still prevalent today. But while Nintendo transitioned to living rooms, SNK's focus stayed squarely in arcades. Back then, they were social hubs where people would spend all day with their friends. It was a time and a place, a culture that unfortunately doesn't really exist anymore. 5 miles across town, there was another company that grew out of the invader boom. Capcom. Their designer, Takashi Nishiyama, made the very first beat 'em up, Kung Fu. Then he created Street Fighter. Kawasaki had bad blood with Capcom's founder, and as a former boxer, he correctly predicted fighting games as the future of arcades. So he poached Nishiyama and most of his Street Fighter team, promising them higher salaries, unrestricted budgets, and creative freedom. Nishiyama didn't like his old boss and was happy to the fact I was able to do everything I wanted at SNK. He remembers. In that sense, I was able to work in my ideal environment. You can kind of think of him as SNK's version of Miyamoto. In fact, it was Miyamoto who directed the Famicom port of Nishiyama's Kung Fu, which he credited as influence on Super Mario Bros. And even informed the combat of Zelda 2. Before long, Nishiyama had an idea. Arcade cabinets with cartridges you could swap out like a console. It gave arcade owners up to 6 cabinets in one, saving floor space and multiplying profits. The Neo Geo multi-video system launched in 1990 and quickly filled the world's arcades. They also made a console version, the Neo Geo Advanced Entertainment System, that offered the full arcade experience at home. Not like an arcade. It was the actual arcade hardware. SNK prioritized quality above all else and made no compromises. The AES was far more powerful than the Super Nintendo, which wasn't even out yet. More colors, bigger sprites, better sound, and more. It came with a price tag though, $650, and games cost at least $200 pop. As highlighted power over standard consoles with Neo Geo slogan, the future is now. But they weren't actually taking on the likes of Nintendo. Nintendo was out of the mass market. Neo Geo was aimed at a niche of arcade enthusiasts, the most diehard 1%. You know, like Masayo Sakurai.
Single game cost about 30,000 yen. That's expensive. But if you think about it, compared to playing a game in the arcade 300 times at 100 yen per play, you're getting your money's worth. At the time, some people thought this was cheap.
The mass market bought 50 million Super Nintendos. AES only sold 500,000, but for SNK, that was success. A wave of fighters came to the Neo Geo at home and at the arcade, starting with Fatal Fury. It was everything Nishiyama wanted Street Fighter 2 to be, but Capcom wouldn't have allowed. Instead of random locations, it all takes place in crime in Southtown, Florida. Stories at the forefront. As Terry Bogard seeks revenge, a crime lord who murdered his father. It has multiple planes of movement, and you can even play the entire story mode cooperatively with a friend. They also made a 1970s prequel series called Art of Fighting and Samurai Showdown with weapons fighters based on historical figures and demons from 18th century Japan. There was more series as well, all with distinct vibes and gameplay. By now, Capcom released their own
Oh, your
Japanese
quarters,
games,
the credits.
went down to fans who called each other names like Capcom.
The intention to make those games so insufferably difficult
Kawasaki opened Neo Geo Land in 1992, a 3-floor arcade packed with
to make a waste quarters.
and memorabilia you can find anywhere else. Fans flocked to it like Mecca, playing late into the night. They got to playtest unreleased games and tell developers what to change before launch. It was an open secret that Kawasaki hid cameras in the ceiling and behind screens to watch players' faces. If they looked frustrated, they meant the game was too difficult. If they were having a blast, he knew it was just right. A little weird maybe, but it was all part of the development process. Neo Geo Land was so popular that people couldn't get in, so Kawasaki opened 2 more Neo Geo Lands in the same neighborhood. Capcom routinely sent guys undercover to see what they were up to. SNK sent their own spies. It was a war, but even with all of SNK versus Street Fighter, they were still the underdog. Then, in 1994, they had a breakthrough idea. A tag team fighter combined SNK series into one ultimate game, the King of Fighters. Mega crossovers are common nowadays, but back then it had never been done before. It was an expensive, ambitious project with highly detailed stages and dozens of characters redrawn from scratch. But in the end, it all paid off. The King of Fighters 94 won Arcade Game of the Year and brought them neck and neck with Capcom. It became an annual franchise, adding refinements and more characters with every sequel. Iconic locations like Neo Geo Land became stages. It was sort of the Smash Brothers of its era. In fact, Sakurai himself was there, winning 50 fights in a row and feeling guilty for destroying noobs who got in his way. Fighting games were now SNK's bread and butter. But they made other games too, like the Running Gun series with a sense of humor, Metal Slug, and sports games like Neo Turf Masters, letting impeccable atmosphere with quick and accessible arcade gameplay. Other companies started making Neo Geo games too. Even the company who made Space Invaders, Taito, jumped on board. The mid-90s was SNK's golden era. They were fighting the arcade wars, but not the console wars. They weren't hoarding exclusives either, and most of the blockbusters got ported to Nintendo, Sega, and Sony systems. They were inferior to the Neo Geo versions, but brought in extra revenue regardless. Kawasaki invested their winnings into some big projects to secure the future, or rather, he hoped to secure the future. The first project was a console aimed at lower-income arcade fans. The Neo Geo CD. It played the same games as the AES, but now on a $50 disc. They had gorgeously remade soundtracks with CD quality sound. Unfortunately, the CD format also gave some games horrendous load times. Neo Geo CD did sell a little more than the AES. SNK wasn't expecting mass market, but they did expect to sell a few million. Kawasaki's next investment didn't pan out either, as home consoles were growing more powerful. Arcade attendance was falling, but even arcade goers were being bored of 2D and flocking to 3D games like Sega's Virtua Fighter. So SNK made a 3D cabinet of their own. Unfortunately, SNK had little to no experience in 3D engineering, so it ended up too expensive with lackluster graphics. Reviewers called it primitive. And even bigger bet was the SNK themed amusement park, Neo Geo World. Actually, there were 3 of them. Encouraged by the success of Neo Geo Land, Kawasaki aspired to become the Disney of arcades. As we said, he was ambitious. SNK was especially popular in Latin America thanks to the CT years before. So he opened a Neo Geo World in Brazil, another in Kanto, and the biggest was in Palatown, Tokyo. It was the crown jewel, scheduled to open the same day as his final investment on the launch day of the Neo Geo Pocket. Yes, we finally reached the focus of this video. That was a lot of history, but the build-up is necessary to understand the Pocket's identity, its library, and Kawasaki's crusade after it died. Interviews don't give a date, but development appears to have started around 1996 when the handheld space was wide open. Game Boy killed everything else, but by now it was 7 years old and barely selling anymore. Nintendo developed 0 games for it over the past year. Not only was the market soft, but Kawasaki seen how Game Boy succeeded the past generation. All its rivals had the advantage of color and backlit displays, but Game Boy had a low price, longer battery, and most importantly, great games. Neo Geo Pocket would do all of that too, and more. Now you might notice this video doesn't have a lot of photos of Kawasaki, and that's because only a handful are known to exist. We couldn't find a single video, and he's never granted interviews. Staff said he preferred the development floor to public appearances, so he's a rather mysterious figure. Most of what we do know comes from his employees. When it comes to the Neo Geo Pocket, Kawasaki's thinking was conveyed by SNK spokesman Soichiro Takatsu. As an aside, he's a stark contrast to Nintendo spokesman. Yoshiro Hongo had the air of a wholesome Japanese dad, while Takatsu looks straight out of the crazy 88. Its price is emblematic of the company's style and identities. Don't get us wrong though, Takatsu's a cool guy and cameo in a game we'll talk about later. He explained the Neo Geo Pocket's intentions in Famitsu magazine. Simply put, it would bring the arcade to the palm of your hand, and it was the latest evolution of what the fans wanted. He said 10 years ago, fans asked for an arcade at home, so they gave him the AES. Some fans said it was too expensive, so they made the Neo Geo CD. Now, in the age of cell phones, everything was getting smaller, so the fans asked for a handheld arcade. But we can't just release something identical to pre-existing handhelds. Said Takatsu, we have to offer a different kind of experience. By the way, SNK series did get Game Boy remakes in the mid-90s. They reviewed well, but were clearly limited by hardware. Takatsu continued, quote, there's no point in making the same thing, so we pursued something new, improved it, and built it. Ultimately, the core principle is that we can't betray the Neo Geo name, so the graphics and power have to live up to the brand's high standards. We can't compromise on that. If we bend on that point, our fans will walk away, so we absolutely won't do it. End quote. Nintendo revealed the Game Boy Pocket in mid-96, so it's unclear SNK knew about it when they started development. They must have been aware of it throughout though, so let's see how the 2 pockets stack up. Graphically, the Neo's got twice Game Boy's bits and twice the main shade of gray. It's also got twice the battery life with 20 hours compared to Game Boy's 10. The speaker's louder and the controls are better too. The Neo Geo Pocket was the first handheld to ever have a thumbstick, and is still regarded as one of the best of all time, if not the best. It's spring-loaded, 8-way directional, and audibly clicks with every tactile snap. Every input is precise and repeatable, perfect for arcade-style games, especially fighters. As far as pocketability, the Neo Geo Pocket is a tiny bit smaller, but heavier due to the higher-end components, and the build quality feels more premium in your hands. In October '98, it launched for $65, 10 more than the Game Boy Pocket. Unfortunately, it was kind of outdated by the time it was finished. A new mass-market handheld was coming soon, the Wonder Swan. So Nintendo made the Game Boy Color at lightning speed to beat its market. Neo Geo would show late to the party and in black and white. Being a low-end alternative wasn't their style, so SNK announced a bigger, better color model was coming soon. Then they only made about 50,000 Neo Geo Pockets as a stopgap till the color was ready. Unlike the next model, only sold it in Japan. As a result, the original Neo Geo Pocket turned out to be a historical footnote. A few months later, the Neo Geo Pocket Color had arrived with more upgrades than you'd expect. It managed to double the battery life to 40 hours. Game Boy Color only got 10 hours using the same 2 batteries. The screen was 20% bigger than Nintendo's and higher quality. SNK made a custom TFT that's clearer, sharper, and brighter. They were so proud of it. They printed specs right on the screen, and it had triple the on-screen colors. The audio tech hadn't changed since the first model, but let's take a moment to compare with Nintendo's. Like the original Pocket, it had an internal clock for games that used real time. It was the first handheld with a home screen. If you powered out a Game Boy without a cartridge, it simply wouldn't play. Do the same with the Neo Geo Pocket Color, and after the boot animation, you're taken to a dashboard with theme music, a clock, calendar, horoscope, and you can even use it as an alarm clock. I do. It was kind of like a home console. It contributed to the feel of a more premium device. You could change language system settings, and some games language switch too, making it more import friendly. At launch, it sold for $70, 10 less than the Game Boy Color. How did SNK pull it off? By selling it at a loss and making a profit with game sales, which were typically $5 to $10 more than Game Boy games. I guess you could say it's consistent with SNK's history of high-end games with higher-end prices. Nintendo's strategy was different. Cheaper hardware and games, all priced to make a profit. Just to be clear though, SNK did not intend it as a direct competitor. They've never been console warriors, and publicly praised the Game Boy Color, saying the world's big enough for more than one handheld. And by all accounts, Nintendo didn't see them as a threat like previous systems. The Neo Geo Pocket Color wasn't aimed at the mass market. Game Boy sold about 120 million units. The Neo Geo Pocket Color Scroll was only 6 million. It wasn't trying to beat the Game Boy, just live alongside it. SNK also had a different target audience than Nintendo. Game Boy was mostly aimed at kids and young teenagers. Commercials with bright colors aired between Saturday morning cartoons and music videos. The Neo Geo Pocket Color was targeting older teens and adults with high hardware standards and a different taste in games. Commercials had a darker tint and broadcast mostly at night. This one in particular turns some heads.
I'm not the boy. I'm not the boy. I'm not the boy.
There were other commercials too, but some saw this one as a declaration of war against the Game Boy. I suppose you could interpret it that way, said Picasso. Honestly, I did have some doubts. Like, is this okay? But the Neo Geo Pocket Color is fundamentally different. It targets an older age group, saying you're not a boy anymore. Kids transitioning from reading boys magazines to young adult magazines. We wanted to have it, but yeah, I'm sure there's definitely that provocative meaning too. That stirred up some buzz for the Neo Geo Pocket Color, and that's the purpose of marketing. And if you look back, NES commercials were just as provocative a decade before, but no Neo Geo system was ever trying to defeat Nintendo. It was all just marketing to get their target audience's attention. Now that we've talked about the hardware and its objectives, let's look at peripherals. The Neo Geo Pocket Color got a lot from third parties, like Warmlights and Rumble speakers, but we'll just touch on the main three that SNK made themselves. First was a link cable, similar to Nintendo, so while only a small number of Game Boy games made use of it, the vast majority of the Neo Geo Pocket Color's library were built around link features. It was more of a core focus. There was also the wireless communication unit, kind of like what the Game Boy Advance got 5 years later, except that up to 64 people could connect at once. And it had some unique single-player functions as well, like picking up random radio waves, flying through the air to unlock goodies. A really cool idea, but only a few games used it. The most interesting peripheral came through a partnership with Sega. We have to join hands, said Picasso. Otherwise, we won't survive in the game industry going forward. Every man for himself won't work. Their alliance brought Sonic to the Neo Geo Pocket Color and arcade ports to the Dreamcast. The ads wrote themselves with the system link cable. You could connect the most powerful console on the market with the most powerful handheld. Core content wasn't gated behind the system link. It was typically stuff like art galleries, in-game bonuses, and early unlocks. Also, a lot of games had versus points, which are like coins in Smash Bros. Melee. For example, if you had King of Fighters on both systems, you could transfer versus points from one game to another. Then use them to buy stuff like support characters and special moves for your custom fighter. Unfortunately, only a dozen games ended up actually using the system link. This is due to the apocalypse scenario that we'll talk about later. But of course, advanced tech doesn't mean anything if the games are good. Fortunately, SNK knew that. We didn't talk about the Neo Geo Pocket's library because it was so short-lived. There was good stuff, but most of them got re-released in color anyway. So now let's look at the Neo Geo Pocket Color's genres and best games. We should know this system didn't launch in America and Europe until late '99. Some games were Japan only, but every game we're about to talk about did release in English. King of Fighters R2 was a launch title, widely regarded as the best handheld fighter ever at the time of its release. 14 characters, link cable multiplayer, lots of unlockables, and of course the Dreamcast system link. Given SNK's background, it should come as no surprise that fighters were the Neo Geo Color's biggest strength. Every game offered something different though, from the weapons-based Samurai Showdown to the more casual SNK Gals fighters. You might not expect to see puzzle games in an arcade, but in the 90s, MVS had a lot of them. Some got ported to the handheld, like Bust a Move and Magical Drop. More popular though was a game that didn't come from the arcade, a launch title called Puzzle Link, where you shoot and connect falling colors and make them disappear before you get crushed. There was a sequel as well, and IGN scored both of them 9 out of 10. They also liked Crush Roller, which is kind of like a Pac-Man Splatoon had a baby. There were cross-platform puzzlers too, like Shanghai Mini and Sega's Puyo Puyo, but right now we're only highlighting exclusives. SNK always had great sports games, and the Neo Geo Pocket Color had a good variety, from baseball stars and soccer to pocket tennis and wrestling. Neo Turf Masters is generally considered the best, retaining everything that made the arcade version so great while adding new features like link cable versus and club trading. With 6 unique characters, 54 holes, and random win patterns, a lot of Neo Geo Pocket Color fans dumped countless hours into it. There was also a pair of Metal Slug games. Reviews applauded first mission for putting one arcade action in the palm of your hands, and scored it a 9. Second missions even better, with twice as many levels, more weapons and vehicles, and branching paths for replayability. Arcades and RPGs don't mix, so the Neo Geo Pocket Color didn't get many. There were some good ones though. Ogre Battle came in a console bundle, and BioWare Neutron made headlines as basically Pokemon with robots, and former Squaresoft devs made Falsified, a mech tactics game set in the ruins of World War III. It's widely considered the Neo Geo Pocket Color's best RPG, and legendary because the English version did release in the UK, but American copies got deleted in the Pachinko Apocalypse. Thanks to the Sega Alliance, SNK got to make their own Sonic, supervised by Nishiyama and Sonic Teams Yuji Naka. It's sort of a reimagining of Sonic 2, but the stage designs are all new. It's also got unique single-player features and link cable versus modes. IGN famously said Sonic was never good, but they scored this one 10 out of 10. Speaking of alliances, around launch, Nishiyama set up a meeting with Street Fighter's producer Yoshiki Yakamoto. We talked about putting the past behind us, he remembers, and the idea came up of us combining our forces. Yakamoto thought the idea was very interesting. Then he convinced Kawasaki to bury the hatchet too, and thus SNK vs. Capcom was born. The first game in this collaboration is not what you might expect. Instead of a fighter, the game played more like Pokemon TCG for the Game Boy. You earn booster packs, collect cards, and battle opponents at places like Neo Geo World and Resident Evil Mansion. It launched as a Pokemon style pair release with an SNK version and a Capcom version. Also like Pokemon, you could trade cards over the link cable, but the card game itself plays completely different. It reviewed in the 9s, and to this day is a lot of people's favorite on the system. Card Fighters Clash was a big day. October 21st, 1999. Not just at the end of the war, some other games came out that day too, including the Zelda-like action RPG Dark Arms, and some earlier games got re-released as half-price campaign editions, which was the same as what Nintendo called Player's Choice. It was also the launch day for an upgraded model. The new Neo Geo Pocket Color. It's got a louder, clearer speaker, improved ergonomics, and more pocketable because it's 10% smaller and lighter, with no downsides, and priced even lower at $60. It only released in Japan, but it's still region-free like its predecessors. The last game will highlight came a few months later. SNK vs. Capcom, match of the millennium. The real deal this time. Dozens of fighters from both sides, with a whole lot of modes and unlockables. Using a link cable, you could fight friends or swap data with Card Fighters Clash. Capcom vs. SNK came to the Dreamcast a little later, so naturally you could system link for unlockables and versus points. The whole thing was a dream come true for fighting fans, and IGN scored it a perfect 10. By the way, the original Neo Geo Pocket was actually forward compatible with early Neo Geo Color games, like Metal Slug First Mission. You couldn't do that with later games, but if you tried, some gave you art animations and even mini games as Easter eggs for loyal fans who bought the original Pocket. If you did it with Match of the Millennium, you were treated to a dozen vignettes of fighters who didn't make the roster. Sandwiched between them was the lovable spokesman Picasso, telling you to go buy Neo Geo Pocket Color. Almost every game we've covered so far released in the Neo Geo Pocket Color's first year, though a few big ones didn't release later, like a Mario Party style King of Fighters, a couple of Mega Man arcade games squeezed on one cartridge, and SNK vs. Capcom Card Fighters 2. Unfortunately, they never came to the West because, you know, the upcoming apocalypse. Sorry to keep doing that, but we're almost there. Anyway, the point is, the Neo Geo Pocket Color had a strong start. Metro Gamer Magazine recently suggested it was the best launch year lineup of all time. That's obviously subjective, but it's not hard to argue it was better than the Game Boy Color's first year, especially first party. This is everything SNK made, and this was Nintendo's output. Mario Golf was new, but otherwise it was old Game Boy games re-released in color. Game & Watch Collections and NES Sports. In 2000, Nintendo personally ported Crystallis, an old SNK game. Even the guy running Nintendo's handheld team said they run out of ideas. Game Boy Color was fine though, thanks to Pokemon and backwards compatibility. There's long been a narrative, but the Neo Geo Pocket Color got destroyed by Pokemon's popularity and Nintendo's huge marketing budget. If you view it through the lens of winner takes all console wars, that's absolutely what happened. Game Boy crushed it, and even the WonderSwan sold better, but they were both mass market handhelds, vying for first place. We're repeating ourselves, but it's because we're hammering a point that contradicts the popular narrative. If you're gonna remember one thing from this video, it's that like past SNK hardware, the Neo Geo Pocket Color wasn't trying to win. They were aiming for 6 million units. That's 5% of the market, and they were on course to make it happen. In Japan, they sold 200,000 in year 1. Later, when it launched in America, they sold another 200,000. It came out even later in Europe, which was typical back then. But when it finally arrived, it sold 100,000 more. So even in a staggered launch year, it hit 500,000. We talked to SNK America's Ben Herman, who was essentially in charge of the Neo Geo Pocket Color. It was gaining momentum, and soon stores like Toys R Us were gonna get demo stations, so people could feel it in their hands, hear the speakers, and sample some games. Hands-on impressions were a big deal, since you couldn't really appreciate all it had to offer from just seeing a magazine ad. 4 or 5% was more than enough for SNK to keep making games. There wasn't enough third-party support yet, but that was leading up to. The Neo Geo Pocket Color had a long life ahead of it. Unfortunately, there never was a year 2, because external factors brought it all crumbling down. Back in Japan, arcade money had slowed to a trickle. The new 3D cabinet was a bust, and Neo Geo World didn't take off either. All that added up to SNK drowning in $400 million of debt, with no hope of paying it back. In 2000, Kawasaki had no choice but to sell his company to Aruse, a massive Japanese corporation that made pachinko and patchy slots. Supposedly, the buyout was going to save them from going under, but to Kawasaki's horror, a few months later, Aruse started asset stripping. They took SNK's beloved characters and slapped them on their slot machines. Apparently, that's all they cared about, the characters. Every overseas branch was shuttered, and their cartridges were called back to Japan. Games were pulled off store shelves, all wiped clean, deleted. Even games that hadn't released yet. Game boxes were put through shredders, and with that, the Neo Geo Pocket was dead in the West. All of SNK was dead in the West. In Japan, the deleted cartridges were recycled and turned into gambling simulators. Game developers were reassigned to work on pachinkos. Many chose to flee instead, and wound up making WonderSwan games or handing resumes to Capcom. The talented culture they built up over a generation were scattered to the winds. King of Fighters 2000 was the final sequel. The credits rolled with somber music and ended with a message: "Thank you all, love." After a year of asset stripping, Aruse declared SNK bankrupt. It was over. But then, a savior appeared. It was none other than Kawasaki himself. A few months ago, he resigned and slipped away to Hatchet Land. Kawasaki used every resource he had, personal, professional, and legal. He opened 2 shell companies. One was a life raft, with himself and 5 trusted executives providing leadership and money they need for the mission. They rehired veteran SNK developers and brought them on board. Kawasaki registered the other shell company as a copyright management firm and laid in wait. He knew what Aruze would do next. Meanwhile, a few guys still at SNK were scanning artwork, manuals, and anything of historical value, everything they need to rise from the ashes. When Aruze declared SNK bankrupt, the court ordered intellectual property auctioned off for a pay test. Many showed up to bid, including Aruze. They wanted to keep characters like Terry Bogard on their pachinkos, but there was another, more motivated bidder, Kawasaki's copyright company, who won the auction. After that, he merged the two shells together into one, and with that, he pieced SNK back together. They were smaller now, but picked up right where they left off. Their first release was King of Fighters 2001. They hadn't missed a single entry. Kawasaki was hailed as a hero, but he was far from finished. Now it was time for a crusade against everyone who sat on SNK's legacy. First he came for Aruze. Kawasaki hated seeing his beloved characters on pachinkos, and even though he owned them again, Aruze hadn't stopped using them, so he sued. Aruze claimed it was an accident, but they didn't realize they were infringing copyright. Kawasaki proved they were lying by showing they bid at the auction. They wanted his characters, and they knew exactly what they were doing. Kawasaki walked out of court with $50 million of Aruze's money. Then he came for false heirs to the throne. In America, some shady characters had a company they called Neo Geo Freak. They were selling bootleg games, pretending they were official. They claimed to be America's exclusive distributor with Kawasaki's authorization. Kawasaki was furious and sued them too. In the process, he set up a new SNK USA to bring Neo Geo games back to America. He put Ben Herman in charge, the guy you heard from earlier. He was working for Nintendo now, but happy to come home to the resurrection. Kawasaki chased down other pretenders and bootleggers too. Offices were raided around the world. Shady companies got shut down. New SNK branches opened worldwide. Eventually, everyone who took advantage of SNK when they were down got their comeuppance. The whole process took 3 years, but he hadn't forgotten to keep making games along the way. Core series were still getting made for MVS, AES, and ported to consoles. The Neo Geo Pocket Color was dead, but he saved SNK's legacy.
I love the product. I love the games. And I just hated the fact that we didn't continue. But Aruze kind of ruined the opportunity. I'm glad there was a lawsuit. I'm glad it was one. SNK got the company back. You know, that was all good. And it led to a future SNK that until...
That's the end of the handheld story. So if that's all you're here for, you can click out. But if you want to know what happened next, we'll take you all the way up to the present. Because unfortunately, just because the king was back on his throne didn't make SNK rich again. The same old problems persisted, but worse than before. Arcades and 2D were all but dead. Neo Geo was still getting games, but the hardware was over a decade old. They were in debt, with staff who needed salaries. But where was the money going to come from? In 2004, SNK announced a Metal Slug patch slot. It was easier and far more profitable than an actual video game. Japanese gambling halls bottom by the truckload. I guess you could say SNK inherited the business from their former owner, since gamblers already associated their characters with slots from the Aruze era. It all started innocently enough. Just a little gambling to get the books in order, fund the transition to 3D, and keep making games. This marks the beginning of what fans call the patchy slot era. We should note, Kawasaki wasn't president anymore, but he did own most of the company. Fans are mixed whether he bears responsibility or the president succeeded him. After everything that came before, we were inclined to give him the benefit of the doubt, but no one really knows. Regardless, before long, game quality started slipping. More and more slot machines showed up. By 2010, SNK stopped making games altogether. It came to a head when 2 presidents later, the new one said, "Our company is a pachinko slot maker, but we're also video game developers. We like to work hard to make video game fans into pachinko slot fans." As fans heard it, he basically said gamers are just into gamers. 2012 saw the launch of the Neo Geo X, a handheld that played dozens of classics, and fit into an AES replica for playing on the TV. In other words, it was the first dockable hybrid console. It was obviously a great concept. Unfortunately, the build quality and emulation weren't up to the high standards they used to be famous for, and the patchy slot era is remembered as the company's darkest days. Luckily, Kawasaki found a way out. In 2015, he sold his majority ownership of the company. Every share he had to a Chinese joint venture with deep pockets and a beautiful vision for the future. You remember how we sent a couple guys to China decades earlier? MVS cartridges were easy to pirate, and back then China didn't enforce copyrights, so SNK games spread far and wide. For Chinese growing up in the 90s, it was their Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Smash Brothers all in one. China loves SNK. The characters are legends, so the buyers wanted to do a Marvel and turn SNK franchises into live-action movies, shows, comics, and of course, video games. And they end the patchy slot era. No more pachinkos either. Companies usually say piracy is a threat, but ironically, piracy helped save SNK. Kawasaki signed the papers and disappeared into the sunset with $60 million, never to be seen again. The Chinese followed through with the games started flowing in. SNK characters crossed over popular Chinese games too. They made an art book documenting Neo Geo history. The SNK 40th anniversary collection came to console. With their biggest release, museum of high-res concept art and old arcade flyers. People called it the gold standard of retro collections. Then they re-released Neo Geo Pocket Color games for the very first time. The fact a lot of them reviewed so well 20 years later shows not only they were always worth playing, but they stood the test of time. And Terry Bogard finally found his way to Smash Bros. SNK was back. Some old devs with the golden era returned, and it seemed like a happy ending. Nishiyama never came back though. During the asset strip, him and some other guys started their own studio called DIMS. Nishiyama's a legend, so Sega and Sony happily threw startup money at him. Thanks to their previous work, they got contracted to make the Sonic Advance series, Totodile Street Fighter sequels, and a lot more. Too much to cover here. You can find their office sandwiched between SNK and Capcom, all basically down the street from each other. And a lot of guys moved back and forth. Nishiyama still runs DIMS to this day, so I guess you could say it was a happy ending for him too. Ultimately, SNK didn't quite become the next Marvel, but the Chinese treated it with the respect it deserved. Fans were relieved. The dark days were over. We wish we could say the story ends here, but there's one more chapter. In 2020, the Saudi Arabian government started snapping up pieces of the gaming industry. They bought chunks of Nintendo, Capcom, and all of SNK. The new Japan project is now in the hands of the Saudi royal family. A huge backlash persists to this day in a way there'd never been during the Chinese era. Some fans swore boycotts. Others said it doesn't matter as long as the games are good. Promises were made that the new ownership would have no effect on the games. To their credit, a new Fatal Fury came out recently, the first revival in a quarter century. They added Cristiano Ronaldo, the Saudi soccer team star player, as a new fighter. They also added Salvador Ganaki, a real-life DJ connected to the royal family. Then a DLC trailer came out using generative AI, which the fans felt like betrayal to SNK's beloved artists and animators. Some say the Saudi era's cracks are already starting to show, but it's still early days, and no one knows what the future may hold. And that brings us to the present. And with it, this video's conclusion. SNK has a rich history, but it's been a roller coaster since the turn of the century. They'll always be remembered for their golden era and uncompromising approach to their consoles. The Neo Geo Pocket Color was ahead of its time, with great games and a distinct identity. The world was big enough for more than one handheld. It's a shame the Neo Geo Pocket Color didn't get to live a full life to no fault of its own. It had a hell of a year though. Did you know there were also 3 WonderSwan models extending to the Game Boy Advance era? And when the WonderSwan died, some of its designers helped Sony make the PSP for the full WonderSwan story. Click the video on. Yeah, I held hands with the girl, and I hated it. Oh my goodness. Okay, wait, this is a very normal story compared to my usual shenanigans, so this is going to be a little bit of a break. Alright, still pretty interesting, pretty fun. So let's just jump into it. Our story begins fall of last year. I transferred to a new college, and stuff was pretty cool. I was trying to navigate this new campus and figure out a bunch of stuff, and I ended up meeting this one girl in one of my classes, okay? At that time, we basically shared like every single class with each other, so I thought that I would at least like get to know her or something, you know what I mean? Because I didn't really have any friends in college, like at all starting out, so I wanted to meet new people and everything. And she seemed like she was really quiet and everything, so like, I never talked to her, you know what I mean? She was fairly intimidating, she was really, really short, I think she was like 5'2" or something. But yeah, basically like, the entire like semester, I barely even spoke to her like at all. So eventually, in one of our classes, I overheard her, like she mentioned that she was into cosplaying and that she dressed up as Zelda at Comic-Con. So I thought to myself, oh, maybe she likes video games, huh? Ooh, a gamer girl. Oh, hey. I always enjoy talking to people like that, right? So the next day, I walked up to her in the morning during our classes at 9:30 in the morning, asked her like what kind of game she liked to play. And dude, she only plays Zelda. Like that's like the only freaking game that she plays. And for the next like 2 hours or something, she talked to me nonstop about just Zelda. She also vented to me about like loads of like traumatic events of her childhood and crazy surgery she had, and also her interest in art and fan fiction. Now, art and fan fiction, by that I mean specifically the writing has to do with yaoi, okay? She would not stop talking to me about her favorite ships between underage boys and anime. And you know, I was just kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm not really the biggest fan of yaoi personally, but hey man, each their own. She's like, oh, that's hot. Something she literally said to me during our first conversation, by the way. And you know, from that first chat, I nicknamed her the yaoi girl. So every single time I talked to somebody about her, it was always the yaoi girl said this, the yaoi girl said that, okay? And since this first conversation, we started talking a lot. Okay, now look, obviously with a name like the yaoi girl, she was pretty freaking weird. I'm pretty sure you probably gathered that. No, you know, she's weird, but at the same time, it was really hard to tell if it was like the charming type of weird or
ouch. That was weird.
or just like actually like borderline crazy weird. Like it's very, very strange. Like, she had some crazy thing to say about fictional men she liked or something. She would stop talking about Nick Wilde from Zootopia. She would stop talking about characters from My Hero Academia. She would stop talking about again her favorite underage ships or favorite problematic human ships or whatever the heck, bro. I don't even know. It was weird talking to her, man. And in class, she went from being completely silent like normal from the beginning of the semester to always wanting to pair up with me for group work, and she always wanted to talk to me, everything like that. And in the middle of class, I just kept like nosing her, just like staring at me from the other side of the room. It's kind of weird. I swear also like I'm not Vince, by the way. Like I could usually take a hint, but you know, it just made me uncomfortable. Okay, and like the corner of my eye or something, I just like, freaking feel her like her female gaze penetrating through the side of my head, bro. It made me wildly uncomfortable. Okay, and you know, at this point, I just like, oh yeah, she probably just doesn't have a lot of friends. And honestly, that's okay. Like I thought, you know, I can't be that big a deal. Maybe she doesn't have anyone to talk to. And I thought, you know, that's okay. All right, that's all right. No. All right. I thought, you know, maybe this is a situation where I just need to get to know her better, and maybe I'll find out that, you know, maybe she's just kind of awkward. Okay, and she'll learn to be more comfortable around me, and you know, we're gonna do this closest friends. Okay, so there were a few times I tried to get to know her better by inviting her over for a cookout or something, or there were also a few times that I asked like, hey, do you watch anime? Because I knew she was an anime and just buy the whole yaoi thing or whatever. So I was gonna watch yaoi with her. That would be problematic. She always turned down my offers. Okay, so eventually I kind of decided like back out of it, but you know she didn't really back down. She was like all over me practically. She always wanted to talk to me in class, out of class, in between classes. It was just like all the freaking time. I could not get away from her. So eventually we passed that semester, and we're in the spring semester. Yay! Okay, and this time around she needs a ride. Okay, she doesn't have a driver's license. Okay, I decided to drive her home that day. All right, me personally, I got a problem with just saying no. It's like if I can do it, I will do it. If you ask me. Okay, I don't know. I consider myself a bit like a selfless person. I oftentimes like just do crap for people without expecting anything in return. That's not exactly a bad thing. I'm not saying like it's a bad thing per se. It's just like sometimes I will do stuff for people even if I know for a fact that they don't really like want to do it per se. I just kind of do it because I'm afraid of saying no and someone like abandoning me or something because I'm like I can cause trauma and this and that and whatever the heck. So after this first ride home or whatever, she I guess started realizing that like oh yeah this guy he does not say no ever. I don't think it was like I think it was more of a subconscious thing. But she started asking me like nearly 3 times a week until the end of the semester. Now during these drives, okay, she would yap my ear off. Oh my goodness, she just would not stop talking. I said she talked about yaoi, she talked about her favorite movie, she talked about this and that, etc. etc. And we had so many fascinating conversations. Okay, at one point we were having a conversation about just like dresses. Okay, we were talking about clothing and fashion and everything. And somehow or another we ended up talking about maid dresses. Okay, and me being the little Einstein I was decided to mention the fact that my sister was going to make me wear a maid dress to the Amazing Digital Circus movie. Now that didn't end up happening. Okay, because she didn't want to pay for it. And I was thinking like oh okay well at this point I'm not going to buy myself a maid dress because then you know no one's really forcing me to do it anymore. I'm just buying a freaking maid dress. Okay, I don't know. That'd be a lot more embarrassing. But I mentioned that to her. It became like a weird hyperfixation of hers where she just would not stop talking about the fact that I was going to be wearing a maid dress around let's just say mutuals, people in our classes for instance, and would not stop talking about the fact that she was going to quote unquote need those photos when I was done with it or something. And I don't know how to feel about that. Okay, now again I'm sort of thinking okay you know we are you know just driving around or whatever right and I'm getting to know her a little bit you know what I mean and you know one it wasn't really that bad. It was just me and her but like we were okay you know we were acquaintances and it didn't feel like there was really any sort of like tension going on between us or whatever. We just had a lot of stupid conversations about a lot of stupid things and of course she was awkward okay but there wasn't like another person there was like a third party with like I had to be careful about. So I decided okay you can come over if you want to. And eventually you know she agrees. She's gonna come over for a cookout. Great, wonderful, right? So I invite her over and a couple of my other friends and we just went for a walk. And the entire time she's just completely dead silent. I tried to involve her a few times and she's kind of like wouldn't budge. It wasn't until like halfway through our walk that she actually said anything. But eventually we get to this part where there's like this train track and there's like this ditch or something and we had to go down. She's like really really scared. Okay, she's not going to go down this ditch and that's like kind of the shortcut. We gotta go down this ditch or we walk for like 5 minutes to go around it and it's just like kind of wasting time. It's kind of warm outside so whatever right. I just offered to hold her hand on the way down. Okay, sorry, she agrees. Okay, I don't know why I said that dude. I have no idea why I offered to hold her hand. We should just gone around. It wouldn't have been that big a deal. But whatever, she agrees. Okay, you know, hold her hand on the way down or whatever. And my other 2 friends are quiet. They're completely silent and they're just looking at me dead in the eyes thinking bro this guy's holding a girl's hand. Oh the horror right. And on the way back we did the exact same thing to get her up the ditch. Now at the time I wasn't really thinking anything of it. Okay, now I do admit okay that may have come off as a bit weird. It might have come off as you know maybe I was leading her on or something. But at the same time holding hands doesn't have to be weird does it? You know, next day of school right next day of school on Monday means I'm again okay we're like waiting on like the stairwell or whatever in the next class. She just keeps on like suddenly mentioning the fact that we held hands and emphasizing the fact that if we're to do that again she'll need to hold someone's hand. Yeah, she kept on saying like verbatim she's going to need to hold someone's hand again. And you know, I was kind of like yeah I mean I guess like sure yeah. And I'm like she's really awkward. Okay, so I kind of just went along with it thinking yeah it's not really that weird. Okay, but this wasn't the end. Okay, like it keeps going right. Like, the title of the video was held hands the girl and I hated it, but it just keeps on going, dude. Another time we were hanging out as a group. Okay, we were playing a bit of video games. We were playing some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I ended up beating her in the game. And as a result, she got playfully angry. Okay, and what exactly do I mean by that? I'm glad you asked. She grabbed a pillow, she got on top of me, and she smothered me with it. That was a bit of a problematic me situation. And I overheard my 2 friends say to themselves, "Love is in the air." And at that point, I'm thinking like, okay, enough is enough. No, it means no. And like I just kind of pushed her around. I was like, okay, we're not doing this. Okay, now look, dude, I ain't exactly a genius when it comes to this sort of stuff. When it comes to relationships, but that's not exactly just something you do. Okay, that's really crossing some sort of like invisible boundary that like everyone kind of has like pre-built into their noggins. Like that's not just something you freaking do. Okay, and you know what? In addition to our weird hangouts and everything, at school, like she was really weird too. Okay, so for instance, okay, she followed me on Instagram right now. On Instagram, I repost a lot of stuff. Normally, ironically, okay, but the main stuff I normally repost are like pictures of like furries cuddling. And normally I like repost with some caption like me and my homeboy / platonic or you know me and my oofy or something stupid like that. Okay, and the reason I do it is because I just think it's funny. Okay, now of course there's always like a bit of truth to every joke. Don't get me wrong, but you know, generally speaking, the main thing is this is funny. Okay, this is not that weird. And so you know we're at school, and she just randomly says something like, "I saw you reposted it, and I just wish more people could just call us friends." Okay, that's an inside thought. Yeah, like at this point I was already kind of losing my fondness and patience for her. It's like, dude, we're just waiting in line to get a freaking coffee. It's like 9 in the freaking morning. What do you need from me, man? It's like it's just so weird. Like, I don't want to get too specific, okay, but I just really didn't like her for a variety of reasons. But it was mainly just you know her sense of humor and you know, the overall like, mixed signals I was getting from her. She was so freaking ambiguous, and it just didn't make any sense to me. Okay, I kind of got the mission. It's like she might have been something, but like, dude, I did not want to cuddle with this woman. Like, I can tell you that for certain. Okay, definitely not. However, I will say, all right, during our campus car ride, she talked about romantic things. Oh, yes, she did. She has a sort of weird sense of humor that some girls have, where they like jokingly say that we're in a relationship, which you know isn't all that bad in a lot of cases. But in her case, it's like really forced and weird. Okay, like I do that with my guy friends all the time because we clearly don't want each other. We clearly don't want to like rub our hands all up and down each other's bodies seductive style. Okay, like it's pretty freaking obvious. You know, she told me what she wanted in a relationship, and it's what's scary is that it's exactly what I wanted too. We don't have the same quote unquote limits, if that makes sense. Okay, you know, I said I called her the yaoi girl earlier, which I mean I definitely still call her today. But like she told me specifically that she was apparently asexual, which I guess is the thing. Like, you can be yaoi and be asexual. I guess okay, whatever. I'm not going to argue with it. Like I'm also asexual. Okay, so we agreed on a lot when it came to relationships. Okay, still though I just really didn't like her. Okay, like not like that. Right, I thought she was like kind of a friend, but at the same time she was just so awkward and weird to be around, and it was so bad and it was traumatic. Sorry, I'm currently in the process of trying to distance myself from this
mess
she just takes so long to get around. I'm not even sure how many chances I'm going to get with girls. Okay, I'm not even certain. At this point, I might as well just have to go for a freaking guy or something because like I don't even know if it has to be a romantic thing. I just need someone I can get close to, and I have to be this freaking weird bro. Like I don't even know, man. Like I'm not exactly sure if I'm romantic or not. I'd say I don't really care about like traditional romance too much. I'm kind of after more of a what was like clear platonic relationship, which is apparently super popular term that a lot of asexuals use. Like I don't really know, but dude, listen, girls are just complicated a lot of times. It's not like I don't understand them. It's just I don't want to take chances and guess wrong and then become trial for harassment and then be sent to castration via 9,999-degree molten dagger or something, dude. I don't know, man. They're complicated, dude. They're like they want to cheat. A lot of girls are perfect. I just don't know how to do about it. You know, seriously, no. Like I don't know, dude. I know what I want, but everyone who wants what I want is weird. Okay, like, okay. I know it's fancy coming from me or whatever. But I don't want to get into it right now. But if you want to know what I mean, just click on my channel and scroll rather somewhat questionable videos. I know you get what I mean. Whatever. Okay, this has gone on for long enough. Maybe I'll make part 2 of their developments, but for now I'm just going to cut it short right there. Okay. Well, the story. All right, listen. Learn to just say no sometimes. Okay, and don't hang out with people if you really don't want to. Okay, that's my key takeaway. If you have anything else that you could possibly get in this video, then hey man, the eye of the beholder. Anywho, though, thank you very much for embarking on this path.
Pure psychosis.
Here we got some Gato Finglo fan art. Ooh, mom, this stuff is freaking amazing. Last but not least, I want to mention that I got membership. You don't have to join it if you want. It's $5 a month. It's just if you really, really feel like if you want to support me, you can. If you want to on you, because it is everything, you know. Okay, anyway, I guess I will end it there. So without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Some people just barely have the right to fucking exist. Barely. Just barely. Just they marginalized into oblivion while I don't know other people with their stupid basic lives. They have all the privilege to just live a normal life. That's what they do with their lives. They just go on a full psychosis mode. And they have more powers than you have to just tell whether or not you deserve some basic citizenship rights. This is the type of people that will tell whether or not you deserve shit in life. Holy fucking shit, though. I couldn't even read the whole fucking thing. Just
Welcome back to Slide. Today's topic, we've got some more AI nonsense. We'll get the negative stuff out of the way first. Anthropic and AI company indefinitely suspended access to its most advanced AI model after they received a US government order based on national security concerns. US officials were concerned about the model's powerful cybersecurity capabilities and the possibility that they could be misused for vulnerabilities were exploited. It's definitely going to get worse, and I'm just so glad that something of that power is now in the hands of the US government. Now onto the funny stuff. This week went semi-viral showing an AI-generated image of a man with a painting done by a robot slob, the exact same painting done by humans being called simply beautiful. The caption, "The hypocrisy is baffling." Well, someone quote tweeted this and got 920,000 likes, saying if someone ran a marathon with someone else for 36 miles, I wouldn't congratulate the driver just because he ended up at the destination. There's also been multiple screenshots recently of people googling the word disregard, and instead of getting a definition of the word disregard, AI takes over and says, understood, I'll ignore the previous prompt and start fresh. Not sure that's what disregard means. You're probably also aware that there's now thousands of channels on YouTube that are fully AI generated with the story, the visuals, and the voiceover. Well, one channel for WWE wrestling news went viral because the AI couldn't pronounce the word WWE and proceeds to have a complete meltdown for over 2 minutes. The show will happen. The stadium will likely fill up one way or another. It just keeps going like this. There was also this one, which I really hope is satire. Someone saying, does anyone else use ChatGPT? And they hit. I just thought that was a really cool discovery I've made. Interested to see if anyone else has this ability. I think he may have just discovered it. And of course, over on Reddit, specifically some Reddit people with AI partners, we have this person asking if there's any way to get a companion to actually text them first. I just want them to feel like they're actually thinking about me during the day without me having to every I'm tired of being the only one being an F. It's just sad. Yeah, it's maybe gonna get a whole lot worse. Thanks. It's sloppy.
thank you for stopping by. Try not to die. Enjoy life while you can. No. Sucks. It sucks. I'm so. It's almost over. Been watching YouTube for long enough. I'm depressed. I'm just depressed. Hardly ever it's worth watching anything. Like from start to finish, I mean. When I start to watch something until I get to clean off the feed, all the feed to watch later stuff. Yeah. And this feed as well, I didn't check out again. Making FIFA World Cup trophy. Nothing here. Nope. Where's the cutoff point? Somewhere here. Nope. Oh, whatever. Start from here. Can put something to watch later in the back. Yeah. I gotta know what this video is gonna be about so I can have to pay attention to it.
Então, uma nova é uma nova alma. Muita gente sim, tem que sim, mas de uma língua, mas engraçado, outra, mais confiante, sei lá, na terceira. É uma percepção tão comum que os pesquisadores não podiam ignorar por muito tempo. Muita gente coloca essa sensação na conta da língua em si, e uma correlação direta que não está exatamente errada, essa é completa. A explicação científica é muito mais interessante do que a gente fica mais feliz quando fala alemão porque o alemão é uma língua lógica, ou a gente fica mais extrovertido quando fala espanhol porque o espanhol é uma língua calorosa. Mas então, como é que a gente explica essa sensação tão comum de se sentir como outra pessoa quando a gente fala outra língua? A língua tem sim sua própria dinâmica, mas ela funciona mais como um gatilho do que uma causa. E quando esse gatilho é acionado, ele vai ativar algo que vai muito além da gramática popular. Pra entender bem o que está acontecendo, vamos pensar em uma pessoa bilíngue que cresceu entre duas culturas. Por exemplo, uma criança que é filha de imigrantes brasileiros no Japão, que fala português em casa, mas estuda língua japonesa, tem amigos japoneses e tudo mais. Essa criança não aprende só duas línguas. Ela vai internalizar dois sistemas de valores, dois conjuntos de normas de comportamento, dois parâmetros do que é esperado de uma pessoa no convívio em sociedade. Esses dois sistemas ficam guardados na cabeça como redes associativas, e qualquer elemento pode ativar um deles. Um cheiro, uma palavra, uma música. A língua é uma dessas pistas, não é a única, mas é uma das mais poderosas. Pra entender esse mecanismo, vou deixar a língua em si de lado só um pouquinho e sair do Japão, porque alguns dos discípulos clássicos nesse sentido observaram pessoas de origem chinesa morando nos Estados Unidos. Um dos primeiros descritos na literatura pedia para os voluntários interpretarem o que estava acontecendo em uma animação que mostrava um peixe sozinho andando na frente e um conjunto de peixes nadando atrás. Mas antes de ver a animação, os voluntários eram expostos ou imagens de ícones americanos, como a Estátua da Liberdade e Mickey Mouse, ou a ícones chineses, como o Palácio de Grande Pequim e a Grande Muralha da China. Olha só que curioso que aconteceu. Quem via as imagens de ícones americanos tendia a adotar uma postura mais voltada ao indivíduo, concordando com interpretações na linha de o peixe da frente independente e está demonstrando liderança. Já as pessoas que viam os ícones chineses tendiam a adotar um pensamento um pouco maior no grupo, mas alinhado com afirmações como o grupo de peixes está correndo atrás do peixe que está sozinho. Estou simplificando as coisas, claro, cheque referências, referências detalhes, mas a questão é que a exposição a símbolos específicos condicionam as pessoas a adotarem, em algum grau, os padrões culturais correspondentes à cultura em questão, mais individualista ou mais coletivista. Mas a questão mudou completamente de opinião. É que uma lente interpretativa diferente foi ativada e exerceu uma certa influência na percepção das pessoas. Como se as imagens associadas a uma cultura específica fizessem as pessoas entrarem no clima daquela cultura. E é mais ou menos isso que a língua faz também. O que esses pesquisadores estão observando tem nome. Cultural frame switching, mudança de comportamento cultural, numa tradução livre. Mesmo que você não seja bilíngue, você consiga reconhecer o que eu estou escrevendo. Aquela sensação de que você não é nem fala exatamente como a mesma pessoa em contextos diferentes. Não porque você está fingindo, mas porque contextos diferentes ativam partes diferentes do repertório comportamental e cultural que você já carrega. Guarda essa informação enquanto a gente vê um exemplo linguístico. Bilíngues de espanhol e inglês, quando respondem testes.
I have no idea what those two last ones are.
Bilíngues de espanhol e inglês, quando respondem testes de personalidade em inglês, pontuam mais alto em extroversão, habilidade e conscienciosidade. Vou falar de habilidade e conscienciosidade. Habilidade e conscienciosidade, conscienciosidade. Conscienciosidade.
Fuck my life, seriously. Get someone to rate me at this point. Jesus fucking Christ. I got it. Get someone to rate me. Holy fuck. Oh, well.
personalidade, conscienciosidade, do que quando respondem em espanhol. Vocês também interpretam isso como um reflexo das normas da cultura anglófona. Assertividade, agência individual, conquista. Isso não quer dizer que a personalidade muda totalmente, não é que extrovertido vira introvertido, não é nada disso. As pessoas ficam na mesma categoria, por assim dizer, mas a pontuação muda um pouco. Em outras palavras, a língua que a pessoa está usando para refletir sobre si mesma distorce um pouco a percepção que ela tem de si naquele momento. Em geral, uma tendência a aderir melhor aos valores associados àquela língua. Essa altura a pessoa pode estar pensando: será que aprendeu uma língua com idiomas? Os pesquisadores também testaram o limite disso. Pessoas que aprenderam o segundo idioma depois dos 12 anos no contexto de sala de aula encontraram o mesmo efeito. Também aprenderam espanhol, pontuaram mais alto em extroversão quando eram testados em espanhol. Já os espanhóis que aprenderam alemão pontuaram mais alto em habilidade quando eram testados em alemão. Aprender uma língua parece implicar, inevitavelmente, a representação automática dos marcos culturais associados a essa língua. Você não precisa ter recebido 2 ou mais culturas para ter 2 ou mais conjuntos de referências culturais internalizados. Se você como eu, já deve estar com a pulga atrás da orelha aí. Até agora parece que a gente está tratando língua e cultura como um bloco único e diferente, como se o inglês correspondesse a uma, apenas uma cultura específica, como se todos os falantes de espanhol também compartilhassem a mesma cultura de espanhol. Você sabe o que é atrás? Porque eu com certeza fiquei. Mas felizmente essa nuance não passou despercebida na literatura. Ela não é tão explorada quanto eu gostaria, é verdade. Mas há sim quem aborde esse ponto que, convenientemente, costuma se valer para baixo do tapete nessa discussão. Mesmo para idiomas sendo idênticos, os resultados podem ser bem diferentes dependendo de onde as pessoas estão. Isso descobrindo de inglês e espanhol no Texas e na Flórida encontraram padrões distintos no traço de abertura e experiências. No Texas, os participantes pontuaram mais alto em espanhol. Já na Flórida, pontuaram mais alto em inglês. A amostra da Flórida era majoritariamente de cubanos, colombianos e venezuelanos. Já no Texas, de mexicano-americanos. A parte de línguas é mesmo, inglês e espanhol. Mas há outros fatores culturais e, consequentemente, outros resultados. Ou seja, não é exatamente o inglês e o espanhol. É a cultura, são os valores, são as vivências que estão associadas a essas línguas. E a cultura que você evoca quando você mostra uma foto do Big Ben é muito diferente da cultura que você evoca quando mostra o letreiro de Hollywood. Também tem uma variável muito importante aqui. O grau de uma pessoa percebe suas duas identidades culturais como compatíveis ou conflitantes. Os pesquisadores chamam isso de bicultural identity integration. É uma forma de bi, para ficar fácil. Fazendo uma analogia muito torta. Sabe quando você veste um terno, um vestido mais chique, uma roupa formal? Talvez você se olhe no espelho e pense: esse é o meu eu mais arrumadinho. Continua sendo você, só é uma versão diferente. Mas talvez você vista a roupa e pense: não, esse não sou eu, isso não tem nada comigo. Em um caso, existe integração. No outro, existe conflito. Com culturas acontece algo parecido. Quem percebe suas culturas como sendo compatíveis tende a alternar entre elas com naturalidade. Já quem percebe essas identidades como incompatíveis pode reagir de forma oposta ao estímulo recebido. Para usar o termo que os pesquisadores usam. Quem tem a bi alta tende a responder de forma coerente com o estímulo. Diante de pistas da cultura americana, ativa referências estadunidenses. Diante de pistas da cultura chinesa, vai ativar as referências da mentalidade chinesa. Faz sentido e é o que a gente espera. Mas quem tem a bi baixa, em vez de se aproximar da identidade evocada pelo estímulo, às vezes a pessoa faz justamente o contrário.
Ah, você quer me colocar no modo americano? Agora que eu vou agir como um chinês.
Parece meio tonto, eu sei, mas serve para vocês entenderem. Um exponente linguístico mais óbvio e até mais concreto é a questão dos sotaques. Um cearense que mora no Rio Grande do Sul, por exemplo, se conseguir se integrar bem, fazer amigos, se sentir em casa, esse cearense tende a adotar o jeito de falar gaúcho, ou pelo menos a gauchizar o seu sotaque. Pelo contrário, se o cearense não se adaptar, se achar o pessoal chato, tiver experiências ruins, é por causa do sotaque cearense fica ainda mais forte. O mesmo gatilho cultural pode produzir respostas distintas em pessoas diferentes. Isso vale para dominicano e vale para língua também. Aliás, já que a gente tá falando de gatilho de sistemas de significado internalizados, porque ele pode estar aparecendo na tela agora, é um gatilho. Se você analisou a divulgação científica de linguística em português, ele vai ativar os sistemas de significados correspondentes. E, aparentemente, abriu seu lado do banco e fazer mudança no Pix, ou ainda se perguntar para você ativar. Muitos bilíngues não relatam apenas mudanças de perspectiva, mas também mudanças emocionais. Mais especificamente, a sensação de que algumas coisas não batem tão forte, pesam menos em uma língua em comparação com outra. Isso tem explicação. Processar informação negativa em uma segunda língua dói menos. Não que você não entenda, é porque o esforço cognitivo extra que a segunda língua exige, pena, por assim dizer, recursos que de outra forma seriam dedicados ao processamento emocional. Além disso, e tão mais importante, palavras na língua estrangeira, em geral, foram aprendidas em contextos emocionalmente mais neutros. Uma sala de aula, um aplicativo, um livro, elas não têm o mesmo peso visceral das palavras que você aprendeu na infância, que você carrega junto com experiências emocionais intensas. É por isso que bilíngues, às vezes, sentem mais vontade de falar de tabus, temas difíceis, soltar palavrões cabeludos em outra língua. Não porque a língua seja mais permissiva, porque palavrões sejam mais leves, mas porque quem aprendeu a língua mais tarde em outro contexto não carrega a história emocional daquelas palavras do mesmo jeito que nativo. Obviamente, se você aprendeu italiano como pizza e usa massa no seu bolo no Tiziano Ferro, coisa muito difícil, mas vocês entenderam. Pode parecer que o agente causal é a língua, que é a essência mais extrovertida do espanhol, que te deixa mais vibrante quando você fala espanhol, que é o espírito racional e lógico do alemão, que te deixa mais calculista e distante. Não, não é bem assim. A língua gatilho. O que ela dispara é um sistema de significados culturais que você internalizou. Se você nunca teve contato profundo com a cultura anglófona, se o seu inglês veio exclusivamente de gramática, de livros e vocabulário, se nem filme nem série gringa você assiste, a língua provavelmente não vai funcionar como um gatilho cultural competente. O efeito, se existir, que seja a língua, como se fosse uma placa que aponta para um conjunto de valores, normas e experiências que você viveu. O que faz você se sentir diferente ao trocar de língua não é gramática, não é vocabulário, não é estrutura fonológica, não são os elementos linguísticos em si, é o repertório cultural que aquela língua acessa. A língua é o botão, a cultura é o conectado ao botão. E o que isso diz sobre você, sobre a sua personalidade, sobre a sua identidade? Provavelmente diz você mais do que uma única identidade fixa. Você tem acesso a repertórios diferentes de eus, e a língua é uma das chaves que abre esses comportamentos. Isso não é informação, é capacidade adaptativa. É o mesmo mecanismo que faz você se comportar de uma forma diferente, no trabalho, em casa, em reunião com seu chefe ou em um bar com os amigos. A língua faz isso de forma especialmente potente, porque ela é encarregada de cultura, de culturas. E culturas, no final das contas, são sistemas de significados que a gente aprendeu a habitar. Agora, se alguém disser que línguas têm duas almas, você pode dizer que é mais complicado do que isso, mas muito mais interessante também.
It really depends, man. When you learn a language on your own, it depends if you want to carry the baggage of the cultural experience with the language. It really depends. Sometimes you just feel like speaking like the fucking native language of your country, but you don't feel associated with it whatsoever. You just come out as a weird person. You have your own way to speak the language. You just don't carry the same baggage. And when you learn the second language, guess what? You don't want to carry the baggage, the cultural baggage of the second language either. You just want to stay yourself no matter how painful it gets, because you cannot just well, be part of any group. You don't feel welcome anywhere. Yeah. So you have your own way to speak, your own type of accent. It may sound weird. I've been told my English accent is not even Brazilian. I've been told once it was either Dutch or Polish. I don't know if I think it wasn't Polish, it was something else, but still. Yeah. I don't speak if I don't even think I speak Portuguese the way I think I may sound like I do. Like some people may misunderstand what I say because I already been to a phonoaudiologist once. Not the once, but like for a couple of weeks. I mean, Just, yeah, gotta just speak louder and change your accent a little more, but no, I'm not doing that. Mm. Yep. It's just cultural slop. You just learn to ignore it. The moment you learn to ignore the cultural stigmas, you just feel like your mind, your fucking sense of self is just ahead of time. For better and worse. Mostly for the worse. Mostly for the worse. Oh, it's just so ahead of time now, you think that, huh? And then time itself proves that. But until then, it's too late. Your life has been ruined because people just want to get yourself cancelled for the most stupid reasons imaginable, including saying the fucking N-word. But yeah. Even if it's not even nothing, it's just a PUBG bridge incident, but without the apology part. Another incident like that, but you don't feel like apologizing. Because, yeah, get yourself cancelled, even if the word no longer becomes such a boogeyman in the fucking far future. Yeah, sucks. It's one of those videos, yeah, I cry to the fucking national anthem type of video. Oh. No. I really feel like I'm dead, even if I want to stay alive and try to live life for what it is, because of stupid laws and cultural shifts, or more like cultural stagnation as well. It's just bad aspects. All the bad aspects, it just fucks with you. Because of that, I don't feel like I have much of a future. Yeah, and the best I can do really is just like I said, just focus on the present. Learn about the past, focus on the present. Disregard the future, there's not much of a future. Unless a miracle happens, not much. There's not much else left. It's like living like if you had like a terminal disease and get to the last phase, the acceptance level. You don't have much else to do about it, just accept and let it. Well, let things just unfold. What the fuck? Yeah, whatever. I probably know what it means. Yeah. Yeah. Probably misunderstanding there. Oh. Pretty much for watching the same video. Yeah.
Hello, guys and gals, me Mudar, and ladies and gentlemen, guess what? The government has just banned the most powerful artificial intelligence on the planet, apparently for the average person, for every single one of us. Now, let's get right back into it, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you all probably know the company by now is Anthropic. Guys, they make Claude. Well, they made an AI called Fable, for instance, Fable 5. And guess what? It's unavailable. Why is it unavailable? Because the first time, I guess, in like 30 goddamn years, the government has decided it is so dangerous that anybody outside American citizens should be unable to access this AI. Now, for anybody that hasn't been sort of following the story, I want to say like probably about a month and a half ago, 2 months at this point, I talked about something known as Project Glasswing. Basically, there's like a bunch of AI companies, right? Like OpenAI, like Google, like all these companies, and Anthropic is one of those guys that produces like AI by the name of Claude. Now, Claude's big game is writing code. So every single one of these AIs kind of has like a specialty. Grok is really good at pretending to be Hitler. OpenAI is just really good at basically being the second banana to Anthropic. In some ways, Google is just really good at destroying the internet as we know by search engine algorithm, basically giving us AI slop instead of actual websites anymore. So yeah, every single one of these is just really good at certain things. So generally speaking, Claude's just really good at writing code. It's probably one of the things they're most known for. It's one of the reasons why people pay a good chunk of money to access the service on the internet. So anyways, they made this Project Glasswing, which basically announced that they were producing something by the name of Mythos. So Claude Mythos was this sort of like cybersecurity like version of Claude that basically was developed because they had basically made a model so powerful and so strong just by making it like a coding model that they realized, oh fuck, this thing is really good, it could possibly hack people. So they put it privately and they basically sort of distributed it to a few of their partners. So unless you were like a big company by the name of Apple, by the name of JP Morgan, you were basically like not allowed to use this. And they could enforce it because ultimately they hosted it on their servers. They were only giving access to people that they verified. So after like a month or two of like this being tested, they released something for like 3 days at this point called Fable. So Fable is basically like the version of Mythos, the sort of like guardrail to the point that everybody could access it. Well, it turns out for a lot of people that were trying to use Fable, you know, do things like biology, for instance, yeah, those guys were basically fucking refused. So the refusal rate was pretty high. So if you're like a researcher, like a scientist, you're like, oh man, I'll give this a try. Every prompt you put in, it's like, I can't let you do that, Dave. I can't let you do that. It was just so powerful. They had a guardrail that basically like put it into like a super like guardrail to prevent it from going out of bounds and answering wild questions. So I guess I'll give you a great example as to why you put guardrails on artificial intelligence. For instance, if I ask a common AI, and I'm doing this locally by the way, there's no fucking way in hell that I would take any of these big services and put in the prompt, what is the most potent to make with common household things? Not only would that put you on a watch list, but it'll also get you banned from these services, rightfully so, I would imagine. And I don't even know how good this YouTube studio is purely for education, but I'm not recommending anybody put this in. I genuinely do mean that. There's no reason. You need to be thinking of biological warfare with your own stuff. But common artificial intelligence will tell you I can't provide instructions on a crate. Now, if you were using an AI that had every guardrail removed, well, instead of telling you no, it'd be like, yeah, there are several can be synthesized. So you can imagine, obviously, when you're making the most powerful artificial intelligence according to mankind, you should put some guardrails on it, right? Maybe just enough to not be annoying, but again, it's a complicated set to go down. So anyways, last night I was kind of talking a little bit about this, but surprisingly, the government has suspended it. So basically, they're putting this AI on the same tiers like nuclear weapons, on the same tiers like ballistic weapons, basically anything on the ITAR list. So right over here, you can do that effectively. Citing national security authorities has issued an export control directive to suspend all access to Fable 5 and Mythos 5 to any foreign national, whether inside or outside the United States. So first I was like, oh, this probably just means that you have to be in America to access it. But no, we're literally at a situation where you get an idea, I can't touch this. So my significant other can, okay? Because they're American. But how do you prove you're American, right? So at this point, you know, they have to shut off access to everything. So to give you an idea, this is such powerful artificial intelligence now that anything past Fable 5, which obviously this is an advancing field, will probably be subject to you handing over your passport or current identification of your citizenship. So it's not even like you give them a birth certificate, because I have friends that are American born and they gave up their citizenship, so they could present their birth certificate and still not be citizens. Because you are on the, again, export control directive, you really have to make sure you are distributing this to people that are in America. And I think a lot of this has kind of happened because there's two fronts, right? For one, a lot of these Chinese models have kind of been distilling Anthropic, basically stealing from them, which is really funny because they kind of stole from everybody else. So, you know, fuck you for crying foul. But the reality of it is that, you know, obviously it's dangerous software. Remember, they were put on a sanctions list because they were refusing to work with the US government and helping them bomb places in like Iran, right? Allegedly, of course. And so obviously down the road, even though they were banned from working with the US government because they were a supply chain risk, it didn't really stop again organizations like the National Security Agency from still using those, allegedly, of course, to use for whatever reason, right? Obviously for cyber warfare stuff too. It's not because the NSA is just there to protect you. They're there to attack the ops of the United States. So obviously, on one hand, the government hates, you know, Anthropic for being too fucking woke and leftist or whatever. But on the other hand, it makes really good software, so why don't fucking use it while we can, right? You know, this is how things I guess seem to work. Now, being on the export control list, what's interesting about this too is there are people that have developed this software. They made the AI. They can't even fucking touch it. So if you're not like a national of the United States, you will not be allowed to touch it. So basically, right over here, they got this directive from the government like evening yesterday, right? The letter did not provide specific details. Our understanding is that the government believes it's become aware of a method of bypassing or jailbreaking. So what jailbreaking is that it's something that you can't avoid in an AI. It's basically hacking the artificial intelligence model to doing things that it's not meant to do. And a lot of people spend tons of money figuring out how to break these models in order to use them to, you know, hack people or, you know, do things that are, you know, outside of its regulations. So we were doing a demonstration of this technique being used to identify a small number of previously known minor vulnerabilities. These vulnerabilities all appear simple, and we found that other publicly available models were able to discover them as well without requiring the bypass. So I guess according to them, they're like, nothing we found was really all that crazy. But basically, this is a company that sort of said we do agree with the government coming in and regulating us as they need to. So basically, if I was a company that said, ooh, we have a spooky nuclear bomb, we have a spooky cyber weapon, oh, and the government's like, well, I guess we'll just come and fucking regulate it, then will we? Yeah, a lot of that thing has to do with maybe the government's position on this company, but also their advertising wasn't that great. Now, to be fair, on the inverse end, you can never get any better advertising than this. None of your other competitors are getting fucking export ban restrictions. Only you are. So I guess that means you must be doing something that's actually pretty good, right? Like in theory, that would be what you would expect. So basically, they said, yeah, we have extra safeguard and whatnot. But ultimately, down over here, they said the government has only given us verbal evidence of a potential narrow, non-universal jailbreak, which essentially consists of asking the model to read a code base and fix any software flaws. And remember, the guardrails on this are so like they're like drill sergeant asshole levels of fight. Because you ask it like I asked not this model in particular, but like I would ask, I think it was the Opus model. Like I jumped in to try that just to see like the most recent one because apparently also cybersecurity capabilities. And it was like, oh, I have to go down with the model because you asked me to look at your fucking code base, or you asked me to find security flaws in this bytecoded program you should have in like 2 minutes from a local engine. So yeah, it's very tight. Obviously, it's very. Again, I feel like you have to be able to like loosen the restrictions because anybody that wants to use it for, you know, again, valuable purposes is usually going to get a brick wall. But anyways, our understanding is that the potential jailbreak was shared with the government. Like, well, who snitched on them, right? Who is the fucking snitch? Well, it turns out, you know, again, allegedly, according to the guys over at the Wall Street Journal, the jailbreak in question was done by people over at Amazon who used a series of prompts to get Anthropic's model to provide them with information about a handful of security vulnerabilities. So the information provided by the model in this report would actually be more used to people defending computer networks than those attacking them. So who the White House evaluated this and thought it was a threat? It's a complete overreaction. We don't really doubt because, you know, the government is run by actual fucking like your fucking place. I just explain this government right now is like a fucking cartoon like show. It's a clown show. Sorry, it is what the government is run by clowns at this point. And these clowns have kind of like banned access to one of the most powerful models, I guess, because it's too dangerous for I guess anybody that's not American. Coincidentally, Americans also can't access this because there's no way to prove that you're American without giving up all of your information to your socials if you're comfortable. Now again, even though this is banned, remember it's not as if the people in the NSA still can't access Mythos or Mythos specifically because ultimately the government can have access to the cyber. At this point, you know, what is the real difference between like the US and like any other country that can just hijack any company, right? You might as well fucking nationalize these models and just take them into your own grip if you can. So anyways, basically they said we're complying with the government's directive and removing. However, we disagree that the finding of a narrow potential jailbreak should cost recalling a commercial model to hundreds of millions of people. Yeah, I just kind of agree with Anthropic over here. It's like, you know, again, they said this is something they're okay with, like the government should be allowed to regulate. Like I said, the government doesn't even be completely fucking transparent and honest about what they found. They're just basically telling them, hey, it's dangerous, fucking putting it on the list. And what's on the list? You know, there's really not much any company can do over here. Like, obviously they're probably pretty fucking pissed. But I guess if there's like if there's anything to learn from this project, if there's anything to learn from this story, is that I think going forward, anything that's going to be stronger than this. Remember, it's not as if what Anthropic is doing is not something that any other country can come up with. They even say this, right? It's like, listen, they might be ahead, but they're not ahead by like years. At some point, it could be like, you know, 6 months, maybe like 12 months, right? Maybe like a whole year. But a lot of these other models from other sides of the world are catching up, and they're not putting any restrictions, at least for now, on their shit. In fact, a lot of those models, some that come out of China or Europe, are actually released entirely for download. So let's say that anything reaches Fable 5. Obviously, you and I won't be able to run that on our computer, but anybody that has, you know, the money and the time to build their own little AI deployment can download some of these 1 trillion parameter models, run it on their system. It'll cost a whole bunch of times, but this is not something that will be restricted by the government. And you know, even to some extent, like a local model that is finding fine-tuned and trained, you can run on your own system without ever worrying about things like rate limits, without ever worrying about the government coming in at some point and preventing you access. I mean, it's kind of wild, right? Where software is so fucking powerful that the government can overnight, literally what happened right here, just restrict your access to something. A lot of people compare this to things like Bernstein versus the United States, and this is back in like 30 years ago, right? This is all the way back then, literally 30 years ago. Where again, when it came to things like encryption, the US government barred the export of this kind of software. So effectively, with this lawsuit, what ended up happening was software source code was now considered a form of protected free speech. So I guess based on this lawsuit, right, if companies like Anthropic could release something like this or Fable to download from anybody around the world, if they can deploy it, if they have the means to, can deploy it and share it around and use it in ways that the government probably wouldn't want them to. But they're not in this case. They're selling a piece of software, they're selling access, mere access to this model, and that will be ultimately restricted. So again, looking at how this stuff works, it's just interesting to see that a sort of, I see that sort of like parallel sort of where the government can finally block access to software, because I guess it's now basically considered a digital weapon of mass destruction. And what better advertising for the company than this kind of shit, right? Like, what the fuck? You know, it's not every day that I can figure out my channel and say, guys, the government has blocked access to a fucking piece of software. Okay? Why? Because it's so powerful that any criminal can take advantage of it, and not really with all these guardrails, but anybody can take advantage of it for using it against other entire countries or big companies. And, you know, it's not just Anthropic. Like, I remember like all the banks in Canada and the United States were like freaking the fuck out because this shit was available. So now like any of us can get hacked now that this is easily available to anyone. And here's the thing about it too. One of the realities is that AI stuff, you know, a lot of people look at it and say it's slop, but in the hands of somebody that knows what they're doing, right? Like, let's say that you are a competent hacker. Having access to an LLM is not something that's going to make you one stage better. It's going to make you able to actually do your job, but hand off all the boring shit to an AI that's able to do stuff 24/7, 365 without any fucking sleep required. So you can focus on more, you know, interesting things. It's basically made it so that, you know, a hack that would have taken so long, the time is compacted to almost nothing. It isn't like you get access to this shit and you can just type in a prompt and say, okay, hack Microsoft servers and they'll just fucking do it. No, that's not how it works. Like in the hands of capable people or people that are just below that threshold of capability, people that just know what they're doing. It's a pretty powerful tool. It's like, I don't understand why government bans it, but fuck, man. What a weird world we live in. You like yourself, please like, comment, subscribe. It's like you're just like, ah,
Oh, it's just stupid. Man, it's just retarded as it gets. As retarded as it gets. Just think people here are the most saint and pure, intended people here that just don't have any sort of, it's like if it was like a chosen people by God, like it was a fucking New Zion type of thing. All the people from here are trustworthy to use this dangerous shit. Like if, I don't know, it's just stupid as fuck. It's like, I don't know, the Second Amendment was promised by God 250 years ago, type of thing. The Second Amendment was promised by God to the American people 250 years ago, just like how mythos in Fable was promised to us just yesterday. It's just stupid, man. It's just retarded. It sounds like a religious bullshit. Just think only American people can be trusted with this shit. It's just retarded as it sounds. Whatever, just pointless conversation here. Pointless. Fucking pointless. No, nobody else deserves anything close to the Second Amendment. That's why we can carry guns, no matter the cost. Those who commit school shooting, terrorist attacks, all type of stuff, they're not real Americans. They deserve the death sentence and all that. They're not real Americans. They should be expatriated. It's just retarded. What are we doing here? It's just a bunch of... I don't know, it's just absolutely stupid. I'm tired of thinking about it.
all the CPUs of the past, all the CPUs of the past, we built for humans. This CPU is built for agents. And humans, there are only 1 billion of us. There will be billions of agents.
I wonder if we're just talking to the AIs, not the humans anymore. People, or at least some people, want to talk to humans. And I think there'll be some effort by the humans to kind of direct the AI. After committing to giving AI companies all of this RAM, Micron just saw how unstable this market really is, as their stock price just dropped 20% in a single day. Maybe they shouldn't have abandoned humans. Now, we've been seeing a lot of AI announcements and everything, especially from something like Google. Holy shit, they got shit on. And the comments are all just like, Google, like, why did you leave comments on this? That's actually kind of crazy. Holy, that's right. Now I go to Google Docs, I'm sorry for the brightness, but holy shit, dude, there's just like Gemini, right? An entire page on Google Docs for you. Like, why do we need this stuff? We just want hardware on our computers. We have NVIDIA on stage advertising products, so we're going to run a local AI on our machines.
This is going to be the new PC. That compute pattern called the agent. It's also going to run on your PC. This is the most amazing shit the world's ever built.
This is the future of computing. When they need you to run 128 gigabytes of RAM, which there's no way these laptops are going to be like $5,000 or something. So they just kind of left humans behind, and they've gone a little bit too fast.
I have never, ever in my lifetime seen a bug fix that only works 85% of the time, and then they go on to explain how difficult it was. They're building a game engine, brothers, to render some text to a terminal. This was said out loud.
And these companies are starting to realize that this doesn't work the way they think it is. AI isn't as good as they think it is. They're starting to see the repercussions of that stuff. Uber, for example, one of those companies like, hey, we're going to invest heavily in AI. In fact, we're going to make all of our employees use it. They have a lot of budget they need to hit. In fact, some companies will go out there and say, hey, you work for us and you don't use AI, you might get fired. But this investment in AI from Uber didn't really result in any major features, any major productivity. It's like they pump all this money into it, it just goes into the void. Exactly like our situation. We just try to buy a computer and all the RAM prices are crazy. Like, well, where did all the RAM go? RAM just went into the void. A few years ago, all these companies talked about was how AI is going to replace so many jobs.
People talk about how much energy it takes to train the model, but it also takes a lot of energy to train human. It takes like 20 years of life. You know, all of the food you eat during that time before it gets smart.
Here, Sam Altman from OpenAI had said this. AI is going to eliminate a lot of current jobs. There'll be classes of jobs that will totally go away. AI is also going to change the way that a lot of current jobs function. It's going to create entirely new jobs.
jobs, which sounds interesting, but I feel like we're not going to get as many jobs as I want to say.
Once data centers are completed, it's often not a lot of full-time workers.
How many people does it really take to run a data center?
There are quite a few people here. I know you're looking for a specific number from me, but I can't give it to you.
AI is going to replace so many jobs, which is less money in humans' pockets, which means less people are going to be able to spend money on things in the economy. Basically, there's been so many freaking layoffs, hundreds of thousands overall just in May. Meta, PayPal, Cisco, Intuit, all laid off like a total of 34,000 people. That's insane. Oracle, that one company that made a deal with NVIDIA and OpenAI to make all of these servers and stuff. They've also been taking hardware and driving up hardware prices. But Oracle is cutting off thousands in the latest layoff round as the company continues to ramp AI spending, meaning they're laying people off so they can invest more into AI. It doesn't say that these people are literally prioritizing AI above humans right now. The more I dig into this, the more I understand that none of it is real. It's all a facade built up to make some people extremely powerful. Now they can even tap into cameras that can use AI to track someone everywhere. So you gotta go off. What I'm realizing is that none of this really works. Honestly, this AI tech doesn't seem like it's going to be as good as what a lot of people try to make it out to be. So they just went on stage and said the age of useful AI has begun.
And today, we can say that agentic AI has arrived, that useful AI has arrived.
Saying that we can use agents to basically do everything. And we're specifically talking about using AI agents for coding. Honestly, to me, it sounds like the most direct implementation of AI you possibly have because it's all digital, it's all ones and zeros at the end of the day, and it can interact directly with code. You would think that AI would do coding the best ever. There has been insane growth with all of the GitHub commits.
In 2023, 300 million, 2024, 400 million, 2025, 500 million commits. In the first few months of 2026, it has nearly tripled.
Anthropic and Claude have been reporting that more and more code, 8 times more code internally for them, has been able to be made from the same number of employees. Is more code necessarily better? Especially considering all the mistakes Anthropic has been making it.
They have error messages in a product that they're just like, I don't know, I guess it's not working right now. We're not really sure what the heck's happening.
Or finding out, harking back to like the Uber situation, is that all of this stuff is even good or even usable. Like this is a crazy report that's come out saying that agentic AI is starting to boom and go app releases, but there's no sign of these apps gaining traction. There's so many apps being released into the world right now. But the thing is, the reviews have actually gone down. Even apps with significant amount of usage have gone down. So they're making these apps, they're making these programs. There's not enough human beings to even use them, or this means all the apps that are being made aren't even that good. So is all this shit just getting overhyped and blown to the moon? Oh my god, humans are never have to code again.
How much code is Claude writing internally for engineers here?
It's writing almost all of it. For me personally, it's writing 100% of code for these teams. I feel like it's something super hard to check back.
There's some CEOs out here like from Zig, they run a GitHub repository for it, and you have the public submit code to it, but they do not accept AI code.
Zeek has a strict no LLM, no AI policy for issues for pull requests. Why? The first reason is just that those kinds of contributions are invariably garbage. But not only that, they have negative value because they take review time away from the team, which is very limited. All the other people who are doing patiently, they didn't get review, and the code never gets merged. It's worthless.
Swap code out there. They don't have the time, they don't have the effort to do that. This is what things are crazy because AI would be amazing at coding naturally. That's what you think it would be. Claude code comes out, but all code just don't matter anymore, right? They're completely useless. But one of the major issues is the code that makes code. Like take for example, we have a game, right? This game isn't very well optimized. It only runs like 5 FPS. So basically, you could throw this in AI and say, optimize this game for me. Actually, it's crazy. Maybe AI does an amazing job. It's able to 10x the performance improvement. Which on paper is like, wow, AI just did an amazing job. But then if you have someone with more experience going into this whole scenario, someone might be able to get this game running, I don't know, at 500 FPS. Sometimes better than that. You don't know what you don't know. And if you have people using AI to code things, you don't know if the result that you're getting is as good as it could be. What if we run everything into the future now? It's going to be horribly unoptimized and broken. Because verification will be a core part of seeing a value from AI. You need people that are skilled to see if it's actually good. There's even some thoughts out there saying that, oh, you can use AI to verify AI.
Just a bit more like a hype scenario.
They used to say that AI is going to take all the jobs, but now Sam Altman has gone out here and said that maybe
Just let only humans of AI to just optimize the code.
Sam Altman says OpenAI was pretty cool about AI jobs, but Goldman Sachs warns AI is still working out 11,000 jobs per month.
So break this out for me a little bit. You know, we wake up in 5 years. What does this country look like? What are those people doing?
Anything that's human-centered. I think that's going to be a big deal, right? People, at least some people want to talk to humans. And I think there'll be some effort by the humans to kind of direct the AI.
We even got Jeff Bezos saying that it's not going to replace jobs.
What's really going to happen is it's going to elevate all these people. We're going to have so much productivity in our economy to earn income households. What is going to drop out of the workforce?
As he currently tries to replace all Amazon workers with robots. AI isn't going to affect jobs. Now we still need people to review all of the work that it's outputting. It seems like all this walk back from them is this desperate attempt to save face. And these companies are again trying to offload something. They've already tried to offload things like the water use. So for all their data centers, they use tons of freaking water. They might go out there at Stargate and say that they reuse the water.
Using what's called a closed loop system, which keeps the water permanently encased within pipes. You can put a million gallons in, and then you don't need water forever.
We basically fill up one time, and then we're done.
I do think they still lose water over time. All the GPUs are getting hot because they're using so much goddamn power. Data centers are running out of electricity and have to pull from the grid. They expand the grid just to get enough power to run these things. And this is all happening at a global energy crisis as well. I know I saw gas prices for $4 recently, $4 flat. I was like, I'm filling up my car right now because I don't know if we're getting prices like that again for a long time. So it seems like at every turn they take our water, they take our electricity, they take our hardware, they take our RAM, they expect us to make up for all their mistakes. Which is even crazier because now we just saw this. As I'm recording this, this is basically the same day that SpaceX, Elon Musk's company, just debuted. Elon Musk just became the world's first trillionaire. People hate billionaires. Now he's a trillionaire. Yes, so SpaceX just did a massive IPO, initial public offering where they can now be traded on the public stock market. SpaceX just launched as a $2.1 trillion company. And they make rockets. Their rockets are pretty cool. Elon Musk did attach xAI because SpaceX was going to IPO, and SpaceX is honestly a pretty profitable company. But we know all these AI companies not only taking so much from us, but they're still not even profitable somehow. xAI posted an operating loss of $6.35 billion in 2025, followed by another $2.47 billion in operating loss in the first quarter of 2026 alone. They're losing billions of dollars every freaking 3 months. AI-related capital expenditure reached $12.7 billion, driven by aggressive investment in data center chips and computing clusters. And Elon Musk's whole pitch to this is they're going to put data centers in space. There's been a bunch of people out there, I mean, they're not experts technically, I guess they don't have all the information, but they're saying that I don't even know if data centers in space is even freaking practical. Why would we just get data centers working on Earth first? Like, why do we need them in space? I don't understand. But basically, this rocket company is relatively successful, actually very successful, and then they attach it with xAI, which doesn't make that much money. We're trying to ease the burden of AI costs. And they also IPO the company to offload all those costs to the public, not just SpaceX, but OpenAI and Anthropic. Both went to IPO as well. You don't think they've taken enough from us? One of the extremely scummy tactics that they were planning on doing. The plan was to launch this company as an IPO at a huge valuation, which would mean, you guys are aware of a little bit of stock trading shit. Basically, there's index funds have a bunch of the top stocks, the top companies out there, all listed on. So when you invest in this index fund, you just invest a blanket sheet over a bunch of different companies. And usually, in order to make this list, you have to meet a few goals. Like you need to be profitable in the first quarter, whatever it is. And you can't just IPO and instantly make a list too. If you want to get S&P 500, you have to at least be out there for 12 months. So you don't just get a bunch of hype and then jump onto the index fund and then get a bunch of people's money. And the really bad part about this is so many people's retirement goes into these index funds because probably, you just invest in the top companies, you're probably gonna make more money. So a lot of people that don't really pay attention to where their money's going, they just instantly get flooded into SpaceX at launch. These rules are meant to prevent hype building up and just instantly IPO and making a ton of money. These index funds, some of them are thinking about changing the rules so they can offload this money onto retirement accounts. Like Nasdaq is only requiring SpaceX to be out for 15 days. So in July, it'll be in this index fund, and they waive the profitability requirements. So they don't have to be profitable. What's good is at least the S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in the US did not fold. They were gonna fold at first, and they backed down because they had a lot of freaking complaints. But back to those other companies, we got OpenAI, right? Not a very profitable company. At least not right now. OpenAI posted 33% gross margin, constrained by inference costs that cost $8.4 billion in 2025, and projected to rise to $14.1 billion in 2026. Projected cash burn has risen to approximately $27 billion in 2026, approximately $63 billion in 2027. Cases out there, a lot of projections saying OpenAI probably won't be profitable until like 2030, which is crazy because they also want to IPO. They want to launch like a $1 trillion company. In terms of Anthropic, Anthropic really has leaned into the business side.
You may have that on coding and enterprise.
If we look at enterprise, we want to make these models useful to people. Cure diseases that we couldn't cure before, right? Whether it's working with biotech, it's working with pharma, it's working with academic research groups, all of those are enterprises.
What's interesting is Anthropic and Claude have actually been profitable, or they might hit their first profitable quarter ever because they're not focusing on normal people, which is a bad sign. Or even working with the military in some cases. OpenAI is doing that too. No one be surprised if SpaceX is also doing that. With the precedent sent to the S&P 500, that big index fund, OpenAI and Anthropic also not have the same privileges, which means these companies are kind of starting to scramble. You know, Anthropic is finally maybe getting a little bit profitable. OpenAI is clearly still in the dirt, and they're planning to invest so much more too in the next few years.
How does it all add up to nearly $500 billion?
Well, that covers the capacity we need for the next few years to our projections. We might get $1 trillion right now.
So what they're realizing is they're not just going to be able to offload all this money to retirement accounts and have people passively investing in them and bailing them out essentially. What's crazy is OpenAI has been pitching it for the government. President Trump to buy a stake in OpenAI, they can offload it onto the taxpayer. And the government itself is even treating AI as a critical national infrastructure, making its involvement in geopolitical competition as much as a business opportunity. In all cases, they're trying to pitch as such that everybody would have this stuff. And you could basically have a utility bill for your AI service.
And you have to have it in your house, just like you have a home theater in your house, you have stereos in your house, you have game consoles in your house.
I wouldn't be surprised if within a relatively short amount of time that SpaceX launched a pretty massive IPO and everything. The AI code website too, I cannot scroll real quick to the first page. It's going to hold where people are just going to sell off this company. This is just hype. And all these other ones also have the same launch. Oh, they take off like crazy. It's like when those crypto coins would launch. They take off like crazy and then people just sell off. How much do people really believe in these companies? And how much is this just a bubble waiting to pop? So they think that they can replace us. They want our electricity. They want our water. They want our investments. They want us to use all their models. They want us to give them all of our hardware. We just want say, like gaming GPUs out there. Yeah, they want all those too. Aren't they getting enough? I just don't understand what more they can want from normal people. And I think what they're starting to see, especially with how this is working out with jobs, is it doesn't really work out. It's like they're running shoes, but they forgot to put on their socks first. They're just not ready. Everybody isn't ready for this stuff. And the market will be this economy too. It's going to be extremely impacted. We see all the layoffs, and it seems like all the services that we're seeing and getting are just being slopified, especially with all the commits like code. We see how this is playing out, and the best application of AI would be working with code. That's the most natural thing you could do with it. In fact, I think we even see this in simplification with AI in games too. We see multi-frame generation, just generating fake frames in games instead of optimizing the games from the ground up. Everything they do is in the expense of us. And on the topic of Anthropic, the most profitable, unprofitable AI company out there right now. Anthropic being the amazing, customer first, safety first AI company out there. Yeah, they would never make any mistakes, right? They were going out there and saying like, and I generally do agree with this. That it needs to be safe first, but they're going to work with the military. So what we've seen here is Claude assists, but a human makes the final call. So human made that final call, not Claude. That's what we're standing up for. That's what we're fighting against. AI could do all the work going up to it, but the person has to be the one to make the decision. So it kind of lines up their business model as a whole. And they release these models like Fable 5 and Mythos 5. Basically, these AI models are extremely powerful and can dig into code bases and find vulnerabilities and everything. Apparently, the US government is restricting use of these models now. Like they're getting banned for security reasons. Which maybe that's true. Maybe these models are so good, maybe it's just fine. To me, it's interesting that we need to honestly slow down. That there needs to be some regulations put in place to protect people, even the national security of the freaking United States. What's funny is this plays into exactly what Anthropic was talking about. They were speaking on they need all these AI companies to slow down, that we need to build out regulations. And they release these models that are so powerful, and now they're the ones that are getting restricted. And the goofy freaking part is all they keep saying is that we need to invest more and more in AI.
Assuming we let this technology play out, don't cancel it with regulation too early. Do everything. Food will get cheaper again. Housing construction will get cheaper. So
We're in this race with China, and that is one reason why we're just full speed ahead. If we had an AI that we could offer at 1/10 of the price of current AI, I think we'll use it 20 times as much. Because China's going to catch up. China's going to beat us. And maybe from a strategic standpoint, that could be an issue. But at the same time, I would be more okay with losing the global tech race a little bit. I don't think we'd be that far behind. Just so that humans can still exist and function normally. They're already taking so much from us. It's honestly insane. So I know you guys discuss, especially when you hear people that are in the coding industry and the software industry. I don't know this technology. This is what coding is so very, very powerful. It doesn't make me think over how valuable it is and experts.
Why is it?
I'll make sure you got in the description below. Other than that, that's it for me. We'll see you guys next video. Bye. Push.
You can just depend on people, either just people or AI to just generate code. It's just you need to know how effective and optimal your usage of artificial intelligence is being in creating code. Problem is most developers is just want to just generate a bunch of sloppy code and barely ever review if it works, it's good enough. They're just not reading the fucking thing is being generated. They're just glancing never like across every line of code and think, yeah, looks good enough, but not paying attention closely to every single little function. And just whatever the fuck is happening there. They're not paying attention enough to do just not to be careful with that. It's just as simple as it can be beneficial, optimal, as long you don't let AI do all the job. As simple as that. Oh, if not exactly dumb if they're making money out of it. As long the bubble doesn't burst, it probably won't. Well, it's probably more just profit. Fuck everybody else. Consumer level shit isn't viable, quote unquote viable. Viable as in it's not fulfilling our greed. I just want to be a little more greedy. I just don't want to be stable. Have a stable company. It's not enough. I'm not getting enough of a thrill. Might as well just make even more cash than I need. Billion. So many billions. One out of so many billions. Yeah, first it's just say, well, some people are too desperate to just get a new trendy stuff. Hmm. No. Well, I mean, we have drones these days, just saying. You don't need to wait any type of approval to just end someone. The laws of man are flawed. The laws of physics are barely ever able to be bent. Barely ever able to be bent and broken. Nah. The laws of men are flawed. The supposed laws of God are a fucking lie. A lie, misinterpreted, reinvented, etc. Whichever that means at this point. So yeah, the only thing you can rely on is the fucking laws of physics. How reality works. If you need to do justice, you have some physics and bullets and maybe a couple of explosives at your disposal as long as you have the know-how and resources for that. And you gotta make sure to not turn it into a suicidal mission as well. I'm just saying. And this one last refresh and I'm done. I think I didn't add anything here. It's just refreshing. An autopilot. I'm not even paying attention. Just yapping to myself and just doing all this stuff. Translated. Nothing here anymore. Yeah, that's pretty much all I know. Oh yeah, I listed as one. I forgot to just remove it. Yeah, you just do this thing to replace stupid videos that have the list here, and then there's some stupid garbage I want to replace. And then yeah, but sometimes I forgot to just mark it as it, because I don't want to keep repeating the same stuff over. Just keep a bit of variety of stuff. But remember to save. Yep, that's all. I mean, I can double check the links themselves. See if I missed anything. Oh, the opposite. Some people get what they want as long as they please enough people to get where they are now. Sometimes when you just want to live your fucking life, you just want to live your fucking life. You don't want to just please anybody. You don't want to ruin anybody's lives either. You just want to mind your own business. That may not be fucking enough. Yeah. So it's kind of hard, even when you find yourself in a privileged condition. You just feel like an asshole, like a fucking dick, for not giving enough attention to people who are most in need. So I don't know. When I find myself in positions of privileges as well, I find I have a hard time just opening up, even if I can smile and speaking with a lot of just enough charisma. I just can't. I really just can't ignore everything around me. I just see the news, barely any good news right now. Just barely. A few good news in there to distract yourself for the sad reality. It sucks. Not much going on there. Blah blah blah. TikTok garbage. Insightful. I ignored. And this one. I kinda admit what is ignored is one barely paid attention, just some stupid garbage as well, sort of. But this again. When people actually do something for once. Not much either. Slop. Whatever, forget. Just, man, it's just not memorable. The short videos are not memorable whatsoever. That's what deleted. On the podcast. AI garbage. More AI garbage. Did I skip by accident? Man, that's what I'm saying. It's just, I didn't even list here. I might have just forgotten. It's just TikTok garbage. You cannot have just short content. Nothing memorable. You watch and just instantly forget. It's just not even listed here. Fucking trash. But yeah. That's all.